Hey everybody, I'm Morgan.
And this is Ryan.
And we're talking Chitty. Hey guys, we're here today with Ruthardt4Adventure, Matt and Casey. They've actually been full-time RVing, and it's our very first interview on our Talking Chitty podcast.
Say what?
So welcome,
and it's
guys.
their very first podcast.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for being our first guest.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for sure.
That sounds good. I like the way that sounds too. That's good. Well, so we've actually been having a ton of conversations, and I think what's going to be really cool about this podcast is that this is the first time we've met each other, and so we've been talking like 2 hours now, and I think we're going to have some really good conversations and some really raw stuff go on.
Yeah, we finally just had to pull out the microphone, seriously, because we just would get in conversations with you guys.
Just need to record it.
Sounds good to us. However you want to start.
Well, Matt,
you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Where are you from? Where'd you do?
So we'll just start with how we did when we got here this afternoon, I guess. So Casey and I are both from Minka, Oklahoma, and we both went to school together. Grew up just down the road, about 2 miles down the road from each other.
Aww.
I was really good friends with her brother, and we shared a lot of the same hobbies and stuff. And
you only hung out with him so you could see his sister.
Yeah, that was the whole idea. I went to their Thanksgivings and all their get-togethers, hoping that Casey would fall in love with me and stuff. But
yeah,
it didn't quite work out that well. But in the 8th grade, that's when I kind of tricked her into going on this double date.
Nice.
I had a friend that was going to take this girl. Obviously his mom was going to drive us, and so. We went for pizza, we went and seen a movie, and then we went and had ice cream. So we did not start dating.
We had ice cream on our first date.
Yeah,
Really?
we did.
Yeah.
He bought it for my my best friend. I was with this other guy I met at Mardi Gras. It was really like a promising relationship, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, he came with me and to pick out like my prom shoes or whatever, and my best friend I was checking to see if he liked me. That's all it was. And I was like, "Hey, come to the mall." Well, the guy wouldn't even pay for my best friend's ice cream. He's like, I don't have any money. I only have enough money for both of us. And then Ryan was like, here, I'll pay for it. And I was like, you're mine.
the man of your dreams right
He
there.
was.
So anyways, let's get back to your story. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right. So anyways, we continued to go to school together. And then I guess when it was the beginning of our senior year, I pretty much was thinking this is the last year to get this girl to date me.
Okay. Time was running out.
This is it.
Clock is ticking.
It was at a homecoming football game, and we were candidates for homecoming king and queen. And I said, "Hey, let's. I'm gonna try this again." I said, "Hey, let's start dating." And what'd you say?
I said yes.
Oh,
Nice.
finally.
Good choice. Good choice.
So we started dating, and like all, boyfriend girlfriends in school. I mean, we had our ups and downs and stuff, but we never lost contact of each other by any means, and then we went to college, and we both dropped out of college to get married.
Yep.
Aww.
We decided that being together was more important than. We had so many dreams as a young couple. We loved each other so much. It was a ton of fun, and her family and my family were close, and
I love the way you guys are just staring at each other in
It's
your
so
eyes.
sweet.
It's awesome.
so it
You
was
can
cool.
tell that y'all love
So
each other.
we started dating when we were 17. We got married when we were 19, and when we I guess we bought our first home when we were 20.
Nice.
And that's when we thought, hey, we're gonna live the American dream.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have a mortgage, and we're gonna have vehicle payments.
Lots of debt.
We're gonna go to work. Yeah.
Yep.
And we did. And then do you want to talk some, or you want to take from there?
No,
Oh yeah. Well, we can alternate.
fine,
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep
Okay.
going.
So I think what happened.
We both wanted to have kids.
Oh yeah, we were ready to have
Yeah, we
kids,
were
and
ready.
I can remember everybody else, even trying to persuade us to maybe wait a while.
Yep.
I kind of had a young job, and at that time I wasn't in the oil field. I was, we bought our first house, had 2 vehicles, and could feed ourselves. We could buy groceries, we could do everything. I think I was making like $9 an hour.
That's
Oh
awesome.
my God.
That's awesome.
And we were as happy and content as we could be.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We were hunters. We were growing our garden. We had horses, and we had a few cows even, or just 2 cows and a bull, something like that.
That's more
Anyways.
cows than I had.
But I guess we got moved in our house. We asked nobody for help either. I can remember we pride ourselves on that. When we decided to buy our home, we didn't go to her parents and ask. We didn't ask my parents. I don't know who we asked.
Nobody.
But we there wasn't no internet for us. There might have been for other people, but I don't know if they're in 2002. I don't remember.
It was hard to get internet in Alaska. Still, yeah.
We certainly didn't have cell phones even.
Nope, we didn't.
See, that's a common thread with young couples. It took us how many years till we got a cell phone?
2.
I mean, they're just so expensive. They were.
Yeah. We couldn't afford it. We had the calling cards. We had to use calling cards, and then I remember him going to the field, and he'd have to call me from his friend's phone because like their parents were paying it or whatever. And like we're like you. We were like, we're up here, we're doing our thing. Like I don't want
bean burritos, top ramen.
Maybe it was because everybody's like, y'all are so young. You shouldn't get married. And it's like, but when you're up there, like. You want to prove them wrong almost, you know?
I think Matt misses those meals of top ramen. His favorite thing was, what were they?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was it? The chimichangas that I would make when we first got married, and I would put ranch style beans on top of them. It was the most terrible meal ever, but he asks for it even now sometimes.
That's awesome.
I wish you would just make that for me.
Just cave and do it.
Yeah, $10 an hour. So I remember we decided we was going to start having children, and we still went on our camping trips on the weekends. That's always a thing that we've always done, just to the lake and stuff. But as time progressed, I got into the oil field, and we started making more money, and we started buying more things. Before I knew it, we had a boat, we had ATVs, we had a camper trailer to make our camping trips more pleasant with young children.
Absolutely.
And because it was hot in Oklahoma, and we needed AC, and before long. Just a few years went by, like 3 years, and we decided that also our first home, we had fixed up the property, we'd fixed up the house, and we thought we could make a profit on that home.
Okay.
Sure.
And so we said, and we started, it was a double wide trailer.
Okay.
It was really nice. We had built a porch on it. We dreamed of building a big back deck, but that never happened.
No.
And we had 5 acres even at that place.
Oh,
nice. For a first house?
Yeah.
That's
great.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Home,
yeah, that's pretty good.
I remember we was able to do it no money down and all that, and then
that's awesome.
We put it up for sale, and we actually hired a realtor to help us sell that home.
Why'd y'all sell it?
We decided we wanted a brick home.
Oh, okay,
and we wanted to be a little closer to town because the kids.
Sure.
We had both kids by then.
Yeah.
And
okay that I'm talking.
Well, it'd be easier. They could hear you, but it'd be better, like, if you were in the mic for sure. Yeah, you're good.
We need another microphone.
Yeah,
it's fine. Just that we were so far out is all I was gonna say. But,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what?
So, anyways, we started looking around. We put our house up for sale. Casey said, "Shouldn't we find a home to buy before we?" And this tells you a lot about ourselves. We click really well together. Yeah. I come up with these brilliant ideas. She gets scared for a moment, and I assure everything's going to be okay. And
absolutely.
We just keep, and then she jumps on board, and we make it work. I fix it so she's not scared anymore.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Make promises I know I can keep. Right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So anyways, or that I hope that I can anyways.
You do.
Okay.
You've done well so far.
So we put it up for sale, and in the moment of that happening, we found a home, and within, I don't remember how long it took to sell the first house, but it was only a few months.
Yeah. Nice.
Our realtor found someone to buy it, and we happened to find a home that we wanted, and it was only, so we shortened it from being like 10 miles out of town then to 2 miles out of town.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And it was a brick house. We had a really nice shop and all that, and those folks wasn't ready to move out. The house wasn't for sale, but they had mentioned it to me at the gas station one day, and I said, well, hey, I'd buy it. I'd be interested, and that's
so wait, you found this house at just a random gas station visit?
Yes, yeah.
That's great.
It is, yeah. And I said, well, I can make you. They wanted to build a home closer to the city, and I said, well, let's make 2 dreams come true at once. I'll buy your home.
That's a good line.
You build yours,
salesman
That's
you are.
that's a good line.
And that's exactly what happened. They said, but we're not ready to move out. We have a lot of stuff, and we're not ready to. We haven't been looking for land and everything. So I said, well, that's fine. I have a camper. I have a boat. I'm going to move my family to the lake. Nice. And so put us a ways away from town, but it was summertime, so it was okay.
Perfect time,
Our kids were really young. I could work from anywhere because I had a company vehicle and now was in the oil field and stuff.
Nice.
And that was the other thing. It was like the more money I made, the more we wanted to improve our lives and have more stuff.
Absolutely.
We thought, as a family. So,
then what?
We bought the house and we moved into it. That was so I guess we got married in 2002 and we moved into that house in 2007.
Oh wow.
It was Memorial Weekend 2007. I can ramble dates in my head if I think about it for a second.
Nice.
Memorial Weekend 2007. I remember we had a big Memorial Weekend bash at the lake, and it was time to be done at the lake. We were done.
It's time to go home, y'all.
And so, and we did. We got to move into the house. The folks there had moved out, and we really thought that was it. That home would be our forever home.
What happened? Like, because that's what happened. And we thought we were in our forever home too, and just. What happened? What changed, Casey?
Why don't you talk a little bit about the brick house?
Okay.
Yeah.
We're there. We just moved in.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself before you jump into that brick house, because I don't think you've been introduced to the audience yet.
I'm Casey, and I'm the girl that fell in love with Matt. Finally.
She was forced.
I think we just had such a good friendship, honestly, that had built up for so many years. And then when I finally did give him a chance on the romantic side, I totally fell for him. And so, yeah.
You knew that was going to happen. I think you were just like, I need to see.
Scared, I think.
And then he talked you into it, right? He made it not scary.
Yeah.
He just got done telling us that story. That was a good catch.
Hook, line, and sinker, guys.
That was a good catch.
Honestly, he was so persistent, and he's been this way our whole entire life. Like, if he does have a dream or a goal, that's one thing I really love about him is that he just does not give up on stuff.
Sure.
Nice.
And it started off with me, so I know that about him, and it's true.
She knows I make good goals.
That's
Good
right.
goals.
There it is. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Oh, man. So anyways, we moved to the brick house, and I fell in love with it, and I loved that we had 3 acres. My kids could play, and they got older, and we started school, public school, and it was awesome, and Matt just worked more and more, and like he said before, we kind of had started collecting more things, and I don't know, I never was a big, thing person, material things never was something that I connected with really anyways, so I always wanted him at home more. Sure. I had lots of friends that I love my husband in this industry, they're always gone and making all this money and I can have all these things, and during that time I really felt like, man, what's wrong with me? I don't like this,
you want to be with him because you married him to be with him. You know,
you didn't care about the things, you cared more about the person, the man.
And so I always loved him being home, and I don't know, as we were living there for how many years did we live there? 7 years that we lived there. Our kids were getting older and getting in sports, and you know,
get busy.
Just, being busy all the time.
Say something real quick. So I can, because it was 2007, this just kind of dawned on me. I had finally felt like I was successful in my oil field career and stuff, and things were going right. Money was happening for us. We just felt like decisions were going good.
Nice.
The very next year in 2008, the company sold out, and for the first time, I was one of those people that was going to fixing to be unemployed. And I'll never forget the day that I got the call, that I needed to come to the office the next morning. And I already knew, and I called my supervisor, and he assured me that absolutely couldn't happen because he needed me in Chickasha, and I was supposed to be in Yukon, which were 2 towns there in Oklahoma, 50 miles apart. And I said, well, what do you want me to do? And he said, well, since that was a manager that called, you better go ahead and go in. And I did, and they let me go right there. Clean your truck out. The company, everything about the company was changing, and I remember thinking, how I'd heard all the stories from other people growing up, and that's when they lost everything. And Casey likes to say that. Okay.
Let me.
I like the smile on your face. It's already going to be a good one.
I never had one day of being afraid or scared of any of that, because he came home literally that day, and I swear he started pacing back and forth on our back patio and started thinking of all these people and contacts that he had made over the past however many years, and he literally was like the guy off of Jerry Maguire, show me the money.
He's a problem solver.
He was immediately. So he had another job within.
I had a job that evening.
Oh, wow.
We were getting all the
job
severance
I wanted
pay
to, not just
from
another
the
job.
other company. Plus, he was starting a new job within a week.
Oh, wow.
He's just such a doer, honestly.
You made it work. Well,
Yeah,
obviously, you
Yeah.
guys are really awesome people. These guys have really great energy, and so I can imagine him hustling, bustling on the phone. I'm sure you made great impressions on everybody that you probably met, unless they were on your bad side.
I hope so.
Unless they did
You know,
something
can
else.
I just say this?
Yeah.
So, like on our very first podcast, you know, I made a comment saying that, you know, I probably won't hang out with you if you do not impress me.
Yeah.
And within about 5 minutes of talking with him,
Yep.
I was already impressed.
Same.
So his
Same.
energy, everything about him, he just.
So before
Yep.
we got here, you know, unfortunately, we hadn't got to hear y'all's podcast until
Yeah,
this
sure.
morning.
Nice. That's
And
cool. Yeah.
We're
See, let's
sitting around, I'm pouring coffee, and we're listening to you guys. And
Nice.
all the curse words.
all the stuff that you were saying
Good. That's
was
good.
immediately, I was in the connection with it, you know, and it's
Nice.
not, and I think you're the same way. Like if, it's not that I don't enjoy someone's company that I'm not learning from or
Sure,
something.
absolutely.
Because, you know, it's cool for us to be around. If we have the good energy, maybe other people can respond.
Sure,
to that.
absolutely.
They can
Yeah.
gain from it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
at the same time, I can't just hang out with those folks all the time if they drag me down.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just like other people with good energy. That's it.
I do
Absolutely.
too.
You know,
Have you guys found, like, in RV life, do you guys find, like, more people with, like, positive energy, or do y'all find a lot of
for
really
sure.
good people?
Oh
That's
yeah,
good.
we honestly, that's like we've not came across like hardly any negative people at all.
That's
like,
good.
Can you think of anybody negative?
no, I don't know how you could be negative out here. I mean, because
That's
you know,
good.
you got to know how to fix things, and you got to know how to get down the road, and
Yeah.
you got to be, you know, you have to know. A fella just told us that the other day. If you can't run a screwdriver, or cut some wire, or look at something and, you know, put some duct tape on something, if you can't figure things out. And,
Yeah.
and want to figure
Problem
things
solve.
out. If you can't be a problem solver, you can't do this life. Whether
That's
it be
true.
a schoolie, an RV,
Yeah.
a camper,
Tiny
a van,
house. Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't. Yeah, a homestead. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
And people
You
have
have
that
to be a problem
misconception,
solver.
like, oh, I move into this RV and life is easy, because that's what everybody puts online.
It's
And
a different set of problems.
And I love
It
that that's
is.
what you said in your previous podcast. You know, you
Yeah.
said
Nice.
that you enjoyed being a problem solver.
I do. I really
And-
do.
It's fun.
And that's what I've always been paid for in my oil field career, is being a problem solver.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah,
we'll jump back on the timeline, I guess, and I
Yeah.
can share that in a minute.
you're
Yeah.
really good at problem solving for sure. Yeah. So anyway, so we're at this house and we're living what we think is like our best life, and our kids are going to school, and we're have this mortgage, and one day.
Buying more vehicles.
Yeah, vehicles, upgrading vehicles, doing things
Yeah,
that we
sure.
thought we
Sure.
were supposed to.
Yep.
Upgrading ATVs.
And I never
Sure.
really think that we were ever like on the page of like keeping up with the Joneses,
No.
but it
Anybody-
crossed our minds a few times.
Anybody who knows.
Y'all were probably the Joneses, is
No,
what
don't
happened,
say that,
huh?
no.
But y'all
No.
might have been the people, and everybody's like, I want a boat, I want an ATV, I want a nice house, I want to,
Yeah.
you know,
and if
I want
they-
that
and if
life.
anybody thought that, I think they just wanted it maybe because we were having fun.
Sure.
Sure,
In our
yeah,
life, you know, I wasn't
absolutely.
doing it
For other
You
people.
know, I know.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
bought a side by side because we had a good friend who had a side by side,
Sure.
and so we were wanting to go do some stuff with them. So of course,
That's good.
you know, because that was
Yeah.
a way for us to do stuff together with them. But we didn't get it because they had one.
Right.
That's good.
Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
You know, that- you know,
absolutely.
But I do remember just looking around and thinking we got too much stuff. And I can tell you what happened was,
Yeah.
So we had 2 rent houses, then we have what we call the double wide,
Uh-huh.
and then we have the brick house,
Okay.
you know, and then we have our next house.
Yeah,
And so that's how everything has a title to it,
us
right?
too. We
Yep.
do. Yeah, we do
Absolutely.
that.
And Casey shows me something in the brick house. My mind at that time was I was at my new job and everything was going great with that company.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were making more money, you know. We were comfortable. I always said I was a professional bill payer, you know.
I think
that's
most
just
people are.
kind of what we were, you know.
Sure.
We took care of business, but we had a lot of bills, you know,
Yeah,
and
yep.
we had created a lot of debt, but we were okay with that debt because we
You could
we
afford
were able
it.
to take care of it
Sure.
and be responsible with it.
Right.
Yeah.
If we didn't have it, we would have obviously had a lot more money probably
We
then.
have more problems too.
Yeah,
you know.
and so, but Casey one day is on Instagram. At this time, I had no.
Pinterest.
Oh yeah,
pin,
Pinterest.
pin, pin,
Sorry.
pin, pin, pin. I do
Sorry.
that too.
She was on Pinterest and found something unique, and so this was to me, this was like the whole turning point of everything in our
Nice
lives.
job,
As
Casey.
much as
Didn't know what I
Kinda
was doing
like-
at this point.
it's a huge change, like almost like having children, you know.
Yeah.
So
Eye
here
opening.
you go.
Yeah. So I showed him a tiny house on Pinterest, and he immediately was like, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome! Like, I think we should do that. I think we should sell this house."
No, it was like a year later.
Oh yeah, is that true?
Yeah.
I showed it to you, and you thought that was cool.
I was like, "That's really interesting," but
oh, okay,
you planted the
maybe
seed.
I planted the seed.
Exactly
Yeah.
So now he's following you.
Oh my gosh, I never even realized this.
Boom.
Yeah, look at that.
That's
he
what
was
we do
like,
here on Talking Chitty.
But we discover things.
Discovered. It's all my fault that we were living in a van and a camper now.
If anything goes wrong, it's your fault. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Look what you did.
So then what? Okay, a year went by. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay, a year went by, and then you were. Here, I'll let you tell it. I don't know
We'll get on her cookbook soon. She'll
Yeah.
be talking to Storm.
Okay. I can say this was 2013. Everything was kind of being weird in the U.S. There was shortages with ammo, all this stuff.
Okay, I remember that.
Everything was happening.
Yeah.
And, people were starting to think differently.
We were.
And I was thinking more. We were like, okay, we're gonna get chickens. We're gonna buy more ammo. We're gonna think more like a homesteader and
Reloading
really,
supplies,
really try to
yeah.
We're gonna sell stuff. And in that same year, our church gave us opportunity to get tickets like half price to see Dave Ramsey. And we
Oh,
were like,
sweet.
oh, Dave Ramsey. I'm like, never heard of the guy. Let me check into this. Dave
Yeah,
Ramsey.
he's just a little nobody.
And
Nobody
everyone's like, oh yeah, we'll go
Financial
see
guru.
him, then we'll go through his program at church. And I'm like, and what is he gonna do? And I kind of read up about him, on something. The deal.
Peace.
I'm like, oh yeah, financial peace. Yeah, he's gonna show me that I need to get out of debt. And I was like, psh,
Good luck with that.
yeah, like
Yeah, right.
I said, I work hard for my money. I enjoy what I do with my money.
Screw Dave
And
Ramsey.
and I'm like, I don't, what's that guy gonna tell me?
Right.
For real.
Sure.
We went, and man, you talk about someone slouching in their seat. I thought, man, this guy really put in perspective for me, like, because it was cool that we got to see him, and I'm like, whoa, he was a millionaire, and he lost everything. Now he's a millionaire again,
Right.
Wow.
and he never worked for anyone, And,
Yeah.
and his and then these 6 steps is how you get out of debt.
It can't be this easy.
It can't be this
No.
easy.
Fake
right?
news. This is fake news.
This is fake news.
Yeah.
And I said, this is what
Paid for this?
I said. This is yeah, right. We're gonna pay for this.
Common sense.
And
Yeah.
we walked straight downstairs and went, cha-ching, we'll take, the whole thing, whatever.
Give
the
me
biggest
that kit.
package.
Yeah.
Give me the biggest
I want
package.
the biggest package. I want
That's
extra
funny.
envelopes in mine. Dave Ramsey.
Don't you jip me, Dave.
Yeah. And for real, I walked out of that Coliseum
Different mindset.
completely different mindset.
You had a mission, I bet, huh?
And we did. We was on a mission, and it lasted about 6 months,
Mhm.
and I kind of got off the mission.
Okay.
Sure.
Because it was hard.
It is
Sure,
hard. It
absolutely.
takes
Because
discipline.
I was working hard, and
Wanted to have fun.
I wanted to buy stuff more than Casey did. Like I said,
Sure.
I was trying to buy things that we all done. As it wasn't just my hobbies. That's what
Sure.
the guns and ammo and hunting and camping and all that stuff was all. That was all our hobby. And pretty
Yeah.
stuff.
Pretty
I just order Casey stuff. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna order me something off the internet. We'll get her
Go
3
back so
things.
He
Yeah.
would get something
What
for
do
you.
they got on sale on Victoria's Secret?
That's right.
But I would
So it
never
was
ask
for you.
stuff.
Yeah.
He did
And
do that.
Yeah.
what is that?
You did do that.
Oh yeah, I
You
did do
felt
that.
Guilty, and he would buy me stuff after he bought
So
stuff.
That's so funny.
So it's
so
2013. We're buying all this stuff. We're trying to get out of debt. We kind of failed for a while, and the tiny house deal kind of came back up again. Casey
Sure.
showed it to me again. I didn't have any kind of social media then, but she showed me, all that stuff, and then it was in perspective for me. Like,
Oh, right.
We
The
can make
dots
that free.
started connecting,
yeah, I said,
There you
right?
go.
what if we built
Yeah.
a tiny house, and I could build it for her, and it'd be super special. What she's always wanted, this little cottage idea, and then what if, we're further out in the country, we have a little bit more land, it'd be easier to hunt, it'd be easier
Sure.
to raise our own animals,
Yeah.
Girl, I'm feeling-
and we could eliminate all the debt. And so we immediately started eliminating debt, and
things.
Do you think it
and
was
getting rid of
easier for
things.
you to stay on the path because you were like, when the
Had a
tiny
mission.
house
Uh-huh.
connected, it wasn't just getting out of debt. It was, I have a goal,
that's
like
100%.
to go
that's
out
how, and that's
do
how I
this.
operate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
The plan for getting out of debt with Dave Ramsey, and I think that's what a lot of people need to learn is, what am I going to get?
What do you get?
Because people
Yes.
don't understand what debt freedom is.
No,
They don't know what that feels
They
like.
don't know what it feels like, and
Yeah.
so if you have to give yourself this, this idea of something that you can see,
Dangling something.
Yeah.
Then maybe it's maybe it should be like what if my home's paid for? That's what debt freedom could mean.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know.
We did that. We broke down financials. We're like, this mortgage is $1,800. What could we do with $1,800?
It's a lot you can do with $1,800.
We were like, we could maybe go on a Disney vacation. Maybe we haven't done that yet, but we could go on a vacation. We could go and do something. Yeah. And I get where you're at, and everybody, and I think people miss that a lot, is that they just think, oh, we just got to get out of debt. But it's like, well, yeah, what are you going to get out of it?
Fun.
And you have to reward yourself. No. I know you said you fell off after 6 months, but you do have to reward yourself for being good. And it sounds awful. Like, hey, good job, pat on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dave does
you
say
do
that,
have
and
to.
I'm so goal driven that we probably didn't do that for 6 months. I probably worked, and I said if we're going to do it, I attack stuff a little bit too hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I think he does too.
I definitely do that.
Yeah,
It's a give and take, though, right? Because
thing,
it
though.
is. It's a
Yeah,
good balance you
it
guys
is,
have.
and Casey didn't criticize me for it.
That's good.
For
Oh,
and
you
then
hear
I
that,
didn't
Morgan?
criticize
She didn't
her.
criticize. Did you hear that?
Casey isn't on my team right now.
But,
just joking.
But
just joking.
So we started telling people this was our idea. We're gonna homestead. We're gonna build our own house.
Nice. Did they believe you?
No,
I thought you were crazy, huh?
because to be honest with you, we actually decided we were gonna build a smaller house.
Sure.
Okay.
So we were still in the brick house, and we started interviewing home builders.
Okay.
This is what I want to build. I kind of drew up some plans, and we interviewed 3 of them. And I learned real quick, if you want something custom, custom vehicle, custom home, custom gun, it doesn't matter. If you want something custom, then the price doubles.
Yes.
It does.
It triples, whatever,
Yep.
quadruples. It
That's
doesn't
fact.
matter. And that's what happened. And it's because it's special. And these people, when it's a custom home, now they can build a custom home, but now it's our custom home. So they're going to build it for us, right?
Sure.
Right.
So the value goes up. The home wasn't going to be normal. So, pretty much it was in at like what? $100,000 to have someone build our home, I think.
Yeah, 125 was the highest.
Yeah.
And how many square foot was this home going to be?
700.
Okay.
And so incredible.
That's
so,
a lot. I was gonna say our first house was like
15.
1,500 square feet, and it was $116,000. It was a cookie cutter, though.
Yeah.
It was a cookie cutter near Fort
that
Hood,
was just labor, though.
military town. Yeah,
You
dude, they
know?
were throwing these things up like crazy, So a
And-
custom home, I'm sure, but
and I
700
said-
square feet.
I was like, my goodness.
Yeah.
And so it was we could have went and built a 1,500 square foot home by any of these builders
for sure.
for $150,000
Wow.
materials and builders.
Sure.
But because it was so
But I'm
custom.
like, but you're going to charge me $100,000 for labor. I'm going to pay for all the materials, which are going to cost about $50,000.
Yep.
And so I built 700 square foot home for
Oh my
$150,000.
Doesn't make sense, right?
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But it was, it was.
Thank
just
God
gonna
you
be
do
different.
math.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's right.
mean? They was like, how do you do that? You just add, man.
Yeah.
You just
So
do
I
math.
said, I think I got a little bit frustrated, and it
Sure.
wasn't those guys' fault, but they're not custom home builders. Find a custom home builder. Well, the 100,000 would definitely be the 125, like Casey said.
Yeah.
And at that time, there wasn't no tiny house shows on TV. There wasn't
Sure.
anything like that. It was just kind of something, I guess, on Pinterest maybe.
Yeah.
And we just worked hard. We started selling everything we own. We decided we was going to sell our home that we was currently living in for sell by owner.
Mm-hmm.
And
In 10 days.
yeah, we sold it in 10 days.
Jeez
Yeah.
and rice.
Really cool couple, was wanting to move to Minco and want to start a business there, and so boom, we sold it for sale by owner, and it worked out beautifully.
Did it seem like you guys were on the right path because things were just kind of falling into place for you?
Every time.
Yeah.
I felt like.
I think so.
Kind of like a deja vu, oh man, we're supposed to be doing this because
That's right.
easy, it's so easy. It's almost like you're being guided down this path.
I
Like,
think-
oh, good job, you did the tiny house. You're doing this. Keep going,
Yeah,
you
like,
know.
What else is there?
When,
Yeah.
when,
Yeah.
I'm like, what
when
else
it
is
hits you,
next?
when it hits you, I think if you're thinking about it when you go to sleep at night,
Ugh,
and
yeah.
if you start thinking about it and you almost get short of breath, that's how Casey and I both are. We get fired up and
Yeah.
and boy, I tell everybody from 7 to 11 in the morning, you want to be around me, you better be ready.
Yeah.
That's when
Jacked.
that's when
We're
I'm
going.
ready to
Yeah,
go,
I'm full throttle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of good conversations between 7 and 11, I guess, right? And
Nice.
so you want to talk about what happened after that?
So yeah, I will say that Matt decided that we were going to build our own house,
Yep.
and I about lost it because I'm like, what? How can we do that? Like, we've never built anything besides a porch.
Yeah.
A chicken house.
Here,
A
chicken.
few small, like
Nothing your
Sounds
family
like
would
us.
live in,
Yeah.
though. You know.
Like a lean-to. It was not a barn.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we built lots of ATV trailers.
Trailers. Okay, that's not a
Nice.
house, right?
Yeah,
She
right.
can add that. Like we had always lived for the 2 weeks out of the year,
oh,
and I
yeah.
think that's where the Dave Ramsey and all that. I started thinking more debt freedom, more vacations.
Sure.
Time as a
Have
family.
y'all ever read the Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes, I'm a
Re-
big advocate of that.
Isn't
book.
that an awesome book?
We're definitely part of Robert Kiyosaki's tribe. Yeah.
Kiyosaki.
We got that cash
Right
flow
on, man.
game.
I like
For
Kiyosaki.
the kids.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know?
Because everything you're saying, I was like, man, if you haven't read him, you're gonna like buy 20 of his books tomorrow.
You're gonna get extra envelopes of
we
him.
send them to friends. You know, we're like,
Yeah.
guys,
Oh yeah, I
this
bought
is
that book. I don't
just-
know how many times for people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's like
Yeah.
$5 or $6.
I'm reading his investing book right now.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I'm reading his investing book right now. Yeah, so that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll have to get the title from you because we
can
make a
finish it and
list
give it
of
to
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can have it.
we make list of books.
Thank
and
you.
we just start
Yeah,
ordering
you're
them.
welcome.
I
That'd be
appreciate
awesome.
that.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having me on this podcast.
No, thank you
Yeah.
guys
You
for coming out.
You get a Robert T. book.
You get a book and you
Nice.
get a book. It's like Oprah.
It's like Oprah in here. That's great. That is great.
You don't have to pay taxes on the book. though.
Exactly. See, no
No.
shipping,
It's
no
a real
nothing.
free book.
You know, I think Jeff Bezos is going to be a little angry though because he's not going to get my money on that
No,
one. At
That's
True.
least.
right. Yeah, yeah. So
That's
here,
right.
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
No, it's fine. So then, yeah, we started building. Actually, we found some property.
Now tell them about the house going up. Me again putting the house up for sale and no land, no nothing.
Oh gosh, I can't handle it. Here, you tell them.
No, go ahead.
You tell them what you did.
Okay, so
What did
once
you do?
again, I'm driven, and I'm like, we're gonna put the house up for sale. We're gonna build our own house. And Casey's like,
I'm along for the ride.
no. She's like, no.
Oh, this is the one where she puts her foot
says-
down.
She says, she said, we cannot do this. There is no way this will work because
Ruh-roh.
we have no land. We have no place to live.
Oh, jeez.
And if we, and she
Sounds
said, and I
right.
honestly
we didn't have a
think
camper anymore.
that, yeah, we had no camper, you know, no ATVs, no truck. We had sold
Everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
except for the tools we needed to build a new home
Wow.
and the tools
Absolutely.
and
Wow.
put money aside, you know, to buy new stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, the land. I said, what if we don't sell the house for 6 months? Then more than likely we'll find land, you know, by then. And I said, I think the land will just happen, you know. And so she said, no, but I said yes, and we put the house up for sale and
Okay.
sold in 10 days. And I thought, wow,
Wow.
I am in some trouble, you know.
Now
But
you're problem
she
solving
says-
to the max.
Yeah, and problem solving. She says, what are we going to do? I said, we'll move in with your mom. It'll work out great.
Jeez.
Because we love Casey's parents, and we get along
Absolutely,
really well
sure.
with them. And they have a large enough home that
Oh,
we had our
good.
own
That's
private
good.
living area and bathrooms. The kids had their own bedrooms even. I mean,
Nice.
Oh,
That's good.
okay. So it was a big enough
It wasn't
home to
cramped.
where.
oh yeah.
Okay.
We just shared the kitchen and the utility room.
Okay.
Actually, we didn't. We all just stayed in one tiny room actually and enjoyed it, I guess.
Yeah.
But so
Nice.
we did. We put stuff in storage, and we moved in there, and within a couple of weeks, a really good
wow.
friend of Casey's. It's snowing. It's January 2014. We're moved out of our house. We're looking for land, and
She told us
Casey
to-
gets a call from a good friend of hers that says, "Hey, I was looking in this little ad paper, and there's some land out
Oh,
in
what?
Coger, which is where is a kind of just a small. It's not a community. They just call it the Coger area. You know,
Okay.
it used to be a community back
west
in
of
the
our
day.
town.
I got
Okay.
you.
12 miles west of town, and she said there's 4 acres out there for sale. And Casey calls me and tells me where it's at, and I'm like, no kidding. I was like, I'm on my way to the house. I'm like 2 miles from there.
No
Oh,
way.
Wow.
I said, I'll call you back. And
It's
so
meant to be.
I literally went 2 miles down the road, took a right. I drive up. There's the for sale sign. It's pretty much demolished. You know, I pull in, all trees, really nice. I thought, there was one old burnt down trailer house on the property, and I thought this is doable. This
Yeah.
is like more than what I had imagined. You know.
Wow.
So the property
4
did actually look
acres.
nice.
Yeah.
There
yeah.
wasn't any trash on there.
There
or
was
anything?
one little frame of a burnt down trailer house, and that was
Okay.
Nothing.
it.
Yeah.
and
and
some
all-
people
and
would
then-
look at that and be like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with that," but
And then solid
Yeah.
trees, just all trees.
that's
Okay.
beautiful.
just growed up, and where you could just put your driveway through there, pick out exactly how you wanted to start off.
Ooh,
right?
nice.
you know?
That's great.
Okay.
But
I've always wanted that long
driveway. I walk up on
driveway.
the hill, and this, so it's 4 acres, and I walk up on the hill, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what in the world is going on up here? The property adjacent, or next to it, right?
Okay.
Butted up next to it, yeah.
Butted up next to it. Looked like a landmine.
Oh, jeez.
Barns, trailer houses, a couple of vehicles. 8 trailer houses total.
What? Are they being lived in, or they're just junk?
Just demolished. So there's a story behind it all. There was a puppy mill.
Okay. Yep.
That someone had there years ago, and they fought roosters in the barn up there. That was years ago, before the puppy mill deal and everything. But just not a healthy place.
So a lot of horror sounds like.
Oh yeah,
puppy mill, cockfighting.
Yeah,
all
right?
kinds of
and
stuff.
someone had told us that someone tried to raise cats up there, same as the people did with the puppy mill. I mean, I'm going to play that out because.
That's sad.
So then this guy comes to the house and says, "I want to take you to see it."
Oh my god.
Why would you do that, first of all?
Because you can see through the trash, the garbage.
Yeah.
You had the vision.
He had the vision. So he came and got me, and I immediately said, no, it's too far. It's too trashy. I don't think we should live there.
I talked real fast all the way out there so that she didn't realize how far away it was.
That's good.
Oh, nice. That's actually pretty smart.
It took about 20 minutes to get there from town.
Yep.
And so, anyways, I seen it for the first time, and honestly, I thought there's no way that we could do it. I was just saying what you said.
Yeah,
I saw the property and thought, oh my God, that's too much work. Anyways, so we came back, and he was like, well, we can just keep looking.
First, you looked up top.
Oh, yeah, at the up top. Oh, my God. I was like, I'm not living next to that. My kids can't live next there.
Because that wasn't for sale.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't for sale, yeah.
It was just the 4 acres of trees.
I'm not living next to that. It was terrible.
Right, yeah. Who's going to live there later? A meth lab or something,
and people had told us
Walter
there was
White.
meth labs there. Like, it was that bad. It was so scary.
Eisenberg.
We have pictures of it on our Facebook page. You guys
I'll have to go
great.
check it out.
Yeah.
I will. I'll go look
so anyways,
it up.
we go back home, and I honestly was just praying about it. Like, Lord, I wanted us to find something. Like,
right.
Please help us. So every morning when I would get up, I would think about that property.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but who owns the other piece? Like, why am I thinking of it? Like, I don't even care. I don't want it.
Yeah.
No one was living on it.
Every day I would wake up. Yeah, it was a dump. Like, no one lived there.
Just the souls of all the dead puppies.
So what do I do? I call the courthouse to see who owns it.
Nice.
And if there's any, if the property taxes and stuff like that are kept up on it.
Yeah.
The lady did not have any information except for an address for the lady that owned it.
That's sketchy.
I know. So, anyways, but I told Matt, I said, if it's meant to be for us to have that property, we'll have to buy both pieces of property.
Oh, sure.
I said, I guess I'll have to write this lady a letter to see if she wants it.
Didn't even know if she lived at
to sell it.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
Matt said, Casey, that's crazy. That's not going to work. Just forget it. We're going to have to find something else. So he was even off of it.
I said, that's crazy, but you write that letter.
Yeah.
But
you write that letter.
Let me sign it.
You gave him a little faith.
So we did. We wrote the letter and told her that we wanted to buy the property because we were planning on buying the property beside it, blah, blah, blah. She got the letter in 2 days, and I put my phone number on there. She called me and said, I've been wanting to get rid of that property. Yes, she did. And she told us how much she wanted for it, knowing that we would take it as is. We bought that place and the other. And
so you reached out.
Yep.
And
with a letter.
Old school.
Wow.
Old school. Yeah. Such a cool thing. So
wow.
And it was a burden on her.
It was.
And I found a lot of times it is. Like, and if you can find people like that want to just get rid of their stuff.
So she expressed with us that it was a burden because it was her and her husband's. And her husband had passed away.
Oh.
And that was kind of his dream and her dream. And I think she was remarried now. I don't know. But either way, she didn't want the property because at the age that she was, she said there was just no way she could take care of it and needed to be cleaned up. You know?
She didn't have
and it had become a dumping place out in the area.
For the locals, yeah.
And so,
you bring up a really good point because a lot of people don't realize that you can find land driving around a county, out in the county, and if you find something like that, it is just as easy as, like you said, calling the county, and if you don't have a number, then just write a letter, and people get properties like that all the time.
That's something we learned recently, but that's cool to hear that you guys have a success story to do that.
And it was a bonus. The piece of property I wanted, no water well on it, nothing like that. The piece of property we didn't want, beautiful water well.
Are you serious?
Yeah, already done.
Put them together. You have a homestead.
And now we have 8 acres, and it was a big decision. And like I said, we hired guys to help us clean it up.
Oh, sure.
We buried stuff. We was able to sell so much junk off the property.
I bet.
That we made money.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
You know, selling copper, selling iron. We were taking...
Yeah. And I will say with that money, I got to keep it all, and I got to use all that money to buy new stuff for the tiny house.
Very
Yay.
nice.
And
hey,
I
that's how
had
you
enough.
do it.
Yeah.
The rest of that went.
That is
That's
where the
where
rest.
the
You were
rest
wondering where that went
went.
earlier when you and I were just talking.
I was like, I'm 2,800 short.
Yeah,
Where'd
what
that
happened?
go?
That was mine. Yeah.
That was.
So
But Casey worked hard.
yeah, I went out there and worked every day while Matt went
Good.
to work because I made a
working,
deal
so
with
she
the
went out there
guy.
and helped those guys.
Yeah, I helped load up all the metal.
Hell
and stuff,
yeah,
so
get it,
the
girl.
Money, I deserved it.
Get it,
Absolutely.
girl.
And you
That's
wrote
what I'm
that letter.
talking
So, I mean, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
just writing that letter and getting that property with the water well on it, that's worth
Yeah.
$2,800.
Yeah, I think so.
Totally.
So, and then, yeah, we started building our
Started
shop and
homesteading.
started homesteading. Yeah.
Your guys'
How long
house
did
was
it take you
beautiful.
guys to clear
So,
all that out?
Until March.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And y'all was like December, like y'all said December, January, y'all bought it, and then y'all
No,
cleaned
so we
it.
bought it in January.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and got it closed on it. Had it cleaned up by March.
Wow.
And honestly, still had no idea, you know, of where the home was going to be until I said I couldn't focus on building the home until we decided to clean it up.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. You
We
need
got
a
it cleaned
fresh...
up, you know. And we decided we had a little tractor. We had a little barn. We built that first, so we have a place to keep
Sure.
all our stuff.
That's smart.
Hold on. As we were building that barn, I remember thinking, this is way too freaking hard. This barn was like, what was the dimensions of the barn?
12 by 24.
It was 12 by 24. Like, nothing to it, honestly, after
Kinda overbuilt
looking
it,
back.
though, so.
He did overbuild it,
That's
but
okay. It
I
happens.
thought, this is the hardest thing ever. Like, how are we going to be able to build our house? Like,
Right.
it was hot, and it was... I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah,
It
'cause
seemed
that
so
got into-
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like-
hot quick that year.
Yeah, it did get hot quick. And we were living out there in our camper. Our kids were...
Little, right? They were
Little.
probably...
But you know what? It just
9 and
kind of
11.
evolved
Yeah.
over
But
just
when you
time.
look back at that, was that such a hard time now
It really
looking
wasn't.
back?
Oh, heck no.
Or
It
do you
was
guys
so
have a lot of
easy.
memories, like good positive
Yeah,
memories
positive
about that
memories
time?
of being there together as a family
Laughing.
and laughing and working on
It was
stuff
simple.
and letting the kids help. And
Nice.
oh, Matt was such a doer. He just was so smart about like everything and making all the decisions. And yeah,
That's good.
He really was. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
What was next?
So yeah, we built the barn, we built the dirt pad, we decided to start framing up the house. We used old telephone poles that were incredibly, you know, made because they were from like the 70s
Oh,
probably.
yeah.
It was just creosote, you know,
And
would
that barn,
last
that was for
forever.
chicken
Yeah.
It was out of the old
Yeah.
original chicken barn
Nice.
for our post and beam for the subfloor of the house.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
And then we used 2x12s, and the house was 16 by 32.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
We just went to work and nonstop from, I'm gonna say April. It probably ended up being closer to May. There was kind of 2 months there where I kind of get confused. But let's say April we started building, and we just worked our tails off. Casey
Wanted to
told
be in
me
by
I
Christmas.
want to be in that house by Christmas, so she gave me a deadline.
That's
and,
better, yeah.
We had some tough times throughout the summer. We had some storms, bad storms, you know, tornadic. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
type
it's
weather
really bad
Yeah.
over there.
and hail and wind and just all kinds of stuff. And it was a very, very hot summer. But we worked hard. We pushed through all that, and then it got cold really quick. And we knew as we started working on the house that the commute back to town, because I worked out in that area, so I'd have
Okay.
to like drive, or you know, I would go to the home. Then she'd pick the boys up from school, then meet me out there. Then we'd all commute another 12 miles back to town, and it got to be real rough. And I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's buy a camper
I did one.
and move into one." We went and looked at buying campers. Decided we happened to find a guy that allowed us to rent one.
That is really cool.
And we told him, you know, hey, we don't know how long, few months.
He's like,
Sure.
okay, fine, no problem.
Because, you know, people literally will just put them in storage. Like, now that you probably do RV
Yeah.
life, you meet all these people, like, they just have their RV in storage all year. Maybe for 3 months,
That
they'll
was
take it
definitely
out.
good for them.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we moved into it, and that sped things up big time
I
for
bet.
us. It got cold though really quick in that camper, and we actually spent Thanksgiving in the camper. I think we moved in the camper in September,
Okay.
and December 21st we spent our first night in our tiny little house.
How awesome.
Very
And I'll
nice.
say, you know, we did a lot of stuff together. The framing, we hired out roof work.
Sure.
We hired out foam insulation, but we did everything ourselves.
Nice.
We drew it. I drew it on graph paper.
Nice.
Wow.
Everything.
How do you
Casey
draw?
painted the entire house herself.
Now, let me ask you guys
with a good
this.
friend of ours.
A lot of people don't understand that have never built their own homes. What does that feel like when you build your own home?
And you can live in it.
And then you live in it.
Yeah.
Big sense of accomplishment, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I could sit in that house. I could still go to that house. I can look at the pictures of that house and tell you what nails were used and what.
Sure.
Right.
We didn't use. I knew I didn't want sheetrock in the house. Not a sheetrock fan really. So, nor did I know how to work with sheetrock and didn't want to learn.
Sure.
But I knew I was going to build the house out of wood, so why not make wood walls?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why not. That's what you do.
Which is what I wanted. Which is what I wanted too. So,
Gives it a rustic look, and we just looked at the
really
pictures
was.
of your house. It was
Beautiful.
beautiful.
You guys did a fantastic
beautiful
job.
little tiny home.
Sit there and see the electric. We could
Yeah,
see
you could
the-
see.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I could see where people helped me with certain things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
A lot of memories.
about as
Memories,
connected
yeah.
to it as you are your
Your kids.
And our kids were like,
Seriously.
You built them up.
Yeah. One thing I look back and I think about like our boys. Like there
And
was
our
one
kids
time
helped so
I
much.
picked them up from school and it was December and they were like, "Mom, so and so said they got their Christmas tree up. Like, what? I don't think we're gonna be able to get ours up. Like, we're not gonna
Right.
be done with the house." And I'm like, "I know. I don't think we are either." And I'm like bawling and crying.
Aw.
And I was like, "But we're gonna keep working for it. We're gonna keep pushing, and we're gonna do our best every day to try and get there." And I remember that night that I tucked them in bed, like, just talking to them about it, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Mom, I can't believe we're sleeping in our beds."
Aw.
And we
Your
did
heart,
it.
right?
I mean,
I'm
just-
already getting teary-eyed. Like, I know how that feels.
I
I
did
know.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just felt
That's
like,
sweet.
man, it's the
And
biggest
that they were
sense
happy.
of
Yes.
Our kids were
accomplishment.
happy with what we
And
Right.
happy.
Exactly.
And like,
Because
wow.
we can only hope
Yeah.
that our children are going to be happy.
Yeah, you hope.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I hope
They were
this is
so
right.
happy, and they were like, "Mom, Dad, we can do anything. Like, look
Yeah.
what
How
we
See.
did."
amazing.
See?
And
When our
they were
kids-
so
You
young.
teach your kids to
But-
build their future, not consume their future.
Yes.
If
Absolutely.
you can
That's
dream
so
it, you
true.
can
You
build
do
it.
it.
Yeah. And they just saw their parents who didn't
They
know
saw it.
y'all aren't contractors. You're not
No.
house builders. You're
Yeah.
not Ruthardt Construction
Yeah.
LLC. You know what I mean?
Right.
You
Right.
are though. I mean, you
Yeah.
are in your own sense.
Yeah.
But I mean,
You are now.
Yeah.
When they look
How
back,
cool.
I think it made them kind of who they are right now, because I feel like that they would only do this life that we chose, which we can get to that in a minute, but I feel like that was a stepping stone for them
Sure.
to commit to me and
never
Matt
do this
saying
if
we
we
want to
wouldn't
live
have
on the
built the
road.
Being
I-
outside of the
Well,
box.
maybe,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Because people did think we were crazy, and I will say we started our Facebook page actually when we were building our house.
Okay.
when we started it.
Mostly for our family and friends and people
Sure.
in our community that were like, "What are you
Interested in
doing?
it.
Like, why?"
Sure.
Because our kids would be going to school and they'd be like, "Yeah, we're building our own house," and they were like, "What? That's crazy!" So they started following. Just everyone in our community kind of was following our page, and
Sure.
they
But
got
we
to.
built it.
They were so encouraged too, because they were
That's
like,
cool.
"Oh my God, y'all did it!" Because they were watching us, the whole time, and then they were happy for us, and
That's awesome.
yeah.
But when we was building the home, there was no intentions of ever selling the home. I can tell you right now, Casey said, because we cried together many nights, but I'd say October, November, December,
Okay.
I could almost guarantee you there wasn't a day that wasn't spent 20 hours a week or 20 hours awake to work.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
Between me working and we slept maybe 4 hours a night.
Wow.
Sure.
I would come home.
But we did it.
We did
Some
it,
days
yeah.
I could get home at 4. Some days I'd get home at 8, 9, whatever. But I'd work till 3 in the morning so that I could get up and go to work at 6
Wow.
or 7.
That's right. Yeah.
For 3 solid months. That's how hard we worked. And Casey said, she told me one day, she said, "I'll never ever do this again." This is it. And so
Yeah.
so we poured. We did things with that house. We built it on a construction aspect of it, I guess. As strong as we thought that
Mm-hmm. Sure.
it could be, so
Sure.
that it would last us until we were dead.
Sure,
Good.
You know,
Nice.
good.
forever.
That's how how houses should be built, and it's
And-
unfortunate that they're not. Like they're really
Yeah.
just little
And people
matchboxes.
think their houses are built like that now, and they're really not.
No.
Even custom homes, they are not built
Yeah.
like that.
They
No,
look
and-
really pretty, but
know,
if
we-
you
we-
watch it and how they build it,
It's
it's not
gonna tear it down,
exactly what you
yeah.
think it is.
Yeah, when
so
they could
true.
build one in 3 months or whatever. But
Sure.
Yeah,
even
oh,
with the large
yeah.
crew. But anyways,
Yeah.
we built our garden to where it would last us, forever. We ended up putting in the pond.
Y'all
the
had a really big
barns.
garden of raised beds
Yeah,
too. That was
32.
nice.
Yeah, 30,
Wow.
32
That's what we
raised
ended up
garden
with,
beds.
yeah.
How beautiful.
And
Cherry tree.
huge chicken area. But you know, we really feel like that's what we try to tell everybody. We really put our love and everything that was inside of us into everything.
Yeah.
Sure. The amount of cedar trees that I cut down to use for posts on the house. All the chicken pens were made out of those posts. And it was a lot of work.
So fast forward to the day that you said.
Okay.
We should have done this in the mountains.
Yeah. So I guess
should have done this in the mountains.
We loved that house, and I can tell you we lived there for 2 years. 14, 15, 16, 17, actually, I guess. I'm going to say somewhere around 2016, 2017. I guess it was 2017. Yeah. And I said, we were sitting on the porch rocking, and I said, you know, I love this house. And she said, oh, I do too. And I said, you know what would make it better? And she kind of gave me the sigh, and I said, if we had built it in the mountains. And she probably said, you know, can't you just be happy? And I said, I am happy. I said,
the grass growing.
You know, it was kind of like everything was happening again. Sure. You know, it was like, because, you know, we look at our lives sometimes and wonder if people look at us and think that they're not ever satisfied. Well, I'm very satisfied.
I used to think that too.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to ever look at our lives and think that we're unhappy. We are just so driven to
do
what's next.
What's next?
Sometimes I have to let go of what I've done
that I love
to do what's next.
To keep moving forward.
It's hard
just
for
to
people
keep building, to keep growing, because the day you stop learning, educating,
slow down.
You know, not being the smartest person in the room, not challenging yourself, I mean, I really believe that's the day we start to die.
Yeah.
And there's enough
really
people doing the same thing.
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, of getting rid of stuff. And
But think about what you built. And somebody did buy that, and they'll probably stay there their entire life. And that house will still be there their entire life. Why? Because you built it that way.
Yeah.
So, you know, if anything, you're kind of a humanitarian.
Oh, yeah.
Building houses for people.
Building houses that'll last a lifetime.
So, here, I'll let Casey tell what happened.
Yeah, what happened? So he wanted to build this house, and you're like, what?
And you weren't doing this again, you said.
You're not doing it again.
What's the plan here? And he's like, well, actually, we first thought about moving to the mountains initially, and then we realized that quit his job and get another job there.
Do the same thing. And
but it was so expensive to live there.
Yeah.
And then we thought too. We didn't have that money
yet.
And so we thought also it would put us back in kind of the same cycle that we were in, you know, which was our daily grind of him going to work and me. Yeah.
It's almost insanity doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Yeah. Like how can we get something different, you know? And so we thought about doing a bus. We
problem solved.
About that. Yeah,
nice.
Like, hey, that would be cool. And then
even looked at buses for a while.
Looked at buses for a while, even And then the whole camper thing came to mind from a friend. We're like, man, that would be so much faster. A good way to start out.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And you've already built your house, so you knew how to do that. Yeah.
So,
that kind of bounced around into the. That kind of bounced around from the. We did do a motorhome first. Decided to put our house up for sale, you know, once we did start doing it. And so you want to talk about that, like, again, with the...
Sure, tell the story.
If you want to. It's up to you.
It's up to you guys.
So we decided to do a tiny house contest. And people said, you know, what's a tiny house contest? Initially, we had thought about doing a...
tickets.
Like selling tickets, like
a raffle?
Raffle, yes. And we learned, and we thought this would be great. It would be so cool. Because in our mind, we thought, what if we can really give our home completely furnished to someone for $100?
Sure.
Oh, cool.
And that's where the idea of the raffle came from.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went into it like, hey, let's do this. Started getting all the ins and outs of it, and realized real quick that in our state that wasn't going to work.
Okay.
It was considered gambling to do a raffle. Unless it's nonprofit, you can't do it.
So look it up by state, guys.
Yeah,
look it up by state.
Yeah.
But I think your solution to it was genius.
It was actually Casey's solution. You know, it was
nice.
Let's not give up and let's keep digging in because we want this house to go to someone for that. There's got to be a way. Started digging in on the internet, and Casey finds a house in New York, and it's these people have it in a house contest, and that's what it is, you know. And it's an essay writing contest. and the
because
entry
that
fee,
made it legal, correct?
Because in New York it made it legal. They could give this house away because it had become a contest rather than a lottery.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
And
because you could rig that lottery, and I get that now.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So long story short, we contacted the lawyer, and she said, I can do this for you guys. This is how much it'll cost. We paid her. She wrote up all the paperwork. We built a website. We started having open houses. And at that time, we had maybe 600 people on our Facebook page or something.
Okay.
And it started to grow. People caught wind that we were doing this house contest, and it was perfectly legal. Everything was good. If you wrote in a 200-word essay that you could win our home.
200 words.
200 words why you wanted to win the house.
Wow.
Pay $100 entry fee. You know, it'd be just like entering
like a
an art
paragraph.
contest, right?
Yeah.
And was a page.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah. But I mean, I say,
complain about that.
I was gonna say, Casey had said
Yeah.
that it was a little harder to like get more people to write, you know, about their
And that was a kind of a deal that we didn't know, and we kind of went with 200 because that was kind of something that was suggested.
That's a
to
good,
us.
good meat in it.
And it was difficult for people, I think. But we the local news caught wind of it, you know, and they did an interview. He's on the news, you know, and we were like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening.
Right.
But it felt very positive.
Sure.
Yeah.
We had our first open house in May of 2017, and that was the month we were going to start the contest, and over 350 people showed up to our home. We had the top part into the grass. We had people parking up there because we had a large place. Had the boys set up with a little tent saying, walk down the hill. We had some flags set up so that when people walked into the driveway, the first thing they saw was the front of the house.
Yeah.
We had the pond filling up, the chickens, everything was open, the garden was open, people could walk through. It was a beautiful spring day.
I bet it showed really well, too.
Beautiful.
And
it was easy to show that and just show how great it was.
Casey and I, about 11 hours had passed, and then I kind of looked at her, and I was like, oh, my gosh, I haven't even talked to you today. You know, and it was that many conversations and that many. I went from the front porch to the back porch down. We had the fire pit burning with pecan wood down by the pond.
Wonderful,
nice.
yeah.
Met incredible people, just unbelievable.
People were still friends with us.
Yeah, and like me and you were discussing earlier, I watched a few people walk into our home and become emotional, and at first I thought, you know, what's the deal? And then I immediately was humbled by that they got emotional at the thought that could be their home, and that maybe it could take them from something that they didn't like, maybe a mortgage, maybe no home, whatever their case was,
for $100,
for $100
and 200 words,
get that house, and that was incredible for us, you know. And we actually was able to have a few of those people come back to our home later and visit with them and stuff, but anyhow. House contest did not work.
Oh.
We let it run all summer long. We had a total of 6 or 8 open houses.
Yep.
Wow.
We never stopped building. We still continued to spend our money like we were going to live there, and we invested in that place, and we just end up just not enough people entered the house.
Can we talk about what you built?
Yeah.
I'll let you say it.
Underground bunker.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted that privacy for the
cool.
gentleman that bought it or the family that bought it.
It's a 2-car garage bunker is what it was. Solid concrete. We built it, you know, to where it would protect our vehicles during a wildfire.
Oh my gosh! What?
Yeah.
And y'all have tornadoes, so like I'm super scared of tornadoes. So I told him, I was like, if we're ever anywhere, I want to be underground. Like I need to have a place I can go because I'd freak out.
So it was
awesome.
our storm shelter. It would protect us from tornado, wildfire, or whatever, you know.
And you said it had 10-foot ceilings, right?
10-foot ceilings.
That's nice.
6-inch concrete walls. Built into the ground.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then a 4.5-inch concrete roof, you know. I mean, you could drive your vehicle
So what could
top.
that withstand? Something that thick. 6 inches of concrete sounds
like a nuclear blast or what? Like fallout or what?
Well, it'd be like, you know, you think about like a overpass or something, or like a bridge that says 20 tons. You know, that's what, in my mind, I was thinking about bridges that people get under, and like, you know, that people are driving 100,000-pound semis over.
Yeah.
That's
you
true.
could drive that over this.
So I have this saying because I also build things very sturdy, and
We
so I call
over-engineer
it building it safe, SAF, sturdy as fuck.
Yeah.
It is built safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
very safe.
and I think anything that was in there, we had our gym equipment in there. You know, like
Nice.
that was the most
That's
important
cool.
stuff to us. We should have had the house inside there.
Yeah, really. That's funny.
Just change everything over.
Yeah, but we end up. We had to return everyone's money on the house contest, but
Sure.
we was able to meet a lot of good friends and
Nice.
meet a lot of good people through that, and we failed, and that's how we looked at it. And we said
That's
we
important.
failed for a reason,
Sure.
and we said, what do we got to do to turn this failure into something else?
So you're
And
problem solving again.
problem solving again. And I said, and I remember the guys at work were like, "Man, it didn't work." And I said, and I told them all the time, "It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Sure.
I know it's gonna work."
Sure.
What a bummer then. You had to like go in and they're like, huh. You know, hopefully not.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
people are
Yeah.
jerks.
Oh yeah, there's
People
all
are
kinds of
haters,
people probably
man.
behind our
Talk
back
about how
saying
people-
"Ha,"
Yeah.
I love the haters.
Sure.
Tell me ha.
Just drives me.
What is it,
Man,
Cat
harder.
Williams?
Look where I'm
Makes
at.
me.
Cat
Yeah.
Williams
Guess what?
says,
My house is sold.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've sold 3 homes. I
Right.
said I was going to live on the road, and I live on the road. And and I don't say that to
No.
boast about it.
Sure.
I say that.
I
to
did
tell
what I
people
said.
To do what you
Sure.
want to do because
Yes.
we have failed.
It's okay.
And guess what? Everyone
Absolutely.
saw our failures.
Yeah.
We put it out there for people.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
you
was
said
on the
you
news.
just started the Facebook page, and
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's like, "Oh, what happened? Those people on the news
People
selling their
still
house."
say
yeah.
it. I thought
oh,
you
I'm
gave
sure.
that house away. I'm like, what?
No, we ended up
We
selling it
didn't
for a
see
lot
that.
more.
We
than-
tried. Yeah. We tried.
Yeah, I sold it twice too. And guess what? Finally, it worked out.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
So just
Yeah.
keep going, right? Like just because
Don't
you
give
fail
up.
and you have a goal and a dream, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just not the right time.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And one really cool thing I feel like I wanted to say, as our Facebook page was growing and our followers were saying stuff to us like so encouraging, like saying, "Man, I can't believe you guys didn't give up when that happened with the house
Wow.
contest or the first time," or
Sure.
That's
there's a lot of
cool.
things that happened before we actually sold the house, but that we shared with our community of people on Facebook, and I feel like that. Now we have this awesome tribe of people.
Yeah.
You're
Sure.
calling them your tribe,
Yep.
but that are so supportive of us and actually like love us. And
That's so cool.
yeah, it's
Want
just
to
so
see you
neat.
succeed,
Want
not
see
to
us
fail.
succeed. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people out there that are watching. That
Always.
Don't comment, that are
I was
gonna-
sure
you
know,
to
that's-
see us fail.
I have a note. I wonder
But-
how many people see but don't like photos or videos that you post.
Oh,
And
man,
they're
ain't
just
that true?
watching it. And I don't think it's like it's not that they don't like it, but I think maybe they just don't reach out or whatever. But I think there are those people
We've had
that
people.
I just got
might want you to fail. You know, they might be like,
Yeah.
well, let's just see how long this lasts. You know, just really cynical and really
Yeah.
ugly. Yeah.
Or
What's the text message say?
I just got a text message from a friend the other day, and I talk about my friends. I cry sometimes, so watch out.
Oh,
It's okay.
My work friends and stuff that I'm close with. But I got a text message from one, and he said, "Hey, I just want you to know that I don't like, I don't share, and
whatever.
comment
Sure.
on any of your videos." He said, "But I've never seen a family so happy."
Oh.
And he said, "I just want you to know that I'm proud that you're doing what you love." And he
Nice.
said,
So
"And
That's cool.
I want you
That's
to
cool.
know."
Not just the cynical people.
It
also
takes-
is
and it
good
takes-
people.
So he sent me a
Yes.
private message to tell me that.
Sure.
A
That
is
text
so
message,
sweet.
and
Sure.
he said, "But I watch and see everything you're doing." And he said, "And I knew you could do it
Nice.
Oh.
when
Very
you said
nice.
you could." And I was like, "Man, I thank you." You
Yeah.
know? And I tell everybody that.
See, we do
you know?
too, and I think people are so scared that like even just a kind word, like man, that means the world to me.
Like
Like
it feels.
really, it feels
I wonder
good.
if people think they're weak if they act like that.
like if they
Yeah,
give
they
kudos
comment
or
or
if they're like,
something.
oh how
Yeah,
great,
but
I'm so
give that
happy for
positive
you.
comment.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. We get we'll get little emails like, oh, you guys have inspired us. We want to do the
Right.
same thing. I don't think I could do this, but I could do that. And it's like, oh, cool. Let's talk about it. And we'll talk and like just them reaching out and saying that, like, hey, thanks, man. Like I'm not doing it for everybody else.
But it feels so
But
good
when
to have
somebody
the
can tell
encouragement.
me,
Absolutely,
yeah, when someone's
absolutely.
like, man, you've
Man.
affected my life in this way, and like
Yeah.
it seems like it's so great. Like it is. It's hard in its own way, but
Oh yeah.
I just want people to see that you can have a dream and you
Yeah.
can go for it.
We
Just
had-
go for
yeah,
it.
we had people message us after the tiny house contest, after
Sure.
the first sale, and then we finally sold and got back on the road and everything. And people messaged us saying, "Man, I just want you to know that I was really going through something, and just seeing
Yeah.
you guys push through that hard time and not give up,
Helped
it
them
helped
out.
me.
That's
and
awesome.
I mean, man, yeah, just to having those words of encouragement, it makes us want to keep doing
it.
Sure.
Yes, yeah.
And then on days when we don't get comments or we don't get likes on something that we post, we're like, who cares? We know that there's those. Remember those one people that messaged?
Yeah, remember those people? There's probably
at least there was
10
one.
other
At
ones.
least there was
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. That's awesome, though.
I do love to be able to share our journey as we've been, for the past 5 years. We've been sharing our journey with people, and it's just been totally awesome meeting like-minded people.
You find that you
that
meet more?
Community of people, and so.
I mean, I think almost every day. I think almost every day now we do, don't you?
Yeah, we do. Get messages from people like literally every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
We actually just got recognized in a liquor store.
Oh
the
my
other
gosh,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is like, are y'all Morgan and Ryan? I'm like, what? What did we do?
No.
He's looking
No, we're not.
around.
I immediately
Who
go
are
through the
you?
Rolodex in my brain, just like, crap, what did
We're
I
a
do?
little
What did I
tipsy.
do?
Yeah, that's
We
right.
walked over to the liquor store to get another bottle of wine. We're hanging out with another schoolie guy, and they recognized us, and I was like, yeah, hey. And they ended up coming over the next day and seeing the bus.
They were a great couple. They were awesome. Yeah, they were
really
so
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
So
I
fun.
love it when that
Yeah,
happens.
it's really cool. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you let all these people in your house. I'm like, yeah, it's my house, but I'm so proud of it. I want to show it off. I want to show you, hey, I do live in this thing. It is a bus.
Yeah,
and
for
it is,
sure.
but I live here. Yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool, by the way.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank
this
you.
is my first tour of a schoolie.
Are you
I'm
serious?
so impressed.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
That's a
we
lot of
popped-
firsts for you guys.
Popped your podcast cherry, popped your schoolie cherry. Golly, we've been busy.
We've seen a lot of them online and stuff, but never have been inside of one. So
Yeah, it gets dark really late. Yeah, we didn't mean for it to go this long, but I mean, because we talked and we got along so well before it even started, so that's cool. We'll get some pizza or something, order for the kids, we can all eat or
We'll
whatever.
make it easy,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll make it easy. But
You said there was a dog outside?
It says dark outside.
it's dark.
Oh, it's dark.
outside.
Oh, yeah, we've already
it's
been recording for an hour and 6 minutes.
Oh
yeah,
my
isn't that
gosh.
Do
crazy?
you guys see how fast time flies when you do these?
this is
It's
so
crazy.
fun, though.
It is
Like,
fun.
really,
Just
it is
sharing
so cool.
stories. Yeah.
That's why I live in a camper now, because time flies so quickly.
That's
yeah.
right. That's
yeah.
right.
So you were working. Were you working still? Like whenever y'all were
So-
selling the house, like you
Yeah,
were.
throughout the whole house contest. I
Okay.
worked, in September, I had become. In September of 2017, I
Okay.
had just a month before we were going to end the house contest, not even knowing if the house contest was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I told Casey I'm done, and she said, "What if the house contest doesn't work?" And I said, "We'll figure it out."
Sure.
Wow.
I said, "We've worked our whole lives. We've done all this. If the house contest doesn't work, well, we've already told everyone the house is going to be on the market for sale.
Right.
Either way,
Yeah.
I'm done. I want to start focusing on what's next. I want to
Good
start
for you.
focusing on this dream of traveling." And like we had talked about, like you said in your podcast, I said, I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
And this is what I do for all the companies I've ever worked for.
Sure.
Is be a problem
That's your
solver.
jam.
And it's time for me to 100% dive into being a problem solver.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
For your family, yeah.
Yeah,
instead
for
of
my
instead of
family.
doing it for everybody else,
Minding
you're like,
your own business.
That's
That's Robert Kiyosaki.
Right. Yeah,
minding
that's
your own
Mind your
business.
own
yeah.
business.
And that's still a work in progress. I'll tell you that. It's been a year. We're still trying to figure that out.
It takes a while.
But do you not find more opportunities now that you travel around more, you
course,
meet more
yeah.
people, you just come in
My
contact with
mind never
different
stops
scenarios?
turning. I lay in bed sometimes in case
Yeah.
Can't go to sleep.
She can tell I'm awake.
Yeah.
She's
Sure.
like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Thinking."
Nice.
Very
nice.
And
Don't hurt
anyways,
yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But
Thank God you're laying down, sir.
I'll shorten up this last part a little bit.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
go back to what I did say was I sold my house twice. So
Yeah.
I tried to give my house away in a house contest. It didn't work.
Yeah.
I took my family on a short vacation in October.
Uh-huh.
Right after that ended in 2017, we got our minds right. We came back. We said we're going to sell this house for sale by owner. We put it up for sale, and because it was just her and I, we hit the gym every morning. We took our
Nice.
kids to school. We got home, and all we did was focus on. We were advertising in California. We were advertising everywhere
Smart.
you can imagine.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
good.
On the
Outside
internet.
of your bubble.
And
yeah.
the reason was we were selling a home that was furnished, and we were selling
Wow.
it for maybe more than what a lot of people thought it was worth. You know, and reason being because it was special. It was special to us.
Sure.
So we need a special person to buy it.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I get
You're
that.
nail on the head. Absolutely.
And so
It
We
takes
said
a
the same
certain
thing about
person-
ours,
It takes a
the one that
certain
burned down.
person
That's
to
right.
want to live
Yeah.
here,
That's
to
right.
want to live this life or be in this place.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I told everybody it's kind of like when you if you build a hot rod,
Yeah.
This is how much money you got in it, but this is how much it's worth.
Sure.
Sure.
And so, there's no real perspective on.
Yeah.
There ain't a blue book for a hot rod.
Absolutely.
No.
Well, there ain't a blue book on a homestead.
Absolutely.
You know? So,
absolutely.
So that's what we decided not to sell our home that way, and instead we were selling a lifestyle to someone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
good
we put a
words.
price on it for what we felt we were comfortable with. For sale by owner, and in December of 2017, we sold the home. We had a family come to us. They said, "Hey, we want your home," and over the next 7 months, things didn't work out, and we actually had to take the homestead back over,
Wow.
And that was kind of, didn't sell the home again, and it was just a kick in the butt.
All right,
sure.
so you're 0 for 2. So you're 0 for 2
Third
on
time's
this.
the
And we were
charm.
gone, and we were on the road already.
Wow.
We had tried to leave, and
Just kept
things
bringing you
didn't work
back.
out for them. We came back, and at that time it was kind of like, wow, it's been a year.
Yeah.
Over a
right.
year
Yeah.
that we thought we were going to sell this beautiful home.
Right.
And everyone wants it,
And it is a
But
beautiful
nobody
home.
wants to pay for
but
it
nobody
or
wants
take
to
care of it the way it should be,
be able
taken
to
care of.
exactly,
Those two
and
things, yeah.
I wanted to just give it away, but I needed
You needed the
funds
money.
Absolutely.
to do
Yeah,
what I'm
absolutely.
doing now. That was my investment
Uh-huh.
for
Yep.
my next adventure
Yep.
in
Yeah.
life.
Exactly.
And I had worked my butt off and,
Sure.
and had built something that
Sure.
had initially become an investment. And it's like you said earlier, I didn't realize then I was building something that would have a value that was worth more to allow me to do this life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you minimalize
But
so
that's what it
much.
become.
Yeah.
And we come back, we found a realtor that we were willing to work with. We had to
The best
totally start over. Cause
You
we
can
had
give her a shout out too if you want. If anybody is listening.
Linda Tracy Ryburn at Linda Tracy and Company. She is the best lady and can sell anything.
And what city is that out of?
In Oklahoma City.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
right over there. Yeah.
So, anyways, we came back. We
Pull it out.
restaged our home
Yep.
and restaged our homestead with animals and
So did it again.
did it again.
we had to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, we had to spend more money doing it that way, and a lot of people saw that as, oh my gosh, I can't believe these two are still going.
Well,
They're
everybody-
trying.
Everybody pushed us, just rent it out.
Yeah,
just-
people wanted us to rent it out. People wanted us to, try to,
but we
still
had a
leave
dream to
and
sell it,
yeah,
so-
we wanted to sell it because
Sure.
we wanted the funds to be able to move forward in our.
You
wanted
knew
the
what you
funds,
needed
too,
to
for the
do.
opportunities that we find on
Yeah,
the
the
road.
opportunities that we
Sure.
would find as we
And
were
we know we
traveling.
don't want to live in Oklahoma again.
Yeah, we didn't want to live in Oklahoma again, so renting it really wasn't
Ever.
an option for us. So, anyways, we hired this awesome lady, Linda, and she was like the best and sold our house in 16 days
Jeez.
after
16,
coming
17.
back.
I mean-
So,
So where do you guys want to
Yeah.
live?
Yeah. What
What
is the
states are you guys
plan?
looking into?
Yeah.
We need to be neighbors.
yeah,
We
we're all
need to
gonna
start a
live-
compound.
No, I mean, we want to find a place that we love. Obviously, initially, we fell in love with the mountains. Like, we
Sure.
want to live somewhere where it's mountainous and lots of hiking and biking trails and
Yeah.
Water
the
activity.
outdoors. And,
Yes.
yeah, we love the river and,
Less wind than Oklahoma.
yeah, less wind. But we want to travel all over. Like, I'm not ready to build that house again.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Because I want to see all the places, like,
Yeah.
that there is. And
I
I'm
wanna be
loving
on
this
Life Below
lifestyle.
Zero for a couple years.
Matt
We
wants
talked
to go
about
to
doing-
Alaska
Well,
really bad.
So you guys have y'all been to Alaska?
no, we have
I used to
not.
live there.
We have friends, yeah. and
That's
we
what
have
y'all said.
friends that
Yeah,
are
I was like,
there in
oh no,
Seward.
Matt's gonna.
Oh,
talk to
Seward,
Ryan.
yeah.
He's gonna tell him all about Alaska. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Alaska's
It's
awesome.
cold
It's
over there.
beautiful, but it's
Yeah.
very harsh.
Yeah.
You gotta have.
You have to be a very, not saying you guys are not,
guys
I'm saying
would
you have
totally
to
be
be a very tough
fine
person
there.
to live there because
Yeah.
it is
Don't tell
cold.
him
It used to
that.
get negative 68
You just have to
in
find
Fairbanks.
hobbies in the winter.
Yeah.
It's kind of
It's
it's
rough.
lonely. They called it when we were up on Post. It was the 2 baby tour because
Oh,
all
wow.
you could do was have.
We made it
babies.
out with one.
one baby
So,
for
yeah.
us.
How funny.
Like 66.
Yeah, 66 babies.
Oh my god.
It was a lot of work, but no,
Yeah.
it's
I definitely want to go there for sure.
'Cause I
that's
saw-
our
Beautiful.
goal,
On
is
your
to go
page-
there and see
So
that.
best summers I've ever been.
yeah, absolutely. The
I've ever
Alaska,
seen.
the Last Frontier. I saw you guys liked that show on your
Oh,
page.
yeah, Matt
Isn't
loves
that great?
show. Yeah.
Isn't that
Love that
awesome?
family.
Yeah.
I know.
That
I'm
family's
like, I just
great.
want a family like everybody pulls
Talk about
together.
doers,
And it
yeah.
looks like it has
Yes.
a junkyard.
Problem solvers.
Oh my
They've
God.
mastered
It's not a
that.
junkyard.
Stuff, you have to have
Yes,
homestead
and
stuff.
you
They're
can.
beautiful.
Yes.
Place of living. Yeah, it's so cool.
like grandfather started it, and like now the kids are there now. Like all the grandkids are being born now, and it's just cool.
Yeah,
it's a really cool way of living. And I honestly, that was like our goal, like to do that. But now, like traveling and stuff, it's kind of like.
Do you think you could ever like give up like
I don't
this
know
lifestyle to be able to like have a house again? Like I wonder that about us. Like I love
don't
it
know.
so much, and
I honestly, I couldn't. I want it. See, a lot of people, and so since you bring that up, there's a lot of people, and you'll see, comments made, and it's like, oh, well, people live in their RVs or their schoolies or tiny house because they have to. And they don't even realize, no, you're programmed to think that you have to be in debt, that you have to live in these brick and mortar, cheaply built homes, but you're spending top dollar on these things.
Oh, yeah.
So, me personally,
or that you have to live a certain way.
Live in a tiny house.
Yeah.
When we decided to build our tiny house, people were like, "What? Why are you doing that?"
Yeah.
Well, when we decided to sell our tiny house, same thing. Why would you do that? Is there something wrong? We had people in our community ask us if there was something wrong.
Oh.
Because we were doing it.
Like y'all must be about to get a divorce or something, right?
No.
Or there's something wrong with the home.
With
yeah,
the
what's
home,
wrong with doing something different.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
people
too weird.
Can't see it. Like,
yeah.
thinking outside of the box for them is just.
Oh, because they're so stuck inside of that box. They can't see that omnipotent
if
view
they're
above.
happy in that box, though, I'm like, awesome. Good
Be in
job.
it. Live in it. Love it.
Encourage.
Yeah.
So, with the homestead, if we were ever going to settle down again, the only way to do it would be homestead.
Sure.
The downside to homesteading.
You can't go.
You have animals. You have
so
this.
true.
You have this, and
Absolutely.
it restricts you so much. So even had I quit my job and we kept the house,
but
it's
working.
just so demanding there.
Absolutely.
Like, constantly like, hey, I'm gonna have my neighbor over this week, my mom and dad this week, my cousin, the friend down the road, some guys I work with to take care of this. So it doesn't matter even if I quit my job.
It's about not relying on it's about doing it yourself. But it's like, so I want to go vacation for a week and I can't because my chickens are gonna die. Like I get it. That's us too. We're like, I really want to do that, but I'm not done doing this
but
yet.
If I homestead in Alaska, I'm
You're
where
set.
I want to vacation.
I'm where I want to vacation. Absolutely.
If I homestead in Colorado, I'm where I want to vacation. In a few places.
Yeah, actually, I do.
We've talked about Colorado. They just have some of the
HOAs.
gnarliest laws. Like you cannot collect rainwater there. It's in their constitution for the state. Yeah,
We loved
you can't do
Colorado
that. They have a
so
lot of CCRs, HOAs. I mean, 40-acre plots
You still have someone
that
telling
are only
you how to
35
live.
grand, 25 grand. That we could pay
Someone told
cash
me no
for, but
compost toilets in Colorado.
I
wouldn't
don't
doubt
put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
They went crazy.
Stuff like collect.
And it's a
beautiful
beautiful
over there.
state.
Collect the rainwater law. I'll break the law there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because but if we lived in Colorado or something like that, I feel like that we would probably want to live a little closer to town than usual because of winters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So for us, that's kind of we're trying to figure that out, But
How far out do you want to be?
Yeah,
Well, in Alaska,
because-
you're out there.
No matter where you go.
Literally.
You're there. There's nowhere to drive.
There's only 700,000 people, I think, that live in the state. So.
I feel like maybe someday we might get to that point to where we would want to do something like that again. But
sure.
For now, I'm like, no way.
I
want to travel.
The
and
snowbird life
it's just so beautiful.
So if we can
it
figure out
is.
how to really make a good living. Yeah, so if we can just figure out how to make this social media life work, because we're teaching and sharing with other people how to make this life work. Because I can certainly show you how to make a homestead life work.
Right.
I think if we tried to do it again now, I mean, we could do it, and we wouldn't work outside the home. We really wouldn't.
Yeah.
I have so many ideas now. The ideas that I have now came from letting go September of 2017.
Nice.
Sure.
The day I quit my job, it took several weeks to even, I was still calling the guys at work. Was like, hey, are you checking on this? I don't know if I mentioned that because I had an area, blah, blah, blah. But, it's just letting go. Now we drive through anything, and I think, well, I wonder, but it's hard living on the road, if you don't want to stay anywhere for more than a month.
Sure.
Yeah. You got to find
to
somewhere
really
else.
figure out how to, for us, it's, we're computers doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I didn't enjoy in my job. I wanted the hands-on stuff. So
Right.
we just talked about that today and yesterday. Casey and I did. We're hands-on folks. That's why we made the homestead work. That's why we was able to build our home. That's why, we was able to make that work. And now here we are like, well, maybe we should just add some more solar panels to the camper because that makes us feel good. You know?
We'll just feel better about
Or
it.
we'll be walking around the campground and we're like, see some people doing stuff. We're like, I wonder if they need some help.
That's so funny.
You know what I mean? Like,
We
it's
did
hard for us
that.
sometimes to just chill. And I'm like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, we gotta. Which we're always thinking and like working on projects.
And we have a lot of projects
Yeah.
that we won't talk. And so we have a lot of projects right now that we won't talk about today.
Sure.
But hopefully we can again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, absolutely. You guys
so-
can come on here. We can even do it on Skype. If,
yeah,
you know,
we
if
can
you
do
guys.
a follow
Incredible.
up. Yeah.
Because
We would love to have you guys on. I mean, so much time has passed, and I feel
We
like
still
we
have so
just
much
started
to
this
talk
podcast,
about.
and we haven't
Yeah.
even got
Yeah.
into anything. I feel like.
No, because I can rewind and I can tell you some things other that happened personally that will be in our book and stuff
Very nice.
that we've never shared with anybody because who wants to tell this is what I did wrong? That
Nobody.
Here's a
Yeah.
mistake I made, right?
I tell them
Sure.
all, yeah, because I make
Yeah.
that
That's where
every
I'm at.
single day.
Because Casey said, I don't think we should share that, and I said, I'm going to put it in the book.
Good.
Because
Should.
I want
Do it.
people to really know the struggles
Yeah.
and the failures that we have been through.
Sure.
One
That's what
thing-
makes you a real human being, though.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because too many people, so I'm in the TechBud Solutions. It's a trading platform with this guy, Ricky Gutierrez, out of Scottsdale, Arizona. And so everybody only puts their wins on there. And so
Yeah.
somebody had a picture of, their one-day win, and they won like $300. And they said the reality, they showed their 1 year, what it looks like, and that chart's going straight down. And so I went in there and I put one of my 300-day losses on there. Like, I have no shame at all to tell people when I've made losses, when I've made gains,
That's
because
life.
you have
Yeah.
to go through these
You
losses,
do.
these struggles in your life in order to be
But then,
decent at anything.
still be able to wake up and be happy
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and be like, man, I'm still doing good.
Like, that sucked, but let's keep going.
move it.
Yeah,
Let's go and do what's next.
Yeah.
And
Because you can't sit there and dwell on it. And again, since you guys read his book as well, Robert Kiyosaki. He talks about who was it? The rich dad loved Texans because Texans turned their biggest loss into a
Losses.
battle cry.
Yeah.
Remember the Alamo.
Yeah. all
And
of
so I just kind of think like that. Like, think like a Texan. Think like a Texan.
gotta do it.
Turn that lemon into lemonade.
And I think that now with social media is
Oh,
exploding.
my
Has been.
gosh.
We're even
Yeah.
behind on how it's exploded.
Me
Sure.
too.
And now a lot of people are just like, all they see is the good on Instagram and this and
Oh,
that.
fake book
Well,
and all.
well, that's okay. Some people, if they're just a photographer, that's all they're going to put. They're not going to, maybe
Do their
put
whole
bad stuff.
life?
We're
Yeah.
sharing
Your
podcasts,
life.
The good, bad, and the
Facebook,
ugly.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I want it to always be real, and so.
People buy the person. They
just-
don't in the story, and you know what I mean?
The
it's
story
not so
mainly.
much.
Yeah.
It's not so much like, I guess, what you do, but yeah, people just
And every
they
good
wanna
story
know.
has trouble. Has
That's
had
Disney movies, man. Every parent died.
Yeah, I tell you what, we
You know?
we have watched and read so many things. You
Yeah.
say Disney.
Yeah.
Have you seen Walt Disney's story?
Yes, we watched
just
it
watched
the other
that the
night.
other day.
And doesn't that just make you like I got chills right now?
Yes, he failed.
So many
Yeah,
I mean, I can
times.
turn some tables over after watching that.
absolutely. People were
Run
literally
down the
stealing
block
his work and
and-
copywriting it. Yeah.
Going behind
It's
his
insane.
back
Makes you
and
just
taking
wanna-
his people, like
Oh, that's right. They stole his whole
whole
team.
team.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And he said, I'm not giving up. Like,
no.
And do you even remember the guy's name that did all this? Because I
No.
looked at Morgan at the end when it was the end, and I was like, I never even heard of that guy.
Who
I
was
never even
that
heard of that
guy?
production company.
The guy that took
But
all
I've heard
the
of Walt
money and was
Disney.
yeah.
exactly.
Nobody knows. I still can't even tell you.
There's a story, about the guys carving out Mount Rushmore.
oh, yeah.
Same-
So interesting.
Same type
What?
of story.
Really?
There in, when did we go there?
This year,
Oh, we did?
we went to South Dakota this year. Yeah, March.
Time
Pulled
flies.
through there.
Flies.
Yeah.
Time does fly,
That story, I fell in love with that story.
And
What-
So,
So what's the story?
this-
Tell us the Mount Rushmore
I don't
story.
really know the whole story. Casey
Oh.
read it to me, and it was kind of like
Bits and pieces.
they were carving it out, and it fell apart, and then
Oh.
they didn't meet deadlines, and then
Ran
there
out of
wasn't
money.
enough money,
Oh.
and the two, it was a father and a son. Is that
And,
correct?
Yeah, and then the guy was getting married, and he needed to be with his wife, and she was like, "I'm going to leave you if you don't
Yeah,
stop."
his wife said, or his fiance said, if you don't stop, carving on this, I'm going to leave you. And
You don't stop playing with your rocks.
And he said, and he pushed through it, and he said, I'm going to do this. Did his father die?
Yes, and then he had to finish
and his
it.
father died, and he still finished it.
Wow.
What?
Well,
And he did get married to that girl.
He did.
She hung around.
That's good.
And there's a book of all their love letters.
Yeah,
Why
that's
they were
cool.
Yeah, and we
the
didn't
whole
get the
time.
book, but we flipped through it and read it. But
cool.
I hope I didn't mess the story up because that's history. So
Well,
I
if
don't want
hopefully
any...
they go check it. Y'all go.
Yeah,
Go.
And we
go
tell
do-
everybody in our
double check.
podcast, don't
take what we do
our
for
word for it. Go
word.
do your own
Now,
homework,
if
your
it's
own
my
research.
story about the tiny house, don't try to mess with it because it's my story.
You
That's
better
my
just
history.
play
Yeah.
that on this podcast.
We might have to fact check you on your own story.
That's
So
right,
tell us
yeah.
about your book that you guys are writing.
So we are writing. We're writing one that'll be, a Ruthardt4Adventure book.
Very
Is there
nice.
any love letters in there?
And
Yeah, we could put some
You should totally put some love letters in there.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I totally have some.
it's really going to be about our journey, and it's really going to be about pursuing your passion.
Nice.
That we encourage people to pursue their passion.
Good.
Right.
Yeah, us too.
And
Right.
Through the hard times.
we talk a lot about on our Facebook page about about
making a plan.
choosing your own path and stuff, and the do's and don'ts that we feel like, and stuff. And so I really want to go in depth because our Facebook page is a timeline of everything that we've talked
Yeah.
about here.
Sure.
And it's more in depth than what we've talked about here even.
Sure.
But
Sure.
then a book
Oh yeah.
is as in depth as it can be, and I can
Absolutely.
add stuff that people really want to hear. I can add stuff in there, because we have time to think about it and write
Sure.
it down and record it,
Absolutely.
and,
Yeah.
and I can really set up a timeline for people of what we went through and what our thoughts were,
Yeah.
and what our thoughts
Like a
should
whole
have been.
different level, we feel like, of people like understanding what like our
Sure.
journey's about.
Yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
Yeah.
a lot of
Absolutely.
people are so frightful for what we're doing or what what we've been through or our kids' education. Or,
Yeah, we get a
you
lot of
know,
that.
or
They're not
too.
minding their own business.
this and that.
They're so
you know,
worried
and-
about you, they're not living their best
own
life.
self.
Yeah, and
They're
I-
not living their
I-
best
I
life.
love that. Yeah, that's and that's what we preach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live your best life.
Yeah.
Not live my
That's
life.
actually one of the
but
first
live
posts I
your
saw
best
from you
life.
guys. And I was like, hey, I hashtag that too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Casey's doing a cookbook, and that's
Yeah.
100% hers. And then we're doing videos of the cooking. We want
That's
to have
awesome.
another
That's
outlet
good.
for the videos.
It's like a YouTube?
It's not. I don't know if it's gonna be YouTube or not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to
There's
be
another
videos.
one. That's good.
Oh, okay, I
Hey,
get it. Okay,
that'll be good
nice.
though.
It's
And
gonna be something we're gonna really.
It's going to be a place for people that really want to watch the videos.
Got you.
I
Okay.
get you.
You know,
Yeah.
What your cookbook? That like what's in it? Like what's it about?
Pretty much eating healthy.
What
What
Yeah.
about those
There
chimichangas?
might be less chimichanga recipe or two.
That should
That
be the
should
one
be-
in the back. Yeah.
What
That
about
would be
those
chunky,
chimmies?
yes. There will
My
be
dad
some
might
ramen
buy
noodle
it.
recipes in there.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah, 'cause I like to make me some healthy ramen sometimes. But yeah, just the way we've been eating, honestly, since we've been on the road, and probably some a little bit before that.
but
Just-
it will be like paleo is how we used to eat.
Yeah, we used to
Paleo,
eat
okay.
paleo, vegetarian.
and vegan. 'Cause
It'll
we
be
eat all
something
of
for
those.
everybody.
So you guys kind of combined, like you took whatever
All
worked
things.
best for you,
Yeah.
and that's what you do.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
what
you're
we
doing.
do.
Nice.
That's
And
awesome.
our diets as we've traveled, our diets as we've
Yeah.
homesteaded,
And your
and our
recipes pretty
diets with our different
difficult at all, or
Nice.
No, the recipes are so simple. It's
That's
just kind of
good.
crazy, honestly. The reason, since I've been doing our Facebook page, when we started building our house, I would just show my meals. It was just be
yeah,
like a fun
yeah. I
thing
love
would
looking at your
do.
pictures.
Yeah, I just
Cast
post a
iron
picture
pan,
of my
you can
food.
make
They're
anything.
so colorful. Like I love
worked
colorful
really hard
food.
on 'em, so I
Yeah.
take a picture, right?
Yeah.
And would start posting them, and people just the feedback, like, "Oh my gosh, that looks so good. What is it?" And
Mhm.
of course, after about the 5 years it's been me posting my pictures, people are like, "Please do a cookbook." So I'm looking forward to it, and
Nice. That's
so,
gonna be
so
exciting.
we're hoping that the cookbook and the cooking videos and
the book you're
Casey's
writing too.
pretty hair and glasses and everything.
I know I do like your hair, by the way.
becomes-
Yeah.
That's pretty
that,
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
becomes our
That's cool.
outlet to a whole new to a career. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
we're not, and we're not saying that we're gonna be millionaires. If we become millionaires,
Great.
I'll marry her again.
Yeah.
You know. But
That's awesome.
anyways, that's kind of
That's your
what.
son. He's checking on you.
Yeah, yeah. The kids are coming in.
No, they were just checking. They
Oh,
probably
okay.
wanted to see what this was all about, what this looks like.
Yeah, you guys, the boys want to talk on the podcast.
Yeah. Do y'all want to say hi? Do you want to say?
No. Okay.
Next time we'll do it on Skype when they
Yeah,
when
that'd
they're
be
not
alright,
on not
yeah.
on point. You
But
know what I
here
mean?
you go. You want to talk more about it? Or?
yeah, I'm just excited about doing the cookbook. I got so many ideas and so many recipes, and I love bowls of yummy, good fresh
Yes.
veggies, sautéed veggies, and Yeah, it's gonna be
nice.
good.
I love how he shut that door so quietly. That's good.
Those
That's
are
awesome.
RV kids
Squared
right
away,
there.
man. Squared away, family.
So
you raise your kids right.
Well, it's funny. Like 2 days ago, they would not stop slamming the door, and I was like, Ryan, like, well, we got to do a punishment. We're like, all right, because we tell them all the time, 2 years, okay, and we taken that door down once already, and then reinstalled it this spring. So he's like, they'll just stand there and close it 10 times and say, I'm sorry or I'm sorry I slammed the door.
I'm sorry I slammed the door.
And eventually they can just push it closed.
We just had the same experience.
Did you?
Before we came here and yesterday.
So it
and
paid
the
off.
Day before.
So it paid off.
And that's my deal. You know, I'm like, hey, Tucker, in case I haven't mentioned it, you know, can you not slam the door? Or, you know, we'll ask them that with the lights. In case I haven't mentioned it, you know, and it's like
Turn
the
the lights
66th
on.
time.
Yeah.
And RV living is completely different.
Sure.
Schoolie life, everybody's life, you know, it's definitely different, you know. But, yeah, for the kids, sometimes you feel like you're getting onto them all day.
Oh, all day. Because they're around you all day.
Yeah.
And they're just little screw-ups all day.
Yeah, and
but isn't that part of being a kid? Being a screw-up.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to fail.
Being, you know, in our book, we want to talk about that because everyone says, "How is homeschooling going?
Yeah.
How are the
Living
kids
in
taking
the
it?" Because I know that
husband
people
and wife together constantly.
Constantly.
You know, people want to know, are the kids happy and stuff, and I want to assure everyone, if my kids aren't happy, we're shutting down.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
They're up for adoption, and we're going to keep going.
Exactly. Yep.
No,
That's
not
great.
really.
That was
No.
great.
That's good.
But yeah, that's we'll just ship them
They
off.
will be happy.
No, our boys are as happy as can be. They both love that they're making videos. They're
Awesome.
They're getting into the skating more, skateboarding, and taking photos, and we're all we're doing it as a family.
As soon as you guys pulled up, they immediately grabbed their bikes and just started riding them.
Yeah.
You know, so like they know how to go outside, have some fun.
And they knew that there was Xbox and PlayStation in the back, but like immediately
I don't
all
even
the
think they
kids are
played
just
it yet.
playing outside.
That's awesome.
That's good.
And
You
you know
know?
what you said about, say that again, what people thought about homeschool kids. They're going to be antisocial.
That they would lose their social skills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Like-
the
like-
biggest crock of shit I've ever heard in my life because
yeah.
my kids
Doesn't it
have to
aggravate
meet
you?
new kids
All the
day.
time.
And they talk with
They're the
older
new
people,
There you go.
younger people, people their age.
People not their age.
Yeah, when
That's
I
what
was in
the
high
real
school-
world
That's
is
real
about.
life.
That's
When
real life.
When I grew up in the same school, so guess
Sure.
what? Your social skills could probably
Very
get,
limited.
You know, if
They're
you live in a
very
small
limited.
town, you're with your parents and
Yep.
the same adult teachers because they
And
ain't
the
Yes.
same
your
stupid
whole
kids.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing against that.
No,
You know,
absolutely.
and that's what we tell everybody.
Absolutely. It's
Just
not for
like-
everybody.
No, but
You
where
know?
that I don't know where that concept
That
of social
mentality.
skills go down.
Yeah.
Well, if you're meeting
Maybe
new
somebody
people
re-
all the time, they're only going to go up because
Yeah.
you're meeting new people,
I think
different
traveling,
cultures all the time.
road schooling really shows that kids really do. Because like our kids were in the Redwoods and they ran the kids club,
Yeah.
you know, and they were.
that's
and
awesome.
my oldest is so shy. She was painfully shy. So my youngest would have to make friends for her, you know, and be like,
Right.
"Hey, this is my big sister Ryan," you know. And so it was
She was like her hype man.
She was her hype man, yeah. And so, but by the time we left the Redwoods and they were running this club and they were doing all these games and like coordinating kids together, at every homeschool group that will, because that's one thing too, that, you know, we use Facebook and I look up homeschool groups by county, by city, wherever we're going to be.
that's
And we
such a
usually
good
stay there.
idea.
We'll stay there for like a month. And they do teen meetups at Starbucks or teen meetups at pizza places or park days just where kids can go run around. And you know what? My kids, usually on park days anyway, they're usually the ones like coordinating everybody into a game. And I'm like, you know what? Like,
My kids are awesome.
there's tons
Yeah.
of public school kids that my kids are still friends with, and you put them in a room of people that they don't know, they are shut down.
Uncomfortable.
It's
Yeah.
very uncomfortable. They're not themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, through
Yeah.
sports and staying busy. And that's
Right.
the other thing. We talk about it all the time. We were busy. We did soccer. I was cheerleading coach. I was basketball coach. And we did like all this stuff running around all the time. It was like we wore it as a badge. Like, oh, I'm so busy. You know,
Yeah,
like,
right.
but you know, I didn't really have a relationship with my kids.
How many folks do you? The one thing I pledged to get away from
What is that?
was meeting my friends and saying, "How you know what you been up to?" And they say, "Working."
Yeah.
How,
Yep.
how
Yeah.
are you? Just
Yeah.
been working.
Just
Just been working. Just been staying
that
busy.
sounds awful.
So how are you?
But how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Really,
how
how are
are
you?
you?
You
What
know,
does that
and-
even mean to
And
some
we should all
people?
teach our children that, you know, because we
You're
have
right.
nieces and nephews who we say, "How you guys been doing?" You know, just busy going to school.
Yeah.
Going to school.
Teenage kids saying they're
Absolutely.
just busy going to school. And okay, do you like school? No, not really.
So there's somewhere they don't.
But I didn't like
be.
school. I didn't like school as a kid either, though. So I can't hold that one against them.
I liked
I just
it.
could not wait to get out
of
that.
I thought though that like that was like you have to go to college, you got to get a degree, you have to do this, and I was in every club, and I was trying to get all these credits and these you know, like trying to work on your college application.
It was going to make us successful.
It was gonna. That's what we were told.
Quote unquote successful. You know what's made them successful now? We made them actually do business plans for when we're doing this lot season.
Camping lot.
And and I'm serious, they'd made painted rocks, and you would be surprised that the parents would come in, and as soon as they found out it was their business, I mean, they had 50-cent rocks, but they were from Colorado, the Redwoods.
They would paint them.
What is that place? The
These
Circles, or in Utah?
The Four Corners?
No, well, there was some.
The Wilson's
Arches.
Yeah.
So rocks from over there. So there was a little story behind it, but they would paint it, and these parents would just eat it up, man, just to help support a young entrepreneur, a kid with a dream.
I love that.
Yep.
That is so cool.
Yep.
I don't think, and a lemonade stand is great and all, yeah.
Huh?
I was gonna say lemonade stands are great, but they did that when we were building the bus.
Our mutual friend or guy we like, Gary V.
I love that guy.
And,
Gary V's awesome.
He hooked up with that kid with the lemonade stand.
Wait, what happened?
I didn't
with this?
hear that.
He just walked up there, kid selling lemonade, and the kid was very good at the lemonade. Gary V really liked the lemonade. I think he
Vasa lemons or something, or
he really told you how he was making his lemonade, but the kid was very adamant. And Gary V, big garage sailor.
Yeah.
So he's walking down the road, seen it, and was like, "This is good lemonade." And the kid's like, I know it's good lemonade. And because
he didn't even know who Gary was.
No, he didn't know
he
him.
didn't know
Of course,
him.
the guy was filming across the street.
Okay.
So, could hear Gary V. Gary V gives him $100,
Nice.
for
Nice.
lemonade.
Good, yeah.
Sweet.
We have to support these young kids being entrepreneurs.
Yes,
And we have to stop getting these cities. Then they hand out these permits. Like, you can't have a lemonade stand. You don't have a permit. What? What happened
Let's work
to that?
with the parents. Let's work
Should've
with
been
the
us
children.
when
Let's
we were
not
trying to hand out
start
flyers
fining.
to our
what?
tiny house contest.
Did y'all get
We
fined
were
or
defeated
something?
all the time, just constantly.
Really?
You can't hand out flyers or try to hand someone a flyer. They're like, it's like they think you're handing them cancer.
It's got napalm.
I don't want it.
I don't want to touch it. Don't let it touch me.
You don't have to do anything. It's just a piece of paper.
You just can read.
Yeah.
You
I don't
can
read. I'm sorry. I
My
don't do
name's
it.
Matt, by the way.
Don't ever hire Matt to pass out flyers. He lost it. He would get so mad when people wouldn't take one. We were at
He's
He's
like
like-
fucking fire.
He's got a stapler. And
He's like
stapling
chasing him
on
down the
back.
street.
He was so mad.
I'm like, I'm trying to change your life.
Let me change your life.
Oh my God! I can see his big
We
ass
were
chasing
sitting-
people down the street. I'm trying to change your life.
And we were sitting in the parking lot of a Bass Pro, so he's like, "How can they not take this? These are supposed to
Jesus.
be good people."
Casey and I look like we just got out of the swimming
Like
pool.
disgusting. Yeah. So sweating.
Oh
to
my
death.
gosh!
So they're like,
Trying to give
oh.
this house away for $100, but
Oh,
such
how
an awesome
funny.
experience.
Yeah, so
though.
there's the things
That's
that we
funny.
didn't get to talk about.
Yeah.
Those are the things we didn't get to talk about that'll be in our book,
Nice. Yeah,
like
good.
The details.
I'm
the
excited
stuff
for
that
it.
are in there. and
Yeah, I'll be
stuff.
excited to get it.
And we're gonna do so many copies, paperback. We're gonna do ebook, and then we've slowed down a little bit on the adventure book because it's so much more in depth. And so
Yeah.
we're both now working on the cookbook, hoping that
Nice.
we can have it
Teamwork
out maybe
makes
by
the dream
Casey's
work.
birthday, which is January 12th.
January 12th.
So the book should be done by then.
And what's it called? Do you have a
Yes.
title?
Nope, no title, no nothing.
So stay up to date on their
Yeah,
page.
Yep.
Something catchy.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Maybe that's the title.
That is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
not original.
That's good.
I thought it kind of fit their whole motif too.
Oh, it kind of
but-
does. I get
Wow,
that.
judgy much.
I get that.
She supports him this whole podcast, and you're just like just nasty.
Hey, she has to. Tomorrow's my birthday, so she's.
Oh, happy early birthday.
That's why. Oh, so
Not
she's only
trying to
being nice
talk
because
me
it's your
up.
birthday soon.
Yeah, so tomorrow when
She's pumping you up.
we don't do much.
Oh boy.
Nah, they always buy me a pocket knife.
Aw.
But I didn't want one this year because I have too many pocket
Told me
knives.
not to
Sure.
this year,
You
so-
should get a BC knife.
Yeah, we didn't buy each other anything for our anniversary either because we're like, you know
We
what?
do that too.
It's okay
So
because
y'all's-
we're together and
November 16th?
yeah, November 16th was
16
our
years.
wedding. 16
October
years.
16th was
Well,
our
November
anniversary. November
15th.
15th is our wedding anniversary. If we miss the October one,
That's where we
November
eloped.
15th
Oh, that's awesome.
is our backup. But because we never really had any money because our youngest daughter was October 13th was her birthday, and so like our anniversary was a few days after. We were like, I don't have any money really. I don't want to spend anything, so we'll just wait. But we do the same thing. Yeah, you're together all the time, and like that is enough.
And we buy what we want whenever we want.
Whenever we want it, yeah. So it's. But he just got a knife, or he's about to get a knife. BC knives. One of our buddies, he actually makes them. He forges. Chase.
Makes beautiful knives. Nice. It's actually getting shipped out today, I believe.
Yeah,
so.
I'm excited. Yeah,
I have a friend that makes knives.
Yep, that's
my best friend from high school.
Really? Well, what's his company?
Harris Custom Knives.
Harris Custom Knives.
Right. Yeah, I'll show them to you.
Yeah.
We'll cut some stuff together.
We'll cut. Hey, we should do a Forged in Fire. Destroy these knives.
I did one with his with a bunch of my other knives. You know, the boys both have one, and I have two. And I did a deal at the Homestead and said, this is why, you should buy a forged knife. Any forged knife.
Yeah.
Maybe not all, but
absolutely.
This is why there's
so much better. But a handmade forged knife, yeah.
And I barely got through the first 2 minutes, and I'd already broke 2 of the other knives, and I'm like, I don't even have to go much more into this.
Exactly.
This is why you want a good knife.
A solid knife.
Now, I have several hundred of the other knives.
Sure, because in case you lose it, you don't feel too bad.
Did y'all see that movie 127 Hours?
Yes.
With that dude, right? And he had like the crappiest Swiss Army knife to cut through his arm with. Like it was, he had whittled it down already to this little baby blade, and it was like, and I think we actually talked about that in one of our podcasts. We're like, that's the importance of having good tools.
Yeah, definitely. Having the tools is so important.
Yes, yeah. But so you guys are, how long have you guys been full-timing in the in your camper now?
So in March is when we started, but May.
You're good. It just helps with hearing. Yeah, for you.
So in May, is that?
Mother's Day weekend is when we left, and we've had to go back to Oklahoma twice.
Okay. Yeah.
Once to sell our home for the second time.
Right.
And then once again because we also decided to downsize our camper.
Oh, okay.
We started out with a 30-footer.
Okay.
And decided it was too big after hitting the Pacific Northwest.
With 4 kids? Not 4 kids, I'm sorry, 4 people? And it was too big.
Large.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was just the matter of it being weight and length. And where we was trying to camp, it just got...
Yeah, there's a lot of length permits in the Pacific Northwest and stuff that we noticed.
And so, and for free camping, we just couldn't squeeze in places we wanted. And, and it was so heavy, the van's not a diesel, so... it has a really good engine, and we've done a lot of work to it. But we were just very, very heavy, like 18,000 pounds.
Oh wow, yeah.
So now we've downsized. Now we're down to an 18-footer.
Oh wow.
Or we went from 30-foot to 20-foot.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Overall.
Sure.
And we went from 18,000 pounds to 13,000 pounds.
Oh wow.
So we and now it's just
moving around like a car.
Sounds like a little toy, huh?
I'm passing diesel trucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, you Cummins. We're going beside me and see what happens.
Exactly.
Not really, because I'm a 55 stay alive kind of guy.
Yeah,
so.
right.
Nice.
We've gone 15 miles an hour up plenty hills.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man, we go slow.
Yeah.
It's averaging about 25 miles per hour on some of these hills, but we got into like a 9% grade. Yeah,
9%.
We were creepy.
We hit 10% first gear.
No, I drive it.
In the Tetons.
Okay.
With the other camper.
Oh.
First gear, just 4,400 RPM, and I'm just like looking at her, looking at the road, and I'm like, the engine's gonna blow.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did they?
You're already spending that money in your head. Yeah.
10% grade, and then I'm like, but maybe we'll go with the diesel.
We're doing it. We're doing it. Yeah.
And nothing happens,
Thank God.
I'm a big maintenance guy on the van, the camper, everything.
Yeah.
The kids, I try to teach them, take care of what we got because we ain't got much.
I don't think people know that it comes with RV life and schoolie life is that there is maintenance that has to be done. You can't just go pick up whatever rig and hope and pray it works.
Right.
Like you need to do the fluid changes. Like we changed the injectors, we've did all the tires, like there's quite a bit of maintenance. And so when people get on the road,
thank you, Robbie.
I don't know. Yeah, thank you. Have you guys witnessed a lot of RVers with tires gone? Like they blow out. Like I've seen a lot of tire blowouts on RVs
all the time. I've always noticed it on our vacations.
Heating tires. Tires get too hot.
Low inflation.
Yep.
Oh, so they're not just checking it before they hit the road.
If your tire's low, not inflated properly, it gets very hot.
Yep.
It builds welds tons of heat.
Wow. And they're just blowing them.
Yeah.
All the time.
And just not taking care of your tires. We're now on a deal about the full-time RVers or something. And someone was talking about rotating their tires and how expensive it was. And I said, well, I generally rotate mine myself, but anyone should be able to rotate your camper tires. It was on an RV trailer. And immediately people got on there. And I talk about this because this aggravates me to no end. Is people that get disgruntled about how their way's the right way.
Yeah.
If you don't want to rotate your trailer tires because you haven't in 35 years, that's okay.
Yep.
However, when someone says that they want to, and then they say, why should you? It's because they can't. No one welds an axle on any trailer 100% true.
Absolutely.
So the tires are always in a bind. So
little cattywampus.
They will benefit by rotating them.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely.
To the guy that said 35 years.
So compost toilets, now that you said something about this person. When I
got the same guy.
It might be the same guy. I was talking about our compost toilet and how we put it in a trash bag and we put it in the dumpster. And at first I was kind of like, oh my God, but then I thought, well, baby diapers, senior living diapers, adult diapers, all you old people, y'all got diapers. So you're throwing them in the garbage, right? My stuff has like peat moss in it and toilet paper. It doesn't really smell as much as you would think it would smell, right? So I'm online and this guy's like, oh my God, do you know how many plastic trash bags you're putting in the dumpster? And this guy doesn't live in an RV. He doesn't have a compost toilet. He doesn't have nothing. And I'm like, do you know how much water I'm saving by not flushing a toilet? Do you know how much energy I use or water I use a day? Do you know I know how much I'm consuming? And you're going to sit here and get on my case about a plastic bag?
He said he lived in a 2,500 square foot home.
He was just trolling the schoolie sites just to
living in a school bus then.
Why?
We did a live video just here a while back.
Showing how our poop works.
Yeah.
How the poop works.
How the toilet worked. But aside that, I think the whole deal of it is just kindness and why people want to criticize, and
why?
And here I am criticizing the guy that said not to rotate his tires.
You're putting the message out. Let people know.
He should have commented on the person that wanted to rotate their tires.
Just don't say anything.
Unless it was going to hurt them.
That's something your mom
Hold on.
teaches
People
you.
forget that you can scroll through social media and not say anything.
Yeah.
You cannot comment.
Yeah.
People don't realize that.
You can have a good conversation about why you do something, or whatever, but I firmly believe that why the best question is any question. You know, that you should be able to ask anything, especially on my page and your page.
Yeah.
Right?
Please ask
it's
me.
Our page,
Let me
right?
tell you.
And then, and I love that. I love that we are able to have that opportunity. And when I was doing my solar deal, on the new camper, I did a video, and on several people were.
Well, I bet you people had a field day with that one.
Yeah,
you got a lot of solar warriors.
I should go to be an electrician, and I should go to class and everything. Well, I've been dealing with solar for 15 years in my work. Even.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So. And there's 100 different ways to do solar.
Absolutely.
There's 100 different ways to do anything in life. How to live a life.
Yeah.
And so now, if I'm doing something that's going to catch on fire, by all means, let me know. But if I accidentally said something wrong about wattage and volts and amps and whatever,
Then we made a suicide cord, and if someone on Facebook didn't say, "Hey, dumbass, you made a suicide cord," like we were making it was our 50 amp
had
cord.
2 melons.
Yeah.
We didn't know what an RV hookup was, like what it looked like. We're like,
but somebody squared us away, and they weren't mean, rude about it. They were just like, "Hey, I wouldn't use that. That's a suicide cord. You might want to look into how dangerous those are."
So we learned.
So we did, and we found out.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's
don't
awesome.
do that. Yeah.
Thank God that person said something, So, but they weren't an asshole about it either.
You guys are so. It's funny. You guys are really approachable. You guys are just like normal people, but on your social media, it's like, man, you guys are doing this and you're doing this and you're doing that. And I'm like, man, these people are really busy. They don't have time for anybody. So when you guys actually reached out to like, hey, let's be on your podcast. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, that is
because I've been actually wanting to meet you guys for a little while. So
yeah,
and that's funny. I don't know. Like I told you that, and a lot of people watching or going to listen to this, might not realize that I found y'all's page. I know before y'all found ours. I don't know how you guys found ours, but I found y'all's several years ago.
Really?
Yes.
Did you really?
Yes.
No way.
And so
How cool.
I had watched y'all build this whole bus
How
and do all
awesome.
that and
That's
stuff.
cool.
So,
It's even cooler for us.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and you guys actually get to sit in it now and see the finished product. Here you are.
That's so cool.
Famous Chitty Bang.
Yeah.
With the famous you guys, man. Like, this is crazy.
But it is interesting what you say, like, about thinking that we're too busy and stuff, because I wonder that about folks that we follow. You know, I mean, you guys, there's
you guys are like celebrities, though.
Yeah.
No, you guys are. That's what I meant by like you're so busy. Like you guys are just celebrities.
No way.
Yeah.
We're not celebrities.
You guys are
unless we're making
all
money.
over social media.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a
right.
good thing. I'm saying, like you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are helping the homeless. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about
Yeah,
that,
that's
please.
right. Tell us
Yeah,
about
so
your homeless
we,
stuff.
Your
we
outreach.
We have an outreach to where several years ago we started going to Colorado, and I enjoyed the interaction with what I call hippie travelers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or
Just
just homeless.
homeless
In general.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
with their hand out, or people with their hand not out.
Yeah.
And just sitting
Living
there,
their life.
And I can tell that they do need something.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
but they're not sitting there with the sign saying, "Hey, anything helps" or anything.
Right.
And for us, it was something that we immediately felt led, and you see it more when you travel.
Mhm.
Yeah, you do.
And the
you
more
really
I
do.
got, so when I finally, because I did have my guard up about certain things too.
Sure.
With that, traveling with my family and
Absolutely.
all that.
Absolutely.
And I said, you know what? What can we do to help these people? Because we started out, we was trying to give money, and I was like, man, I gave out all our cash,
Oh, right.
for this and that,
Right, right.
trying to help people. And I said, let's get ahead of the game. Let's put something together.
There you go.
And we decided we grabbed Casey. Here, I'll let her tell you.
Yeah, I just thought of a Ziploc baggie. Like, okay, we can just put a few things in there. And it started out with just like a bottle of water, like a Cliff Bar,
Oh, wow.
maybe some crackers.
Yeah.
And now
I'm glad you finished that crack part. I was like, whoa, okay, we're going there, huh? Like we're just handing out crack to homeless.
Some people we have met would have preferred that, but no, they were crackers,
Right.
Gotcha.
and some chapstick, and we put like a bandana in there, and
nice.
Kind of like a
Survival.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
hard candy stuff that that just might.
If you're hiking down the
Help
road, you
someone's
need
day.
some chapstick.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you do. That I was gonna say
Absolutely.
chapsticks.
Even a
Yeah.
hard candy to keep saliva in
A
your
hard
mouth.
candy,
That's actually
yeah.
really smart.
Yeah. Some gum,
And Cliff Bars
Yeah, Cliff
is
Bars.
our go-to bar.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just it can be kind of like a meal replacement.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's just
sure.
so-
It might
there's
even be
so
the only
much
thing
in
they
it.
got to eat that day.
Yeah,
And,
So-
and it really provides good nutrition. We like the
Right.
background.
Yeah, it's good.
So we like the background behind the story of the family that built Cliff Bars.
I don't
Ooh,
know
please
it.
share.
And it's so
It's
they
a
were
really cool story.
it was a young kid and his
His buddy and him always
and their dad.
Oh, and their dad. Yeah.
And bikers, hikers. You can read the story on the Cliff Bar. It says on there on the box and stuff that they were doing marathons. They were doing all this stuff, and nothing ever satisfied their hunger, and nothing tasted good. And they said, "There's got to be something better." And they went to work
Problem
right then
solved it.
there
And
in
they
the
just
garage.
did it.
in the garage.
We're gonna make a bar that
Jeez.
works. And I love their wrapping even.
Yeah,
You throw
I
it in
noticed the
you throw it in a
wrapping.
backpack and you're getting all sweaty and yucky. You don't want to pull your bar out and it be nasty. The
Right.
wrapping
Yeah.
is what I'm going to say a non-breathable wrapper, and
Okay.
so it can get
It
wet,
can withstand the.
and it's okay.
Oh.
The bar is
Adventures.
perfectly fine.
So it's
still.
made for adventures.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
Oh,
like-
100%
that's awesome.
adventures. Yeah, and I actually reached out to Cliff Bar. I sure hope they.
Get
Get
back.
back
Come
with
on,
me.
Cliff Bar, if you're
Man,
listening.
I-
Let's go.
Let's
Help
do
us with
this.
the homeless.
And I have because I believe in that product that much.
Yeah.
And you should support the products that you believe in.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
And guess what? I put in the email. If you decide not to support this mission, I'm
still
good
gonna
with
do
that
That's
because
cool,
there's no
man.
other
Yeah.
bar that I will choose over yours.
Nice.
I mean, we
Nice.
have literally been eating those bars for 8 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is our
Wow.
we.
Do you
And-
hear that,
and-
Cliff Bar? They've been paying your bills.
Well, and we buy cases. We don't buy little
Yeah.
ones.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so we buy we're handing out. I told them 50 to 100 a month.
Wow.
And I'd like to
Wow.
triple that. I mean,
Yeah.
we really would.
yeah. That's
Possibilities,
awesome.
yeah.
So you guys just see people on the side of the road and you just hand them out?
we
Y'all have
handed
them
one out-
ready?
We handed
On the
one out
way
right
here.
before we pulled in
Are you
here.
chasing
Really?
them down, saying I'm trying to
We
change your
have.
life?
Yeah. We're trying to change your
Hey,
life.
I've been stopped at a red light and someone's across traffic, and I'm like, giving Casey the bag, and I'm like, go, go, go.
Yeah.
And,
Chinese fire drill, go.
People are behind me honking the horn, and I just kind of lean over in the mirror and
They're
like,
so
1
busy.
second. Yeah,
So
hold on.
busy.
1 second. And, they're kind of like, ease
so
back
cool,
over.
like-
You know, like okay,
Yeah.
They kind of realize what's happening,
Yeah.
but chill out.
Yeah.
Don't honk
People
your
are
horn till you know
busy,
what's going
though.
on.
You have a very commanding presence, though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'd
you
imagine if
do.
you give them the look, they're just gonna be like,
with my
all right.
You
with
do.
my sunglasses on that
Yeah.
are Casey. I wear women's sunglasses. They're
That's
Casey's.
awesome.
Aren't they the best though?
They're so lightweight.
So lightweight. So
lightweight.
light. I always steal hers from her.
Yeah, he does. He uses my deodorant too sometimes.
I used to wear deodorant, yeah, because
Yeah.
it was the best. What was it, Degree?
I don't know.
I don't know,
One of
but it
those.
works
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
We don't wear deodorant.
Well, I wanted to start making.
Don't
my
wear
own.
deodorant.
Yeah.
And he would put it on. It was like baking soda, whatever deodorant I made, and like it like clogged his pores and like.
Oh,
But I know there's another way to do it, but
All deodorant. That's something I
It's
just realized.
scary.
Here we are talking about deodorant, which this is part of the deal. It doesn't
it
matter.
is. It doesn't matter.
2 years for me. I battled with deodorant my entire
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
and so
I started
I guess
with
I'll
one
tell
of the-
people this.
I don't
because it's
smell
important.
BO,
It
so you're
does
good.
for the body, though.
The aluminum in it, right?
The aluminum. I finally went to a doctor and I said I had a prescription deodorant, and mine was that I was sweating so bad. Put deodorant
okay,
on,
yeah.
I could ruin a t-shirt in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
believe you're
Yeah.
telling this.
Well,
My
hey.
my girlfriend
Why
in high
can't you
school,
believe you're telling this?
she had
You're
to have
real
this,
people. You
this
don't wear deodorant. That's
medication
fine.
to keep her from sweating because she sweated so bad in high school. I think it was hormones and stuff, but like she sweated so much, and so it would sting though because I put it on a couple times, and it would sting to keep you from sweating. I buy the kids that Tom's deodorant. You know, I'm like, oh, I'll do all natural.
I had a
at
doctor
least.
tell me. He said if your body is fighting deodorant that bad, he said just stop
Just
wearing
stop
it.
it.
Mine will start if I wear like Old Spice or something with a lot of fragrance in it.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
just
you'll
my
break
whole
out.
underarm is just
Me too.
rashed.
Guess
Just
what?
rashed up.
I quit wearing deodorant. I quit sweating
Yeah.
What?
completely. I
Completely
don't.
quit.
I
I'm not
I
kidding.
quit.
So
wearing
what do you
cr-
do for the smell then?
Wash.
I don't
Just
smell
what-
him.
So-
I
Take-
know.
take a
yeah, I
weekly
don't-
shower?
I don't
Yeah.
smell any BO. or
Just
anything.
Dove soap. I use
Jump in
Dove
the
soap.
pool?
Dove
Yeah.
soap.
Yeah. Nice.
That's awesome.
It's really
That's
weird. It
really
really is,
cool.
you know?
And he never smells. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
You know,
Well-
I mean,
Weird.
I guess it's different. It's
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
your smells your diet. I guess
It's your
really.
in your chemistry.
Right?
Yeah, if you're eating crap
If you're eating
food, you're
crap
probably gonna
food.
stink more. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That is
Yeah.
true.
But
All in
If
general,
he goes on a pizza binge, I'm like, you're out of
you're
here.
done sweating pepperonis.
You don't sweat pepperoni.
yeah.
So I have a homeless story. So we were in Copper's Cove, Texas, at a Walmart, and there was a homeless man right out front. What didn't have a sign, wasn't asking for anything, but there was just a crowd of people around harassing this man, just saying the nastiest things. I don't remember what it was. Just giving him a hard time, for being himself, sitting on
Yeah.
the side of a
Not minding
Walmart.
their own business.
And so I heard somebody say, well, if you want food, why don't you just get a job? So I found out maybe this guy just needs food. So I grabbed the guy, or, hey, do you want to come eat McDonald's with me and my family? It was me and my 2 daughters. And he just looks at me like, oh, okay, because he just had a group of probably 5, 6, 7, 8 people harassing him. So we go to the McDonald's in the
Love
back,
that.
and I'm sorry?
I said I love that you went up and asked him that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. Well, just to get him out of that situation, and just to help somebody else out. We don't have pre-made baggies or anything, but when we see somebody
get 'em
that
food.
might need some help, we truly believe you have to give if you want to receive.
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
So we go to the counter, and I order, the kids order, and then I look at the guy and I said, "Hey, whatever you want." He goes, "Well, what can I get?" So you can get whatever you want, however much you want to get.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Okay." And I think he only got like 2 cheeseburgers, a small fry, and a small drink. And I said, "Are you sure you don't want anything else? It's hot today. Do you want some ice cream? Do you want some hot apple pies to throw in your backpack or anything?" And, "Well, can I get some apple pies?" "Yeah, get whatever you want, man. I mean, this is on me. Just, have a field day." And
sweet.
he didn't take advantage. He just got 1 apple pie, and that was it. And
He took what he
so
needed.
then, when
you
the
know?
food came out, and we went to get our order, he was just still standing near us. And so he's like, "Well, hey, thank you. I appreciate the food. I'll get out of your guys' hair now." I said, "No, come sit down and eat with us."
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to pay
absolutely.
for your food and say you have to leave now. Like, come sit with us,
It's
And
good
so
to know you.
he just got the biggest smile on his face, and he got to sit down next to, me and my,
family.
my daughters,
Yeah.
and enjoyed his food with us.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just, it
How
was.
awesome was
He
that
has
for
such a
your
big
kids
help.
to see
Yeah.
you do that, though? I mean, I feel like
For
that's
real.
been one of the
Yeah.
really cool things about handing out the bags is the boys seeing that kindness and learning
The
that.
generosity.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
generosity
gosh.
and seeing what the people do over a silly bag, which is nothing.
Just lights
I
their
mean,
day up, which makes me
yeah,
feel great.
it
So
makes
it's kind of
them feel
selfish, maybe
great.
on my end,
No,
because
Yeah.
I
it
think
makes
it's
me feel
awesome.
good.
For me, it's exactly like you ask what our outreach is, and our outreach is just to show kindness.
Absolutely.
That's sweet.
Make that
that's
contagious.
All it is, and for
There's
them
not
to
enough
see
of
that
that.
we're, that we're driving by and we are making a point We make eye contact, and there is nothing that's going to get in our way to not give them that.
To acknowledge this human being.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And ask them what their name is. Tell them our names.
Yeah.
And if I have time and I'm not at a red light, I can say, hey, what's your story?
Yeah.
I let them know.
It's always amazing.
And get to visit with them just a moment. But it's just to let who knows what that does for someone.
It changes their whole life.
Well, we were just talking about how like a comment from somebody on Facebook
just a comment.
Here, give her the mic.
A comment on Facebook can make us feel encouraged, and here we are. We have what we think is
Cliff
everything.
Cliff Bar, hard candies, and water.
And we give that to somebody, and they're just like so grateful. Open it up and start looking in it.
Yeah.
It's icing on the cake for you.
It's just like, man.
I can get super emotional about that.
I want to keep doing it. Like, I feel like now we're like looking for them.
I would love to.
Hey, I had a good cry this weekend. Too much wine. I was,
you did.
So well, like, I just had, call them death birthdays of 2 guys I was in Iraq with not too long ago. And so they've just been really hard on my mind. And actually today was November 19th, and there was a couple guys that actually died today as well. So, yeah.
I feel like that.
So I had a good cry this weekend, too.
Don't
worry about it. Yeah.
That's good.
It's good for him.
Us.
It's good.
It's good to
It
cry.
is.
It didn't come out in like a
beautiful,
in a negative way while I was drinking. It came out just as a good cry. So I'm like, hey, I'm okay with that one.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
that was good. I'll take it.
You
I'll take
about
it.
the military, and we're super proud to meet you and for what you've done for for our country.
Oh,
and
no
stuff.
thanks needed, guys. No thanks needed.
It's given.
I got to live out my lifelong dream, so I just wanted to be an airborne infantryman. Thank you.
And when we were building our tiny house, you talk about like if you decide to do something that you're passionate about, we say God puts people in front of you that you would have never met, but because you chose to do something. And for us, when we were building the tiny house, we met people at Lowe's that were military, that were like encouraged by us, but we needed them. We needed their friendship. And the boy we met from Canada left Canada because he wanted to come and be part of the United States military.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Then he wanted to be a highway patrol in the United States.
Did he get to do this?
Since he was a kid, absolutely. And the year that we built the house, we got to see him leave Lowe's as a manager, go to the town about 60 miles away, and he had just been accepted.
Nice.
Still have his phone number in my
I was going to say, did he come and write you a ticket? Is that how you found out?
No. He actually sent me a text message. He said, I just want you to know that I made it into, I'm a highway patrol now. And he said, and he said, thank you for all the good conversations, because we shut Lowe's down with this dude sitting out front strapping down wood, And
our kids became family with people that work there. Like,
yeah, sure, yeah.
I'm gonna go see so and so.
Absolutely,
and now,
absolutely.
And and that was that was just those were miniature days, right? Going into stuff.
Yeah.
Now we're out here living this life.
Yeah.
And the conversations that we get to have with people they're endless, I say.
Yeah.
Because
they
we
really
never know who we. I
like
told you we handed out a bag before we pulled in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we going to meet when we leave?
Yeah.
Who are we going to meet
How
tomorrow?
is that encounter going to impact you and your decisions and the things you're going to think about
Moving
that
forward,
night? Because I know we're not Christian people, but I do believe in learning about all religions, but I do know the Hebrew language has no word that means coincidence.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't believe in coincidences.
None.
I don't either. I think everything happens for a reason.
I do too.
Sure.
Okay, let me tell you.
Purpose, I guess. Yeah.
Like when we were thinking about the bus,
It's kind of like luck, right?
and I the law of attraction. If you can, Bob Proctor says, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand.
Oh yeah. For
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. It's really, and so every day, we were like, we're getting this bus, we're gonna do this. I would look out my kitchen window of my 2,500 square foot house, and I would imagine this yellow bus sitting in the driveway, just sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know what it looks like. I only see the front of it, but I see it in the driveway. What was that? 3 months later, we sold enough stuff, found 4 buses to choose from. He pulls up in this big bus,
Put it right in front
and
of your
it's
window.
there.
Literally.
And so every day, like, we didn't have any money to throw at the project. We could only renovate it. Really, we didn't have any money to do anything with it until the house sold, and made our dreams with the money. But I would sit in the back of the bus out the back door, and I would listen to Imagine Dragons on Top of the World.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just imagine
so cool.
the Grand Canyon. I was like, I see the Grand Canyon. I see me just standing there at the Grand Canyon. Like, we're done. We built it. It's over. And we hadn't even freaking started yet, you know?
Seats were still in it.
The seats were still in it. And so
gosh.
we were supposed to go to the Grand Canyon first, and then we ended up doing it last. We actually just did it, like 2 years later.
Oh, awesome.
And he's like, I'm going to take you to the Grand. I swear to God, we're going to make it, you know, because that's all I can think about. And I'm telling you, like, just, I think if you have goodness and you want to spread the love, because it's so easy to be hateful when it's so easy to, you know, not say excuse me at the store or hold a door open for somebody. Or if, like, my kids and I in Camp Verde recently, you know, we see this homeless man sitting there on the side of the road with a dog. And we are always, anytime we see a homeless person with a dog, we're always like, oh, I hope he has food, you know. So we go and we get him McDonald's, we get him a bag of dog food, we get him a toy, and the kids bring it out to him, you know. We introduce,
so awesome.
We hear about him, we talk to him, you know, and he has a story. And you know how good the kids felt when they left. They were just smiling ear to ear. And they're just like, and I was like, how did that make you feel? And they're like, it just feels so good to see somebody so happy over something so little.
Stuff we take for granted every single day.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
we take every trip to Walmart as like, oh my gosh, how are we going to fight through this massive crazy, you know? Because it's just always so crowded
There's
in a
always
Walmart.
somebody out there
like,
that needs
you know,
more.
I think people look at us like giving up our lives and, you know, and think we are crazy. You know?
Sure.
So
same with us.
I just pulled up a picture here on my phone, and you're talking about like imagining, you know, your bus.
Yeah, yeah.
And what it would be like when we decided that we were going to do this life, and I was sitting there, you know, contemplating, you know, what I'm ready to give up a 6-figure income.
Yeah.
In the oil field.
And the comfortability of all that.
And a good one.
Security.
You know, they weren't going to let me go. My coworkers, you know, we worked good together. I had a solid career, and I thought, why would I give that up? So the people aren't going to be able to see this picture, but if they buy our book, they'll be able to know.
Hey,
so
buy the book.
Hey.
This right here is what I had imagined.
What is that mountain
How
in the back?
beautiful.
Those are the Tetons.
Those are the Tetons.
And that is my van.
That's beautiful.
And that's what I imaged.
It's like
you know?
freedom.
That was it.
That's
And
just a
my
freedom
van
photo.
on
Take
top
that.
of the van right
Is that
there.
going to be like the cover of
Buy
the
the book, people.
Because
Maybe.
that is...
It
But,
might be worth
you
it just
know,
for that picture.
That
That's
makes
beautiful.
me
traded my
wanna go.
6-figure income for that picture right there. Really, I did. You know?
Yeah.
Because the happiness that I have now every day.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, everybody's still like, we still got to make money. We still got to do this, and you do.
Yeah,
you have
you
to
do.
work for
You do.
everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know,
If you have a plan...
And you will. Yeah, money. I mean, this is the
There's
richest
so much
one of
money.
the richest
Like I
nations
said,
in the world.
that's-
If you
it
can't
is,
make
yeah.
it, if you can't make it here,
There's so much opportunity out
There is.
then you're not trying.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
No, I was
No.
just saying there's so much opportunity out there. It's crazy. You can do anything. I mean,
Do you think your kids, like now that they're full-time RVing and stuff, do you think that, like, you guys going to do this like maybe another year, 2, 3, who knows, right? I mean, there's probably no real plan,
No.
you know, just do
I
it
know
until
that-
you're
I know
done.
that I know that I can say for certainty that it's going to be more than a year.
Sure. And I hope you
because-
do, because I see so many people stop after a year and then just sell it. And I'm like, our first year, like, it was hard.
We were
like,
still figuring stuff out.
we
the
were
first
still
year.
figuring it out.
Yeah.
This second year, we finally, like, really, like, we enjoyed it the
We're
first
still
year.
learning stuff,
But we
it's easier.
finally, we were finally like, oh, like, we don't have to figure out how to live this way. We
How
are
to even
just
hook
living
up at an
this
RV
way.
park, how to pack everything up when we're getting ready to leave.
Yes.
Get in the groove. There it is.
Living like that. Yeah. And after that first year, like, that's like your first year of marriage, like that newlywed
It
thing,
is.
right?
Yeah, you're-
So don't give up on it, like, right away, you know?
because all the struggles are going to be
In the
forever,
beginning.
but they're going to be in the first year.
Absolutely, they will. Yeah,
You build
absolutely.
a new home, you got to work out everything
All
in
the
the new home
kinks.
for a year.
Sure.
you know?
Absolutely.
And so for us, what we really want to do is slow down traveling.
Yes.
We 18 states.
Yeah.
Since
Wow.
April.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's for us. That's just going too hard. You know.
You know what? You guys were probably so excited, though. You're like, we're finally doing it. Let's
Yeah.
see everything.
And that's still
yeah.
going back to Oklahoma twice.
You
know?
gotta. It takes a while to get out of that busy mindset, right? Because you're go, 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 go.
Yeah,
Your
we
kids
think
are
we're
go,
on
go, go.
vacation.
You're doing. Yeah, you're on vacation. And I met every summer, right? The summer in Arizona, everybody's like, oh my God, we saw the Grand Canyon. We saw this and this and this. I'm like, did you remember? Like, do you remember really seeing it? Because they would blow through it, but they only have so many months in summer. There's only 1 month. Maybe they're renting this RV.
That's what
Yeah.
changed our lives, was finally putting in perspective that I was never going to get more than 2 weeks,
Right.
3 weeks in the mountains.
Mhm.
until I was in my 60s.
Okay.
Wow.
And then I was going to hopefully maybe in my 60s be able to do it with my grandkids.
Hopefully.
Or hopefully I instilled enough in my boys in those 3 weeks that they wanted to maybe meet us on their vacations. You know, I mean.
You're coordinating future plans with the,
what if I don't make it to be 60?
Right.
And I'm like, you know, do I believe, you know, I did a post one time on Facebook. A good mentor friend of mine said, he said, one thing I want you to think about, Matt. He was getting ready to retire. He said, if this company wasn't paying you to come to work, would you still come here every day?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And I said,
I don't think most people would say yes to that.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Unless it's your company.
There's probably, there you go. You know, and not all of us can own our own company. There still has to be workers.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of people that would go to work for the company.
Sure.
And that's where then they know that's where they should be.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I asked myself that question, and I pretty much knew that day that I wasn't going to work there very much longer.
Wow. You were, you know, here's the thing. You
so
were real with
yourself. One question
yourself.
changed your life.
Absolutely, yeah.
We just did a podcast on asking the right question. If you have, if you're looking for an answer, you have to find the right question. And it sounds like that was the right question for you to make that deciding factor.
So the little things clicked together, right? Things were starting to make more sense.
Yeah.
Puzzle pieces were starting to fit.
So like I said, it's like you're guided. And again, this lifestyle isn't for everybody, but I always tell people, this is just the solution we found.
Oh,
you know?
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
People ask us all the time, oh, how do you live that way? Or, gosh, how could you go without no space? And we're outside all the time.
Non-flushing toilet.
This just works for us. Like,
you just enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, and there's hard times, like
always.
you said, but... And with the kids, you know, learning the balance between, like we were talking about earlier, the balance between ourselves, the kids, the husband, the tiny living, learning
privacy, space,
private time,
private times. When you have older kids, that's the thing.
10.
A lot of people.
Chapter 10? Is that what that is?
We talked. I was like, we got to do a podcast.
So you're doing a whole.
That's what everyone wants in the.
They do. Everybody wants to know.
We did a live video.
Everyone is curious about that one question.
We did a live video of our camper when we got it. That tiny 18-foot camper. We're like, okay, we're going to show you guys what we got. And everybody was like, what the heck?
How are you
That's too small.
Stuff?
Like, of course, you know, we're sitting right here and the boys are like right here, like so close together. They're like, how about private time?
Yeah, right.
And
you
they
coordinate
asked us on
it.
our live video, and of course I start laughing. I'm like, oh, that's fine. We can figure that out.
Yeah.
If you want it, it'll happen.
It in more detail. So
yeah,
like,
you know.
Okay, we'll dedicate chapter 10 to that.
Chapter 10.
They did.
Yeah, they did. That's what they said. They were like, okay, women were like, okay, that could be chapter 10. I think they're really curious about it, honestly. Yeah.
People are. And I joke, I'm
How
like,
does
well,
that work?
we put stabilizer jacks on the bus, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So chapter 10 will be interesting.
This is where we do it. This is what time. This is what this looks like. These are the positions you can do. We actually lowered our bed because it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was we were high. We had big water tanks. We thought we were going to be boondocking more, so we're like, oh, we'll have these huge water tanks, 100-gallon water tanks. We used one. We found water was easy to get everywhere, and I was like, even at gas stations, usually like you can just fill up, you know. But we have a crazy water filtration system too. But yeah, so we lowered our bed.
We've never been able to find water that easy.
Really?
It's difficult for us. It seems like
dumping
the trash.
Okay.
And finding water has been two things we have struggled with.
Dumping trash, yeah, I could see because it was more like throw it into it. Truck stops. You can throw it in truck stops.
Let's hear the story in
truck
Ohio.
Stops have it, yeah.
About the ladies?
Idaho, I'm sorry.
Idaho. Oh, yeah, so we
to dump trash.
camped at this beautiful campground, but, you know, trash in, trash out, so you got to take your trash out.
Yeah, sure.
And we're leaving, and we're looking for a place, and we're like, there's no place here in this
Idaho.
awesome little
Ketchum.
town.
No.
It was in Crested Butte.
Crested Butte.
Okay,
Which
so
we-
we're in Colorado.
It was in Colorado. What'd you say, Idaho?
Like,
we did too many. See, we can't remember.
Too many
So we were in America.
Y'all are still processing.
Somewhere.
Y'all were processing all your journeys still. Yeah. Yeah.
We are. We
Yeah.
do that all the time. But yeah, we got
You're good.
in town, and we're like, okay, surely there's an alley down here somewhere that we can
Sure.
you know, put this trash in. All the signs say, "Do not dump your trash here."
Sure.
Do not dump your trash.
And I will say, Casey is a bit more of an outlaw on stuff like this than me.
Rebel
I'm
just
I
like,
have
because.
to.
I'm
I dump.
like, Casey, I'm
don't
not
wanna get
getting
a
a
fine.
fine, you know.
Sure.
And she'll be like, it's no parking. And I'm like, then we're not parking here. And she's like, it's just going to be 30 minutes. And I'm like,
Don't do it.
babe, we are not parking here. I am not doing that. We are not throwing our trash away because it says
I'm not
you
doing
will get
30 days
fined
for
on the
30 minutes.
dumpsters.
Yes.
Anyways, we find this cute little boutique with the doors open, and there's a trash can there, and there's all these women in there putting together these little flower arrangements.
We've never had a dumpster.
And Matt said, "Oh,
Sure.
look, here's a great little spot. I bet those ladies will let you throw your trash away." And I'm like, oh, "Okay, yeah." So I go in there and I'm like, looking pretty rugged because I've been camping for 10 days and haven't had a shower. And I don't know.
A sack the size of that pillow.
It was a small sack of trash.
It's not even like a tiny bag.
Tiny bag.
Yeah.
Of trash.
Like a Walmart-sized trash bag.
A little bit bigger.
Yeah, maybe a little bit bigger. But anyways, and I'm like, "Hey, we're camping out here at this place and we don't have anywhere to put our trash. Do you think I could use it?" And she's like, "Do you think maybe you could pay me like $5?" And they were looking
Are
at
you
me
kidding?
kind of snooty about my shorts. I don't know. Like there was
probably
like 3 months.
Yeah, my legs.
Sure.
Hadn't shaved my legs in a while, but it was hot
geez.
that day. So, and that's a whole nother topic. But I have just learned to not care. We talked about that earlier.
Your give-a-fucks are gone, pretty much.
I liked the hairy legs, honestly. It was kind of like an empowering thing,
Let it
and
go.
it was just let it go. And actually, a lot of other women that were like that since we've been traveling. So I'm like,
there are quite a few. There are quite a few like that.
Morgan, you're still going to shave your legs.
I still shave my legs.
My legs are shaved right now.
Now, in the wintertime, like when we're working on this tree lot, though, like there are a few days I go and I'm like, I'm not doing it. So, but once a week, I'm doing. I'll upkeep. But like I worked with a few people that were all here.
Being plugged in. And without having a lot of water,
you got to be very conscious.
It's a little bit different when you're living like that.
Then you don't shave your legs. Your legs are sacred. So if you ladies, you need to have shaved legs, then don't boondock.
I know. And I also could have. No, we didn't get the trash dumped. We left, and then what do we do with it? They didn't let us.
So then, we cruise down the next road, and there's the dumpster truck,
Okay.
So I pull up there, and I'm like, "Hey, man," he's like, comes over, and he's like, "Oh, sweet van, man. Yeah, what's up?" And I'm
Nice.
like, do you know anywhere I could maybe throw away some trash? I was like, we have like one sack. We're going to be here for a week. Probably going to have a sack every 2 days. Where is there a place to throw it? He says, if you go down to the park, those trash cans are plenty big enough.
Nice.
And he said, and I'd pick it up twice a week there.
Nice.
Oh, how cool.
And you're not going to get in trouble. And I was like, you rock.
Yeah.
Here's a Ruthardt4Adventure sticker. Put it on the trash.
Slap it on the dumpster.
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
That's cool, but anybody could have told us that.
Yeah,
anybody could have said that.
But not the girls at the flower shop.
No.
Yeah. Oh, well.
They
it's
might not
okay.
know.
I smiled and went on, and we got our trash.
Move on with your life.
Water's been even harder than trash. I mean,
so really, you guys have had a hard time finding water.
Yeah, but which we've been boondock camping, like
sure.
So it's not like
it's just a
not
hookup.
at a campground with water hoses.
So where do you guys find water usually?
National park at the national park.
National parks.
So like at the national park entrance, usually.
Oh, okay.
Where the ranger station is, they'll have they'll be able to tell you. That's what we told everybody.
We just started going to visitor centers and
truck stops are good. If y'all ever rest areas too, we found like 99% potable water. Like there was a sign. It was like this is 99% potable.
Cool.
It was in New Mexico. They had like even a round pen for cows, I guess, for 18-wheelers, and it was a nice rest area. So try that. Yeah, maybe check those
One
places
thing with
out.
our other camper, it was so large, I wouldn't travel with the tank being full much.
I get that. The weight.
Though, because it was just so much more weight. Now with this one, I fill it up, anytime we're getting ready to leave. So now that's a good idea. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now I could probably keep it full. Yeah.
You being a cementer, you probably remember water weighed 8.33 pounds per gallon.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny story. Ryan and Matt used to both work at Schlumberger.
Yeah.
How? And you were a cementer
yeah,
too?
That's what
He was a cementer.
doing,
Shut up.
Yeah.
He did land.
That is so crazy.
That was why I got into the oil field.
It's a great company.
Yeah.
My dad was a civil engineer.
I just for me the traveling I could see was going to just become epic, and it wasn't something.
Oh, land guys have to travel all the time.
And so I was ready. I already was. I was staying in Texas. Yeah.
Oh.
So I've had to travel a bit, but
sure.
I've always had to work around home. Other than a few weeks a year, I would have to travel. I mostly had to travel for schools in the oil field.
Yeah, they do. They're always educating.
Going to different schools all over the place. But
cool.
the last 8 years, I was about as comfortable as I could have been.
That's good.
With the company. There again, everybody's like, "Man, you're like the you."
Why are you giving that?
Why would you leave this? You're right there. You're at the tip of the iceberg, and you get to hang on up there for a while. But I wasn't happy.
Yeah. People thought I was crazy when I left Schlumberger because it was in
2008.
Late 2008 or early 2009, and they're like, "Man, we're in the middle of a recession. Why would you do this?"
Yeah.
I'm just not happy.
My dad.
Yeah,
was
money doesn't
blown.
mean everything to me. I'm gonna make money. Money's easy to come by.
We called that our rock star phase. Like because we were making a lot of money, and it was like okay, but again, he was stressed and miserable, and it just wasn't good. And we had our own things we really need to just work out. And I think a lot of people are scared to admit that they're not happy.
And on the flip side to that, I like to tell everybody that if you're in a bind and you're not making money,
right,
go to these places where the economy's booming. North Dakota,
Oh yeah,
Oklahoma,
that is true.
Texas,
Yep.
New Mexico.
Just get online and look.
Because if you're trying to get out of debt and and you're just like, I just can't make it happen because I'm not making enough money doing what I'm doing. You can go there, and if you want to work, I guarantee.
Somebody will.
Go to a local bar.
You can pay off your
No, I'm serious. Go to a local bar, like in those like oil field towns.
Everybody's
That's where you'll find a job.
There in the motels,
And motels, absolutely.
Those guys are hanging out around their trucks and stuff.
Just start asking questions to people.
The money's there.
Oh, it is.
And so, it's not, you may not enjoy the quality of life you're getting working there.
We call it just suck it up for a little while.
You may develop a career that you never had that you love, and there's a lot of people that want to be a part of the corporate ladder.
Yeah, they do.
And we need those people.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. I used to want to do it, my dad, he still likes to do it, but, so.
And, Casey's parents, same. Me, no.
Yeah.
Never again.
Never again.
I'll figure something else out.
That's
just it's not where I'll be now. And 15 years for me to say no.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
taken people 60.
Yeah.
And you see these and that's the thing too. A lot of RVers will tell us, like, the older people that are traveling without kids and stuff, and they're like, oh man, that's really cool y'all are doing that now. Because and I think about it because I'm like, man, they are traveling because all their kids are grown, and they're like, oh, we'll go visit the kids, we'll go visit the grandkids, and it's like, I am so glad we were able to see all of this with our kids. Same
thing. Every time we meet an older couple that's been traveling, they're like, but you're doing this with your kids. And I'm like, man, you've been so many places. And
the retired folks that we meet, because the majority are, if we're at a KOA or something.
Sure.
I love that they are pushing us, I guess, or they're encouraging us.
Sure. They do.
They're, encouraging us, and that they're not saying that we should be trying to build a retirement or make money.
Right.
Yeah, they're not.
No,
because
they're not.
They look back, and so we get told all the time, like, I wish we were where you guys are in our 30s.
In our 30s.
We had,
Yeah, because they, like you said, they didn't think that way. Now that they've done, I don't know, 40, 50 years in this company, now they're realizing, man, I'm kind of at the back end of my life, and I wish I would have done a whole lot more. I wish I would have seen more, adventured more. And
it's hard for them getting up and down those stairs sometimes. Like, I see them with the ramps, and they'll pull out, or they have oxygen tanks with them, and it's like, I am so glad they're able to go and do that and experience that. It's so good that they have the passion to even do it. How long were they thinking about it?
They can't do it, though.
Yeah.
We'll tell them about our adventures and that we're doing this, or that we went and seen that, or we've been on a bike ride. And we had a guy tell us one time, like, man, I would love to get a bike. And he's like 60, 70 years old. But he's like, you know what? My wife just can't do that anymore. And he's like, I don't know how much bike riding I could do, but I love that. I love adventures.
Wow.
And you could just see him kind of like
getting excited
and wishing that he was still doing this.
But I've seen I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of 60s and 70-year-old people, though, that are in really
we
good health.
Yeah.
And I'm
we
like,
had some bodybuilders at that last one.
Yeah, I hope that when I'm that age,
that you're killing it
I'm still killing it. Yeah, because now they make me think of 60, 70 as still young.
Yeah.
Oh, we see people like that in Colorado. Go to Colorado.
I hear that's the healthiest state to live in.
See so many.
Is it really?
That you're like, are they running 100 miles right now?
Years ago.
Oh my God.
A guy told Casey that and then gave her a keychain.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The Fountain of Youth, yeah. And you go there and you'll see the old people are biking and hiking and running.
Just living their best life.
Wow.
What the heck? Like, and they're so in shape. And
they're not even old now.
They look so happy. You're like, they're rewinding life.
Is marijuana the miracle drug in Colorado?
The guy that mentioned about if you what changed this whole life for us, was it the coworker of mine saying, would you do this for free, know? And that was part of it, and it makes me think of another time. We were in Ouray, Colorado, and we were visiting with this guy who was retired, and we just got to visit with him. We was telling him how we built our own house. And it was our first year living there, or second year living there, I guess. And we kind of told him that, but we had this idea that we thought we might want to travel more, maybe even move here. And visit with this guy for about an hour. Mm-hmm. And he sat up on the side of the pool, and he said, well, I'm going to have to get out of here. He said, but I want to tell you something. He said, this town needs more people like you here. And we were like, thanks so much. And he goes, no, I really mean that.
Wow.
And he said, the problem is town like this, he said, has people like me here. He said, I worked hard in Texas, where he was from. He said, and I built a really large retirement, and he said it cost me $1 million to move into this town.
Oh, my God.
$1 million. And he said, find you a 20, 30-year-old that has $1 million to come live in this town. He said, and then because he goes, because I'm retired, I don't want to do things in this town. And he goes, it's a messed up system. He said, it's not good.
Yeah,
and he said, and it needs to change. And he said, but we need driven people, young people that raise their families here and stuff. And he said, because eventually, you know, it's going to go away. And I said, wow, you know, and that stuck with me, you know, a lot of, you know, it could make you kind of think, well, I'll only get to live here if I go work hard. Or you can think, how do I do it? Like he's saying, you know, I should. You know, you can think of it two different ways. I guess, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Try to figure it out, you know. So for me, I think about like the life we're living now, and I guess I can, you know, how smart are we now that we're in our 30s, right? Where we are, like how intelligent are we because of the things we've done?
Absolutely.
So then I think about like when we were doing really good and was, say, in my mid-20s. If I could just figure out how to make the money I was making in my mid-20s doing this.
Right.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. It'd be great.
Easy.
Oh, it would be great.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if I can do that and then show other people how to do that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Then I can share that.
Life-changing. Yeah, it's
and
life-changing.
then you're changing lives, you know? Because it's hard to change lives if you're just constantly working in the same career.
Absolutely.
You can't touch people, but it's different than this.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
Yeah, you can't touch people at work.
You can get in trouble.
There's a couple people in court right now because of that. So, yeah, you definitely can't. You're not allowed to do that.
No touching people.
You know, Gary Vee talks about, I just watched something about him, and he's talking about how now he's 43, 40-something years old. And he said, you know, I thought in my 20s, when I turned 40, that's it. Like, I'm done. I am old. I'm over the hill. Like, my life's over. And he goes, you know, I really feel like now is the prime of my life.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes me excited for 40. That's right. You know, because I think of how smart I am today, which isn't that smart. So what am I going to be when I'm 40?
But people are telling you.
Living your life that you are now.
I mean, people are telling us all this, you know, telling you guys, like, I mean, I wish I was doing that. So you're like, man, I'm like a genius.
Right?
Yeah, I'm doing something, and I don't know it yet. Yeah. That's crazy.
So was there any kind of stories that you wanted to get out there? Like something you guys talked about before you came here? Like, we got to make sure we talk about this or find a way to... We haven't even used this pad of paper, I don't think.
We have gotten to talk about a ton of fun stuff with you guys. Like, just our journey. It's been awesome.
It's just like it's just like having a conversation. I mean, you guys are really easy.
This is so fun.
I think I said it a while ago, like for us in our book, you know, it's about living your best life and why we traded a six-figure income to a no income.
Yeah.
To being poor. Yeah, I mean, you're a lot more poor.
And what
to be homeless.
What does it take, you know, and what am I getting out of this life now that is so contagious that I traded it for that? You know?
Yeah.
That we won't give it up.
I won't.
And that we still won't give it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that I mean, we've talked about our failures here, and there's many more. There's probably more failures than there is
success stories.
Yeah,
that's us too. That's us too.
That's what's made us who we are, though.
And
absolutely. Well, here's you learned from them though. Like people, I've seen people fail every day, and then they're just down on themselves. But what'd you do? Like most people don't. You got up, you figured another way, you problem solved. You're like, I need to do this. And a lot of people can't do that.
That's what's cool is when we sold our house, that was a success story for us and
for
the person that bought it.
Sure.
You know, and our realtor and stuff, you can throw that in there as those that helped.
You had tools.
But I think we're working on some stuff right now. That are going to be a success for a lot of people at one time. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect
sense.
Yeah.
That's
why we chose this life. You know, writing a book only.
Yep.
You know, if no one gets anything out of the book, then no one gets anything out of the book.
Should we do a raffle for this book?
Exactly.
Yeah, right. We should.
We get that joke all the time.
Do you really?
Let's do a raffle for it.
Let's do.
Yeah, we should. You know, if it's just on a book or a vehicle, they say, you know, property's where they get you.
You can do it.
Yeah, that's it.
You know,
that's
but
yeah.
I'd rather just sell more copies and not have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I mean, you guys have really I know you know.
And I hope that everybody gets something out of the book. You know,
that's the important thing. And I think the passion that you have to help people and to just to be like, look, this is it, to show like that you can do that. I think that is valuable all in itself. Not many people can say that they could give up all of that stuff and do what you guys do. Right. And it's a totally different life.
It is totally different life, but we love it. I mean, we have have fallen in love with it. Our boys have fallen in love with it. So, I mean, people ask us all the time, "What's next? Are you going to settle down somewhere?" But
that's kind of the beauty of it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it right now, but who knows what could happen?
I think the hardest
next, you know.
And a lot of people feel like you have to have a plan and you have to like have a place to go. And literally, like we would be getting ready to leave. We would really be. Oh yeah. Yeah, so they're talking about going live, listen, doing question answer maybe. But
sorry,
yeah,
go ahead. I didn't
no,
mean
I was just gonna say that like, oh, I forgot. I farted. I brain farted. No, it's okay. I was just saying that like people don't. I don't know. Yeah, I think my kids gave him some water outside. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, as far as like, I guess living this life in general, there isn't a lot of easy stuff about it. It has its own challenges, and I think people think that you can just buy an RV or a schoolie or whatever and just hit the road and go, and it's wonderful and live in the woods, and like hold on, like you have to find places to park, you have to find water, you got to find propane, you got to find places to dump your trash, even if it's a little tiny bag, and you don't want to get fined or be a rebel.
About yourself,
you do.
Figuring yourself out and your kids out and your husband out, and you're in such a small space, and everyone's doing the same thing that you're doing. And
whole new relationships are formed.
It's a whole new thing. I think our tiny house helped us transform into that a lot easier.
Oh, I bet.
Because
you got used to the space.
Kind of like made that step and material things and space, but.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You realize what you needed in your life,
versus what we wanted.
Dude, I'm telling you, this bus
we wanted.
was loaded down when we first left. It had so much stuff. And I still kind of feel like we have stuff we could get rid of. But, like, we've downsized a lot just after a year. And we're like, oh, we don't really need this.
Every stop in that 31.
You're tossing.
We finally found out the method. So we would get a box of stuff together as we were setting up camp. What was it that we didn't want? We'd put it here. The boys were like, yeah, this shirt don't fit. Or,
nice.
I don't know why I brought this. We'd put a box together, books, whatever.
Yeah.
And we set it in the bathroom.
Okay, that was the holding spot. Oh, for people just to pick up.
On it.
Oh,
yes.
Nice. Yeah, that's smart.
We gave away bicycle parts.
It was
nice.
Yeah, anything that we did not want or did not need. Because we couldn't really do like a sell thing because
you can't.
Not in the position to do that. So we'd put free on it, and it was just so fun to see people find
dig
it
through
and want it.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
At some RV parks we were at, they have like a little box of like, this is stuff. Take it if you want it, and it was like coat hangers, or like tennis balls for the dryer.
We gave away some good stuff.
Oh, really? It's like it's a garage sale all day.
I actually thought about that. Oh yeah, the
like to put up stuff for sale, like a little board or whatever.
Yeah, and people are like, come to this campsite. We have a Yeti cooler for sale. We have
that's cool.
Charcoaler that's never been used, an ice chest, 12-volt ice chest.
Wow.
Kinds of stuff, and they're like. They have the Amazon. We paid $160. Take $20 for it.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm like, I want to buy everything, but I don't need any of it. So.
I know. Right. I know. It's hard, right? We get on Let Go, and we're like, we don't need that, because where are we going to put it? Yeah. But we at our resort, there was a jerry can, and then there was like some leveling blocks, and they were just faded and orange. And I always wanted the leveling blocks, but I never wanted to spend money on them. Sure enough, this dude just dumps them outside of this dumpster, and we're walking Mila, and I'm like, baby, go get the truck.
She's like, go guard it. She's like, don't let anybody take it.
I'm going to go get the truck, and we're going to come back. We're going to get it.
Just fighting over this trash, sweetie. I think it's going to be okay. We can go get the truck.
That was from a dumpster. Some dude, and the jerry can works. It's just faded.
I want leveling blocks also.
Well, you might get lucky at a dumpster.
Yeah, I want leveling blocks also, but I have 2x6s.
Ours came from the sky.
Now. I have 2x6s from
that's what we used to.
From the tiny house.
There you go.
Nice.
Dude, still recycling and reusing. I like it. Repurpose.
But they're heavy.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
So did you guys want to go live and get a couple people interested?
Yeah, we could try to doing that.
If they wanted to do a Q&A.
Questions or answers
we can just
done.
Keep swapping stories.
Or how do we do it on your phone?
Let's see.
How's it going?
So we are already at 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Isn't that crazy? Do y'all have anywhere to be or anywhere to go? Like, do you have okay.
No. Casey, you can go check on the kids maybe, or I guess they're fine.
The kids were just there.
Are y'all good?
Are y'all hungry?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Good. All right. I know
love
it
how
gets kind of
responsible
cold
all of our
out there.
kids are. They just
know.
played
You know
well.
what? I was gonna
I
say
know,
that
I'm
too.
really responsible like that.
Ours are too, and I would say like
Pretty
a lot of
cool.
RV kids, like people think they're gonna be some like free spirited hippie kids with no shoes on and just like running around all the time. As much as I love to be barefoot, you know, but it's amazing. Like this is like y'all are like probably the fifth or sixth family that we've met that lived in a tiny house or just lived in an RV or whatever. And the kids are always so respectful and they're always so good, you know, because they have to live in a totally different space.
They're a little more aware. I would
Aware
say.
of their
This right
surroundings.
here's my favorite thing. This is a kid from back home. I won't say his name or anything, but
Okay.
you know, I just got a text message from him, and so you guys can read it, you know. But basically, you know,
tell him to send him
just,
in.
You know, he's just wanting some
Do it,
advice,
yeah.
you know. And
Yeah,
so
send
when
it.
I get those right there, it makes me feel good about what we're doing out
Absolutely.
here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I know that, you know,
because we don't all have the answers, but I know just like other people are
Brainstorm.
hungry for answers, I'm hungry for answers too, and that's why I say I love having mentors.
And the purpose of the podcast was really just to get people that are like-minded and like, again, like what we did was why we did it. What you guys did and all the experiences and the failures and everything, someone's going to listen to that and be like, oh my God, like it's not the exact same thing, but I could do this, you know, or
perfectly said.
Yeah.
And we should all choose to do this for our own reasons.
Absolutely.
And when people ask us what we do, it's nothing like to make money.
Yeah.
My ideas are going to be just ideas, but none of us can do what anyone else is doing.
Sure.
Now, if we choose, YouTube, you know,
Right.
Yes.
there may be YouTube that a lot of people are choosing. Well, I can tell you, the people that are already doing YouTube are probably the ones that are going to make money at it. If we choose to do it, it's going to be pretty difficult because YouTube's changed a lot, and that's
It's a
what
little
we've
late.
learned
You
and
do-
we've realized.
so I lost like
I don't think it's ever too late though.
Well, I
I
lost
don't
my
think it's ever too late.
monetization because I didn't have enough followers.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So then I finally got 1,000 followers, and so I can do community stuff. I don't know, but I have to get so many minutes and hours of listening, and before they'll do it again. We're getting there. It takes a lot of time, you know. And you guys with all your live videos, like
I don't know if people realize, because we don't do YouTube, but now me thinking about and watching YouTube and how much it's helped me and how much I've
YouTube University.
Absolutely.
It is amazing how much work the people are putting into YouTube.
Oh,
It's a
absolutely.
ton of work for those
absolutely.
people.
Absolutely.
They,
It
you know,
is.
they deserve way, way more
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh, they
man.
definitely do.
because
They're definitely
they
getting
are
sorted.
professional film editors. Most of the ones that
Yeah.
I'm
Man,
watching.
some of these YouTubers have just, I mean,
amazing.
Don't you guys
editing
I'd hire them to
skills.
make a movie.
Don't you guys just want a drone?
He
I have
has
a drone.
drone, and we've only used it a few times, but so many places don't let you fly it.
I'm just gonna.
And it really sucks. So, hey, guys, if y'all are joining us live, we are taking questions and answers for us or for the Ruthardt4Adventure. They're here. We've been talking a lot about family life and
Everything.
RV life and everything. We're going on 2.5 hours.
You're like never
The
gonna
good, the
be able
bad.
to
Good, the
post this.
bad, and the ugly.
Oh, I got unlimited storage
Oh, good.
on my thing because I was like, I don't want to be limited to how long I can talk because I can talk.
So what were some of the questions that that person that texted you?
I think he's getting back now.
I'll probably have to. Well, I won't be able to see them now.
Tell him that. Well, you can tell
Jump
him
on the
in
live
yeah.
video.
Yeah,
Going live.
but it's just cool that I
Q&A.
get those. I mean, how humbling is that to get
That someone trusts you enough.
that someone trusts me to to message me or text message me.
Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome. Not many people. A lot of people are scared to be unknowledgeable.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
They're
that's
scared
so
to be
true.
like, I don't know. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I don't know all kinds. You know, when we built this bus, I wished somebody would ask me a question about chickens or growing food. I was like, just ask me something I know. I don't
Right?
know how to do electrical or plumbing, but ask me something that I know.
Work
If
here.
you wanted to talk on it, you can, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see if it's working. It's not showing up yet. We
Yeah, it'll
always
come
wait
up.
for a
It's
little
working.
number. Is it okay?
Yeah.
So,
100%. Look
but
at that beard.
no one's on here right now.
It's glorious.
We're going live.
What time is it back home?
It's 7:28 here
So 8:30.
after
If
dinner.
anybody has any questions, we're doing question and
Question.
We just did 2 hours. Is that what you said?
2.5
We're on 2 hours
hours.
and 37
2.5
minutes
hours
now.
of talking live with these.
I'm telling you, it goes so fast when you're doing these things, especially if
There's good content, good
yeah,
conversation.
there's good conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
People like to hear that stuff. We sound normal, right? Don't we sound normal?
Yes.
We sound normal?
Yeah, we
Okay,
just sound like normal
I see
people.
that ours is working now.
Nice.
We have a few people on here. Good. If anybody's has any questions for us
about anything,
about living in a bus,
well, you can ask,
we got these awesome people here
ask
that will
Chitty Bang what their questions are.
What was that one?
And so
that was your message you had.
Yeah.
So are they able to ask questions on that, and it'll pop up?
Yeah, it'll pop up.
Okay, nice. I didn't know that.
Very nice.
I don't know if anybody's awake right now. What time is it?
Bring them on camera. Yeah, here we are. Here. Yeah. So, Amanda, we're actually talking about we're taking questions, question answers about bus life and RV life, and if you have anything that you want to know.
Amanda Hart?
Yeah.
So where did we meet her? Big Spring.
She was actually so Amanda, hey, she was actually a worker at Home Depot that we would always go to.
So all your low stories, they're just the reversed Home Depot stories for us. And
True Value. It was
True Value?
Yeah. She helped us.
But she would give us ideas and, hey, did you guys think of this or that?
Yeah, she did. You were awesome. We always liked coming in and seeing you.
She actually gave you a shirt recently.
Yeah, it says "Better Work, Bitch." And it was
shirt?
it was a shirt she made. It was it's a Britney Spears thing because I rock out to that song when I'm working out for some reason. It's like you want a muscle body, you want a Bugatti,
you want a Maserati,
you better work, bitch.
I jammed to that song when I'm working out. I'm not even gonna lie.
I don't even know the song.
She asked me what's the plan.
Work, bitch.
Have you guys done a Thanksgiving? She asked me what's the plan for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, so ours is
manager at Home Depot. Oh, that's right, manager at Home Depot. That's right, not True Value. Hand manager at Home Depot.
I told you Home Depot.
I'm sorry. I get them all confused. But anyway,
so we have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, she asked what's our Thanksgiving plans.
Yeah, what are y'all doing? In a bus or in your RV?
We are doing
a get together at our campground
at the KOA.
Oh, nice! It's a community.
When they're providing the turkey and the dressing and wine.
Nice.
And then you bring a dish that serves 6.
Okay.
Nice.
So, people signed up, and it looks like there's going to be a bunch. And we've already met a bunch of cool people that are there that we know that's actually doing that. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
We don't know how, we don't know what to expect. We've never done anything outside of being with our families.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so, but we're excited about it.
And this is a new community. And that's the thing with Thanksgiving, and I keep telling my kids, it's about giving thanks and being around people. For us, we've had, I think we'll have our Thanksgiving Wednesday or Thursday. I think if we're not selling trees on Thursday, we'll have it Thursday. If not, I already got my turkey. I got everything I need. We'll cook it here. We're actually having Robert, another schoolie guy, come over and having Thanksgiving with us. And, just, it's easy to do. It's actually easy to cook Thanksgiving dinner in my kitchen. I actually haven't had any issues with it. Like, it takes a little while, but
we were
it gets
thinking
there.
about, like, what size turkey could we cook, and we were thinking, like,
rotisserie
maybe
chickens.
a quail.
Maybe
a quail.
A single quail.
This will feed one person.
That's awesome, man.
Maybe a half of a person.
Yeah, we were when we were building the tiny house, we did Thanksgiving, and we did rotisserie chickens. Casey did 2 of them.
Heck yeah.
We demolished them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do we? When we started working out, we ate quite a bit of rotisserie chickens.
Yeah.
Those were good.
We have a question.
Yeah. What's it?
How is being on the road working out for you guys? For us, it's awesome. We love it.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that before we went live. Like if we could ever go back to what other people think is normal life.
Right.
Just having a mortgage in the house and not living on the road. And I just don't think we could. And you guys agreed?
Yeah.
I agree. Once you get the little taste of freedom and not having all the extra bills, it's kind of hard to imagine your life going back to that, right? I'm kind of like, no, I'll just give me an empty piece of property and I'll pull up and I'll sit there and I will suck at life however long I need to, or get a job or do work camping, or whatever I needed to do. But there's being on the road, I found there's so many opportunities and there's so many people willing to give you money to do little things or stay on my property and protect it for security. Just park here, just because I don't have anybody here and I got stuff there. Yeah. Everybody has their own reasons.
We've thought about homesteading for people. Yeah, thought about looking in that. There's ads on Craigslist everywhere you go.
That they just want to know how to do it?
No, people want someone to homestead for them. They'll pay you to stay in their house, take care of their animals.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Oh, really?
3 months.
Oh, wow.
I've heard of that.
You can stay in your camper and just visit their home and take care of it, or you can stay in their home.
Workaway. Workaway was another one I've heard about traveling. Amanda asked me, she was a random question, how do you guys handle your mailing address? Like if you have it in one state but at another, how do you check it, if that makes sense? It makes total sense.
Good question, actually.
My mother actually receives most of our valuable mail, and then she'll send it in a box. But UPS is who we use. Normally we'll get a mailbox in town because we're usually somewhere for 1 to 3 months. We'll pay for a mailbox to get our Amazon packages and stuff. And if there's anything important, she just sends it to that mailing address.
Or we'll send it to the actual RV park.
Yeah.
If we're at an RV
or
spot.
to the RV park. Yeah.
So for us, we are the same but different because this is the first time we've ever stayed anywhere for a month. We bounce around week at a time.
Yeah.
So we get to a place and we need mail. We go to the post office. We get general delivery. They set it up. It's free.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
You just go in there and you can have it for 30
Oh,
days.
nice. Okay.
And that works perfect
And
when you
then
guys
we
were
can
moving.
order something, or we can, if something was sent to Casey's mother's, we're just like, hey, we're going to be here for a week. Send it to us.
Nice.
We need to get you back on Amazon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you get
now at the KOA, they obviously have
mail
mail
there.
room.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we can just have anything mailed to us there.
Anything sent there, yeah. So.
Yeah, that works out.
Other than that, general delivery is the best.
General
option.
delivery.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
Post office, yeah.
Good to know. That's good.
Thank you. You guys just taught us something.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you guys taught us something.
Our friend Jeff, babe,
Yeah.
is saying, be careful, FDA recalled some turkeys. Research it.
No, he's
the
right.
butterballs,
No, he's
right?
right,
It was
yeah.
the butterballs.
That's crazy.
Was it Butterballs?
I think it was butterballs, and it was like they had
Really?
salmonella or something.
What did you get?
I didn't get butterball.
Okay.
I don't know what it was.
Can't you cook salmonella out of
I think if you
salmonella
cook it,
chicken?
I think you
Don't
can.
know. I want to chance it, though. Have you ever got food poisoning?
Yes.
Oh, it's the worst, man.
One time.
It's the worst.
That's a game.
Hit me.
So, just to comments like this, babe, Megan is saying, Megan says, my son wants to do this. You guys are all an inspiration.
Oh, thank you so much,
Thank
for
you.
sure. Thank you.
You can do it.
You
Megan.
can do it. Yeah, just be supportive. There's not very many people like you get the people that are like, "Oh, that's such a cool idea."
I don't know when Megan's son is ready, but my plan is probably the kids are grown. Our camper and van will be sold as a package.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get a Volkswagen van because I think that's cooler.
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna
Oh,
fix
those
it up.
Volkswagen
A pop
bus
top.
or vans are
Yeah,
sweet.
4x4.
So, when you
Yeah.
told me about your whole raffle idea,
Yeah.
so we had always talked about, if there's ever a time like we found some land and I don't want this bus to just sit. I would love for somebody else to
Right.
go have a fun adventure for it. And so we had actually came up with the idea, hey, let's raffle this thing off.
Right.
So-
yeah, exactly.
I can tell you with a bus, it has been done and it went perfect.
We talked about
Oh, really?
Oh, the Expedition
Oh, okay.
Happiness.
Yeah.
Expedition Happiness.
Okay.
But I think it ended up going to like their friend or something.
No. Well, I mean, it wouldn't.
There's a backstory behind that.
I would make it. Yeah, I would make it
Oh,
legit.
I
I don't know their
retract.
situation, but with ours,
I
I would
don't
make sure that it
know.
was
Yes.
legit.
Jeff says he's having ham. No turkey for him.
He's going safe
We
this year.
always had deer. That was our, that's what Casey would prepare for us at
We had
home.
some backstrap one year.
Because on Thanksgiving Day, we would always actually have it
At our house.
with just us, and so Casey would cook just some deer meat up,
So a fun deer
So my
hunting
friend
story.
just told me that. She goes, they actually have deer meat for Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Amanda.
Oh,
Yeah. Venison is great. That's the typical. Venison is the Thanksgiving meal. That's what they had. So good job.
We would always have turkey the Saturday before, which was this.
Oh, nice.
What is today? Monday. So this last Saturday was my big family's Thanksgiving, and they're all getting on here.
Yeah,
saying
everyone's saying they missed a
us on
Saturday, and so for us it was.
Well, guys, listen to the podcast. This is going to come out on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
This will come out
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Sorry if you got a butterball turkey.
Yeah,
If
sorry
that
if
is
you
the
got a
one.
butterball.
Yeah.
You guys, so I guess since we're talking about Thanksgiving, do you guys have anything in particular that you're thankful for this year?
Ooh,
I'm sure there's
nice.
I've
quite
never
a
been
bit.
thankful on Thanksgiving. I've never been asked. I'm saying.
Are you
Never been
serious?
asked.
I guess not. No.
Really? That's like,
That's
you know
like
what
what
you're
you
supposed
do
to
at
do? Go around the
kindergarten.
table and say what you're thankful for?
Maybe I just was disgruntled.
You're right.
Okay. Hey, at least you're
Maybe
being
you
honest.
weren't.
At
You know
least you're
what?
being
So
honest.
this year, though, you will. It's different. Y'all are in the life that you've been
I
planning.
can tell.
yeah?
I do you know Casey?
Like
Go ahead.
everything in my life right now. Seriously,
that's me. I
I'm
think
thankful for this life.
thankful that we're not unthankful for
I
where we
am.
are.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good
I
response.
love, yeah. everything. I'm thankful for you and our boys, and that we get to spend time together every single day.
And you worked your ass off. I mean, to get this money together to be able. I mean, you two to sell on your house and everything. I mean, it didn't come easy. No. This was definitely you scraped and you were going to make this dream come true. So you worked for that. You know.
True. I guess I'll say I'm thankful for all 4 of our hearts to be on the same page in life.
How sweet.
To live this life. I guess that's what I'm thankful for.
There you go.
Our kids could not want it, or he could not want it, or I could not want it, and we all want it, and we're doing it, and I'm super thankful for that.
I think that's we get that question a lot, like maybe a husband wants to do it and his wife doesn't, or whatever.
Sure.
You know?
I hear that story a lot.
And and how I'm supposed to help somebody with that situation, that's tough.
That is a tough one. It's communication.
It is. Communicate.
There's a middle ground somewhere.
Surely you can balance that out. You know, for Casey and I,
get on the same page,
Because actually, when I said this is what I wanted to do, was sell the homestead while we were walking down the road one day, which that's deeper, so that'd be in the book. That's what we were hiking.
Okay.
And she said, what are you thinking about? And I said, I just think that we got to do it. We got to get rid of this house. It was more than we had talked about it on the front porch, but then on the hike, and she said, okay. And I'm talking, I stopped in the road, and I'm like,
we're hashing this out.
And she said, I'm ready.
Yep.
And so, it was like, boom.
And then our kids got on board.
But she wasn't on board for a while, you know.
Mostly I just I didn't want to get rid of the house.
You need to plant the seed.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, your partner never knows what you're thinking until you say it. And you would have thought that you're perfect, you're living here forever, if he never would have been like, hey, you know what, I just don't. This needs to be in the mountains. Like, if you never would have just said that, she never would have thought about it.
You want to be here right now talking
So give your partner the credit of giving them the option to be like, hey, like, this, it might not sound great right now. Like, the first time we thought about tiny houses, a bus was not in it. I was like, I want a tall ceiling. I want all these things.
Yeah.
But then it was like, realistically, we're like, I don't have a truck to pull a tiny house. We didn't want to buy an RV because we wanted to build our house, like do what you guys did, but travel at the same time. And it was like,
if I could have just pulled that house.
That's it. Yeah, I know.
Right.
You could have pulled that 700
But you said you had an old rusted frame. You should have found a way to lift that house up, jack it up.
We talked about it for like a second.
Yeah.
And hey, guys, just so you know, ask any questions that you have. We have another full-time RV family here doing an interview.
Questions here too.
So you know what I like and I appreciate about your guys' relationship is your stories sound very similar to Morgan's and mine, where you guys communicate a lot. You guys were saying you're just walking and you're talking about things, and that's Morgan and I. Just every single day, we're talking about things we want to do, things we want to try, things we want to see, and we're dreaming, scheming constantly. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to go on a limb and probably say you guys are big dreamers. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the lifestyle you have now, done the things you've done, failed so many times. We're definitely big dreamers. And people laugh at some of the things that we say, like when we said we were going to turn a bus into a house. They're like, no, you're not going to do that. Like, that's crazy. Nobody does that. And,
you're not going to quit your job and take your family on the road. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that we have been able to meet other people like that. And then I love that Casey and I are that couple because we've done, more things that we could, probably throw in our book or talk about later on,
Absolutely.
But Casey's always been a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
But Casey has had a really, really neat crafty resale shop.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Casey we opened a very successful Sno-Cone business in our little town one time.
That is her dream.
To open a Sno-Cone
that is
stand.
her dream.
I want a Sno-Cone stand.
Casey still wants another one because
I want it for
really
my kids to run.
Hey, there's mountains in Sierra Vista. We need to find some land around here. It's still hot enough to where people are going to like snow cones.
Yeah.
I love snow cones.
What else have we done? With animals, we could go on forever.
I bet.
We have raised dairy bottle calves. We have raised goats of many different breeds. We have raised
Riley says
all kinds of hunting dogs.
Riley Prather says the house was small enough. You should have tried and pulled it.
Right?
Yeah, it wasn't small enough. It was small, but it wasn't that small.
That's funny.
So, hey, look, Jody Jones is watching. That's my old safety director from where I worked at my last job.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that fun, to have people that...
my sister's on. She said hi from the landmass.
Hey, Lacey.
My sister's in New York right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What is she doing in New York?
They went for a trip for her daughter's birthday, 16th birthday.
Oh, fun.
Her wish was to go to New York. She was wanting to
Are they going to like a Broadway play?
Right.
I don't know what all they're doing. They're staying for a week, though.
York,
they're going to do Madame Tussauds.
Madame Tussauds at the
sure
Wax Museum.
Oh, yeah?
You're going to go see the 9/11
I think they
tower?
were going to go, I'm sure that. And then I think they said that the ice skating...
Oh, we
already,
didn't get to do
was
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe
the Woolman
yeah,
drink?
they brought in that
Woolman
tree a couple weeks ago, or last week, I think. They brought in the tree for Rockefeller Center. So
You know,
Yeah.
Donald Trump
Go
actually rebuilt that, and obviously before he became president. But I was reading it in his book, and I guess the city tried for like 8 years, and they just blew large amounts of money on it. He came in under budget and way ahead of time. And
Really?
Yeah. Without
Yeah.
him, they wouldn't have had that ice rink. Probably up still
So
to
he
this
did
day is the
something
way it
he
was
said
going.
He was going to do.
He did something he was going to
I'm
do.
gonna tell you.
That's
So
awesome.
I suck at negotiations, but and I like to read. His book, The Art of the Deal, has taught me a ton about what you can have in a contract. Like I would have done my whole negotiation with our builder differently.
Oh,
like
yeah. My
contracts would have gone
It would have been
so
ironclad.
I didn't know that
differently.
he had that many books out there.
The Art of the
I
Deal
don't
is
know. That's
one
the
to
only one I've
get.
ever read
It's
of
kind of
his.
like Grandpa telling you stories about
Seriously.
deals that went down, and
Yeah.
just picking up
There's
the
little nuggets
tidbits.
inside
Yeah.
about dealing and negotiations.
I feel like that he is
Tell 'em-
100% doer.
Adam is
Yeah.
watching.
Hey,
you know,
tell
getting
everybody
stuff
that's
done.
on
Yeah.
if they
Oh, yeah.
just now coming on that they can ask any questions.
Yeah, you guys.
That's what we're doing on here.
That's funny.
Well, you can tell them because you don't have to have the microphone.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
okay.
that's true.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
I've been doing this podcast for 2.5 hours.
You can
I'm
only
like,
talk
I
if there's a
can't-
microphone.
3 hours.
It's been 3 hours, and you have to
I
have
need
the
the mic.
microphone to
Mariah
be able to hear.
Rivera's on.
And so,
Who?
Here, take this.
Mariah
I don't
and
need
Adam
it.
were
Okay.
there.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're doing
nice.
question and answers. If anybody has any questions about living on the road or schoolie bus
Anything.
questions, anything,
Anything,
live
yeah.
questions,
Yeah.
anything.
You
Yeah.
got our
Yeah.
attention right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we have been talking,
We have
so
been
our
talking
minds are
like
on fire
crazy.
right now.
They really are. I'm
Creative
honestly
juices.
surprised that we haven't ran out of things, but I'm not because
and then we keep backing up, saying, "Oh, I could tell you more."
actually-
We
Yeah,
go back
show
to that
you
rabbit
more.
hole.
Well, we
and
finally
jump
had
in
to
it.
hook this
5
up.
hours going.
Oh,
If
jeez.
it's 3 hours on here, we were talking
For
You know,
5
I actually got a
Before we
comment today about our
started.
podcast that they wish it was longer.
Oh, wow.
They actually
Really?
enjoyed that. You know, we had one that was an hour and a half. Well, they're going
Today.
to enjoy this 3 hours.
Someone said, Jason says, buy the diesel van.
By the diesel van.
Yeah, the diesel van. That would be.
I've seen people do the
Oh.
biofuel.
Let's see. This question
What's-
says, y'all might be able to answer this
Okay.
too. So, how hard is it going to be for you to leave the campground and go back to the national parks dry camping?
Oh,
For us, we paid for a month. We
They're
told you
hooked-
guys
they're
that in
hooked
the
up to it. They're
beginning.
at the same
And
spot.
so Casey and I said today we were ready.
Yeah.
We
actually
really are. I will say that
We've enjoyed it. It's been awesome. We love the pool and all the
the
amenities,
luxuries, yeah.
but we're totally ready to.
It's
be
too
back
easy
in the
living right now.
forest. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
but
get
we
space.
haven't done much
Yeah.
dry camping in the desert, and so I do feel like
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah.
It is
We're
different.
excited.
I feel like my stuff is more vulnerable
Sure.
Sure.
setting out.
I could see that.
But mountains, I just feel different. But I think it's because I
Yeah.
have always been camping in the mountains. So
Sure.
I just got to figure out how to adjust to that.
Yeah,
Speaking of the desert camping, what about you guys?
Oh, well, so, you know what?
We're
So
fine
we've
with it.
actually been hooked up, like, all year. We found some really awesome RV parks, and we never thought we were going to be at RV parks, honestly. We
Yeah.
thought we would just be boondocking. But,
Yeah.
again, the luxuries, we were near Sedona. There were trails. There were homeschool groups. We were like, let's just enjoy and take advantage, do a little vacation, you know? And coming here, we do have a water hookup, but we are on solar.
Yeah, we've been on
So,
solar the entire time.
I haven't used my AC or my heater, and honestly, it's nice because one, you don't have to worry about people being around you. And as much as I love meeting the people that we have on our journey, like it is so nice to just not have anybody next to you or
Disconnect,
hear
get
you.
away.
About national forest.
Yes, you can just
Yeah.
go and be, and no one really messes with you. Everybody's out there doing their own thing, and
Yeah.
it's just not as claustrophobic.
Sometimes
I
RV
call it the what is it, the subdivision of the RV world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
When you're in RV parks,
So how long have you been running on your solar then
Hey,
since you've been
Megan.
here?
about a month.
Since October.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone asks us that all the time.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
How long can you run on the solar? And I'm like, well, inevitably.
Indefinitely.
Forever.
Yeah.
I mean, we had I accidentally left my fridge, my Norcold fridge plugged in on my solar,
Okay.
and we had a generator running one night. my batteries drained to 50% and my lights went out. They were like, nope, we're not doing it anymore because you're not supposed to drain them that low. And so I was like, oh, crap. You know, so that's something that even 2 years later, like we still have to remember, like there are ghost watts and there's energy anywhere that's plugged in and it's going to pull energy from it.
And when we leave our camper, you double check, triple check everything before you leave your camper.
Absolutely.
Not like you did your home.
So
sure, absolutely. Yeah.
You have to.
With a heater, of course.
Hi, Fanny. Hi, Megan.
Have you told them that we got our heater fixed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I let...
Did you tell everybody about that?
With the heater. So we was having troubles with our heater. You know, it wasn't working at the higher altitudes at all. But now that we're at the lower altitude, now it's lighting. So I'm hoping now it will light because we had never lit it on that new camper.
What was the deal with it? So altitude affects propane?
Oh yeah, well it's just your air gas.
Your mixture.
Yeah.
Okay, your fuel, water, or air mixture.
And we're trying to light it at it's 20 degrees outside because we're in Rio Dosa up in the. At
I hear Rio Dosa is beautiful.
Oh, it is.
I've never been there.
For sure.
I have a buddy, the lead singer of Jimmy and the Johnsons. That's where we built our bus. If you guys have never heard of Jimmy and the Johnsons, check them out
on Spotify.
Yeah, they're a Texas country
if y'all
band.
like country, it's like West Texas country. It's great though. Our whole bus was built to making that CD.
To live music
on there.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. He was the cowbell lead.
I played lead.
He opened for the Bellamy Brothers. It was good.
Yeah, I got to open
times.
for the Bellamy Brothers. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So does that keep? Is ours going away? Is it losing service?
Network connection, but I'm not sure if it's still working or not.
I think so. I think it keeps bouncing off.
Yeah.
If y'all need to jump on our internet too, you can. Just let me know.
No. Not while on the live video.
You guys want to wrap this up? It's at 2 hours and 58 minutes now.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I've had an awesome time, you guys.
Sure.
Let me ask you real quick, because it's Thanksgiving when this is going out. What are you thankful for, sir?
Ooh, you know, I am honestly thankful for my family's health. I'm thankful that we're all together. I'm thankful that we got to enjoy this podcast with you guys tonight. I'm thankful that me and my wife are still married. I'm thankful that this house that we built has been a rock for the last 2 years, and we haven't had, knock on wood, we haven't had any major, issues with it. I'm thankful for this work camping gig that we have right now because it's a lot of fun for us just to give people, or sell people their Christmas trees and see their kids' faces light up. I was thankful for, the pumpkin patch because we love watching little kids come in and running around the little maze that she sets up
with pumpkins, and they have so much fun. I enjoy it.
I would love to do that.
Well, I get to decorate, and I don't have a big house to decorate anymore.
What I'm thankful for?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm also thankful for the people that we've met here in Sierra Vista. This is a phenomenal little town.
It is.
The people that are here have just been so awesome.
Dude,
and
so nice.
This is a great little town. I honestly like it. It's a mixture of military, our age people, 30-year-olds, and 40, 50-year-olds. And everybody's just been really awesome. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Austin, Texas. Everybody's keeping it a little bit weird. You'll have one person who's real straight-laced. You have the next person with a sleeve of tattoos coming in. So, and everybody's just coexisting, amongst each other, not judging. So, this is a great little town.
Nice, yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's what I'm thankful for.
I think I'm thankful for all the same things, all the same reasons. I'm thankful for having the opportunity to even do this, because I haven't had to have a job, but we did minimize our debts to do that. And I'm thankful because so many people, they are stuck, but only because they don't know that there's another creative maybe way that they could do it. Yeah. But I am thankful I'm thankful for my kids, getting to meet your kids, other RV kids.
Totally.
I mean, with a compost toilet nonetheless. And I say that all the time because kids that don't know how to use the compost toilet, they'll come in like, how do you use your toilet? They're like, is it going to eat my tush when I sit on it? And it's nice. Like, I don't have to go give them a class, hey, so this flap thing, and then you throw it in, but don't let the toilet paper get stuck. It'll get stuck in there, it's a whole thing. So I'm thankful for people like you, for genuine, original people that wanted to come in and share your story with us first, because we're total strangers.
Yeah, thank you for opening up.
And for knowing that we're not like weirdos or meth heads or like anything crazy. It's
finally cool to meet you guys.
Yeah.
So fun.
It's a lot of fun, and I think
if anyone else is doing podcasts out there and want us to come,
Yeah.
we will,
Schooly
so
today.
Be there.
Yeah.
You guys need to start your own.
We may start our own.
It's
because
fun.
This was so fun.
So all you have to do is do one podcast and you get hooked. Yeah.
You do.
I like what all you guys said you're thankful for. I think, in all honesty, for me, I think it's that I'm still providing for my family
Right.
and chasing a dream.
I get that.
Yes.
We really are doing our dream.
You're doing the
Yeah.
American dream. Your American dream.
Yeah,
You
seriously.
know, and
Our own way.
and we don't have it
working.
100% figured out.
No, I don't- yeah.
You know, we don't have this
No, us
fortune
neither.
sitting over here that's allowing us to do that.
Nope.
That's big of
You're
you to
taking that
admit
leap
that.
of faith.
Yeah.
You're taking that leap of faith.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And through faith we're making it work, you
Yeah.
know, and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're trying to find every little thing that we can, but we want it to be powerful, and we want it to help others,
Sure.
and we want to help others.
You guys are pretty
Absolutely.
We wanna
selfless.
be
Share.
happy.
That's
Y'all
one.
are
That's
very
one title I'll
selfless.
give you guys. I mean, you guys are very selfless people.
Yeah, thank
I've
you.
learned.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
When
are
you-
you guys?
When you don't have a lot,
thank you.
it's easy to give more. I've
Oh, it's
noticed.
so true.
Yeah.
You know, like when you
Sure.
don't have a lot of crap holding you down, like you're like you want people to experience that joy that this
Mhm.
brought you, and you're like, God, just be happy. I want you to be. I want to help you. I want to do this. And a lot of people don't understand that, but it is. I've been more giving in this life than I have in
It's
my
kind of like
previously.
we talked about earlier. You know, Casey and I think that to be happy that we have to be accomplishing something every 5 minutes, every single day, and
Right.
we don't really realize that it's okay to sit outside the camper and just enjoy hanging
do
out
nothing.
with the kids and just
Yeah.
reading books.
Yeah.
And
Just
do
being.
nothing.
And still learning.
And
like,
just
you
being.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just living your
being.
life.
Yeah, that's powerful.
What did
Just
they-
being.
It is.
One
Yeah.
advice I got, they said, you know, if you want any advice as a parent, just be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just physically
Play
being
with your
there.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to your kids.
Talk
Yeah.
to
Do you
them.
guys ever ask yourselves if you're good parents?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Totally.
Morgan and I, we have always, just worried, are we good parents? And we've come to this conclusion, and we've said that if you're asking that question, you're a good parent.
Oh, true.
Because you're thinking about it. You're worrying about it. You're
second-guessing,
wondering about
you
it.
know?
So,
Maybe
so
not
any of these parents that
second-guessing,
are out
just
there right
wondering.
now, maybe it's Thanksgiving and you're listening to this.
Yeah.
If you're thinking that question, you're a good parent just for even thinking that question. Because I don't think bad parents are even
totally
worried
agree.
about that.
They're doing their
Because
own
they're
thing.
too involved in their own life. So,
Yep.
I think for me, I've always been a
Totally
parent
true.
that thought that I needed to be really strict on my kids and really hard on
Yeah,
Us
my
me
boys.
too.
too.
We both
And,
did.
Yep.
And now living this life, it's okay to be a little bit free,
Pull
and
back.
act a little bit
Yeah.
silly, and
Absolutely.
because it, because we
your
have good
connection with
kids.
your
and you
kids,
gave them a good
know?
foundation, though,
You
in the
guys
beginning.
probably disciplined them. You know, you were hard on them early, and now they're older, and so you
Very
can
hard.
be
Yeah.
more
Yeah, me
relaxed
too.
on
and I
them.
continue to be harder. You know,
Sure.
if you work in a job that's hard on you,
Yeah.
you come home and you're hard on
Yeah.
your family.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's sometimes
Get away
hard
from
not
that.
to do. Absolutely.
And because there's all these rules at work, and you're
Yes.
in school, there's all these rules, and
then there's
yeah,
chaos at your
rules and
house when
rules
you
and
come
rules, and-
home.
And I'm all for rules and
Sure.
law and
Society
stuff,
has to
and all
function.
that, but
You've changed a lot though throughout this.
He has
whole
too.
time.
we don't have
He
to
has
have,
too.
we don't have to have so many rules in our home.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No, we
No.
don't. That is
I-
one
It's
thing
fun
that
to
this
be
tiny
that
house has actually taught me is to cut back on all these rules that I used to govern and regulate my life
Right.
with.
Right.
And I'm a more happy person because of
too.
that. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I got it all figured out. I'm
we
a mess.
freak out some days. There's
Yeah.
still bad days,
Absolutely.
you know,
Me
but
Yeah.
The only rules that I
don't
really
slam the
folk-
RV door.
There you go.
That's the
Don't
number
Don't
one.
slam
slam the
Don't
RV
slam the
door.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
We
I
can't
tell them.
afford to fix it.
I tell them to be. I tell the boys to be. I'm like this camper will break.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
I said
everything.
be kind and gentle when you walk
Right.
in the camper.
Right.
Assume that you're gonna probably break something.
Sure.
Assume your foot's gonna go through the floor if you stomp too
So
hard.
just
yeah.
be kind and gentle.
Sure.
And then if you want to go break something outside, go do it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
go
okay.
outside. See, they'll get crazy in here. They'll start like arguing. Okay, you see this? There's
Wrestling
like
with the
Dawn dish
dog.
soap. Dawn dish soap on my curtain right here. I'm gonna tell you, I haven't washed it because it's their job to wash it because they got crazy and threw
Matt, you are so
that
kind.
Hey Matt.
with that sponge with the Dawn in it because they were getting crazy. I'm like, you guys want to throw crap? You go outside. This is not the house, you know. And it's like they don't get. They're kids, whatever. It's an ongoing battle.
Yeah, and that's what a kid's supposed to do: make mistakes early and often.
And we're
I
here
think I forgot
to help them with that
early on in my kid's life. And again, I was in my 20s, so I was a child myself.
Yeah, we were.
And it is a kid's job to make mistakes, to fail early, fail often. Yeah. And I had to come to that realization as a parent and say, hey, let me just take a step back, do a 5x5 because I'm the one out of control right here, you know, getting onto them and riding them so freaking hard, you know.
Casey's much better at it than me.
Morgan's much better at it than me.
You know,
that's what makes y'all a good team, though, you know.
The yin and the yang.
I'm like,
they're
that's
kids, right.
They're learning. You have to be nice,
And the biggest thing, though, is that you're here while they're making those mistakes when they could be off at school you could be off at work and they're making those mistakes and they don't have anybody to guide them and tell them what really, like, how do you handle that decision? What is that like? Because if not, guess who else is telling them how to do it? Not you, their teacher, their principal, their coach, or whoever. And you don't know what the hell they're saying. We don't have the same morals or
well,
as
and your
other
kids
people.
got to see you guys fail on multiple occasions. And that's not a negative thing that I'm saying.
Right.
They hugged our necks through that stuff too and said, "It's okay."
Get through it, yeah.
See,
that is so. Yeah.
Aren't kids? I was gonna say they're like your best support system because no matter what you do as a parent, they're gonna love you no matter what. And you can fall flat on your face, but they're gonna be like, "Hey, it's okay. You got this."
Do you guys admit to your kids that you don't know everything? You're like, dude, I can't. I'm still figuring it out.
I think they totally know it, but we still admit it.
Yeah,
we tell them all the time.
That's good.
We're like, look, we're not perfect. Don't put me on a pedestal. We're gonna fail. We're gonna do all this.
He's got that good a voice on a podcast.
Y'all sound really good in my ears. It's nice sounding on my very smooth. Erickson's on.
I'll say this about Matt Gore. So this is the guy that was a year older than us, and it's cool because I feel like Matt is one of those guys like we were talking about earlier. He's in our small town and he's excelling in our small town. He's doing things that other people don't want to with like the city council, with the parks.
We need people in small towns.
Yeah, we do.
They're disappearing.
And how cool is that, right?
That is
and
cool.
So, and I get, we're not there, but I still get to see that.
Yeah.
You know? And that's fun for me. That I get to see people doing that because I wouldn't be good at that.
Oh no.
And then he also is doing, he still does, he lives just outside of town and has a little homestead.
Nice.
Sells pork.
Nice.
He's starting a lot of little things that make small towns important.
Support
and neat
small
and
business,
want people
guys.
To be in there. Yeah, the small
that is so, and we got to support those guys because
and stop asking for a discount. This is how they're making their livelihood, okay? This isn't cheaply made.
If you want a discount, go to Walmart, go to Home Depot. That comes from China, and you will be happy, I guess, with it. But the people that buy from roadside stands and guys, that's what built our whole country at some point.
Yes.
And if we don't support that as our own citizens of our own cities and towns,
it's our
they're
fault when
gone.
they're not there. Yeah.
And then what do? The people that want to come get a Christmas tree, they can't go chop their own in Arizona. They can't go to Oregon and get their own tree. And when Home Depot runs out, we're the only, for 3 days, we were the only ones with pumpkins for 3 days.
Yeah.
Everybody was sold out. It was, and people would come in and say we're too expensive. And I'm like, these are grown by local farmers. You're supporting your local. Yeah, it's not going to be cheap, and they're dirty. Farmers. And people complain they were dirty, and you're like, they're grown out of the ground. Like, I can't help you with your germs. I don't know. But yeah, you got to support those guys. That's good. You have a friend like that.
And we want. Because we preach so much about I don't know if preach is right
preach
word.
It, brother.
Preach it. We talk so much about live your best life and do this, and we just want everyone to know that doesn't mean we want you to sell your home and live on the road.
No, absolutely. Don't do what we do.
We want you to live your best life.
Your best life. Your best life's not my best life.
Matt Gore's living his best life.
I think that's awesome if he's on the city council.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And really working hard because that's tough stuff that
I wouldn't do. It really is.
Like,
I don't want to be a politician.
I don't want to deal with all the shaking hands and smacking babies.
And it's cool that I know somebody that's doing it. You know? And I know more than him. I'm just saying him because he's on here.
Yeah. But absolutely.
It's cool that there's, but I'm doing the same thing out here.
Yeah.
Traveling and stuff.
Sure.
Teamwork makes the dream work. And the thing is that you surround yourself with people like that because they motivate you to be better even,
Yep.
Oh, and I love that's our whole life
like
is
being
that
here at this podcast.
motivation and inspiration.
You guys motivated. Y'all literally
I want to
motivated
spread
me
that
to do
motivation.
more live
I want
videos.
to, maybe someone hears something that we're talking about right now and says,
It hits home.
you know what? Yeah, that hits home. That actually identifies. It doesn't mean they're going to go sell, their brick and mortar home and go do a homestead. It doesn't mean they're going to do a tiny house. It just means maybe they heard maybe someone right now is saying in my head, man, there's something that I really want to do, but my fear is holding me back. Yeah. Gary Vee talks about that fear all the time. They're afraid their parents might judge them, their wife, their husband, their kids, their whoever. Just go out and do it. Just take that leap of faith. Try it. Yeah, and if you fail, this is the whole podcast we've talked about our failures.
I think for me, I can be very hard on myself living
Me too.
this life.
Sure.
With being a problem solver at work, being a technician, being the person that had to fix things when things broke. If you're that person, then there's always there's input and there's outcome, right?
Absolutely.
You always get to see something solved.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times when I do something that if I'm really trying to motivate people, I'm hard on myself if I don't get feedback sometimes.
Yeah, I get that.
That maybe that some that I inspired somebody, and but we shouldn't try to look for that.
No, but it's nice to get the credit, though. It's nice to get credit from and to feel that what you've done and what you because you guys put a lot into it.
Well, I guess I didn't say the right thing. I didn't give enough.
Yeah.
I've honestly seen you guys many a times, and I've not commented. A lot of people go on the social media. I don't think it's like they don't want to, but I just think it's. I'm sure you guys have done it. You're scrolling through and you're like, man, I really like that. And then you just don't hit like or you don't comment on it. But, you're thinking about it later on in the day. And, like, we've had people come up. One of the guys that I was in Iraq with saw him in Walmart. I didn't even know he followed us. And he's like, man, I've been following you guys. He goes, I never post or say anything, but, man, you guys are just so awesome. I love watching all your adventures. And when, wow, I didn't even know this.
That was such a huge boost.
I didn't even know that. Because if you don't get any of that feedback, you just think, okay, well, maybe I just don't do this because nobody really cares. But I think that's just a weakness in me. That's all that is.
It is for me
I will.
too.
Yeah.
So Ski, one of Ryan's combat buddies.
Good old Ski.
He asked Krabby why he has to be so sexy.
He's still trying to get me in panties.
These are some sexy people here.
Yeah. So says our friends.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys for joining.
Yeah.
We were super excited. These guys are really great. We just met them today.
We had so
And what's your
much
channel
fun.
again?
Yeah, let's tell us your social media stuff.
Ruthardt4Adventure.
Say it in the mic.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Ruthardt4Adventure. Yep, it's our Instagram and our Facebook.
And I'll have links to all of that in the description of the podcast so people can click on it really easily. You guys have Instagram.
And
Do you share that
Facebook.
too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we'll have all those on there. More to come. Guys, they're getting ready to put out a book, a cookbook. They're busy. They're on the road, but they're busy.
Look
Videos.
out for chapter 10.
Yeah. Chapter 10 in their book will be a little gem.
Fans know about that.
And who knows, we might build one of these schoolies on the side.
You guys probably would. You guys are the kind you're like us. You'll get that wild hair up your ass and be like, you know what? We're just going to buy this bus.
We're just going to stop somewhere for 3 months, build a bus, and sell it.
And sell it.
It takes longer than 3 months. Believe me, that was my time. If Jim, you're listening to this, I know you're laughing right now.
Did we tell you we have some friends that they're social media friends.
Okay.
They're in Minnesota.
Nice.
And crazy, I just happened to be on this other page one time and seen a couple guys talking about some buses, and this one guy, what he was saying just intrigued me, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Okay.
And share what I thought about Cummins diesels and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
We become friends outside of that page.
Nice.
He's got his bus. I got to watch him for a month to try to find the bus. They're
Nice.
building their bus right now.
So they're in the build process
Yes,
now.
They were hoping, like,
good luck
awesome.
to you. Good job, guys.
And they're coming to Texas.
Oh,
Where at?
nice.
Don't know.
I seen today that they were about to,
the
like,
wife
move
is
out.
building a full setup salon. That's their
Wait.
That's
Hold
their
on.
side
That's
hustle.
the Wegmans.
Yeah, the Wegman.
Yeah,
We know the Wegmans.
Joni
I've talked to them on the
Adam
phone.
Wegman. Yeah.
What a
Oh,
small
yeah.
world, man.
That's funny.
What's going on, Wegmans?
Hey, Wegmans.
No kidding. There you go.
Yeah. She's
We're
doing
gonna have
the
to reach
salon
out and let
and
them know.
everything.
Hey, you're actually in hour 3 hours and 16 minutes into the podcast.
There you go.
I've been we do listen through this again, and I put all the description underneath so people can just click to different stories that we talk about.
And
so that'll help.
they have beds similar to you guys
Yep.
and stuff. That,
Nice.
I mean,
Her stain on it is beautiful. The little cubby holes that she did with the it looks really
that's
great.
One of those pages where Facebook isn't. I don't get to see their updates so much. I need
Right.
to remember to go
Lisa's
look.
asking if we're on a radio station.
Close. You're close.
You're on
Talking
Chitty,
Talking
our
Chitty.
49 square foot
Talking
podcast studio.
Chitty.
Talking Chitty.
Talking
Lisa.
Chitty.
So look that up. It's
Spotify,
on Spotify and
Podbean.
Podbean.
This episode will be
Stitcher.
out Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this
episode
Thanksgiving
will be
Day.
out on Thanksgiving Day, and we're going to post the link for sure on our page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is like radio. You know, I mean, we're sitting here with Gary
Someone's saying
V.
that you have
I wish. I wish, man. I wish.
a face for radio.
I love how Gary V I don't know if he was ever in the military, but he reminds me of somebody that like I would have deployed with. Just how aggressive he
He is.
talks to
Right,
people,
right.
you know? Like I'm surprised because I'll talk to people and they're just like, "Wow, you're very aggressive."
Yes, Lisa
But yet Gary V
podcast.
can do it and it's okay. I don't
And
get
it's
it.
okay. Casey tells me before we meet people, she goes, "Just be calm and don't overpower them."
That is.
Oh, I loved your energy when I first met you.
He is powerful.
It was
Because
immediately.
he
And
matched
I apologize if I
too.
do that.
He matches my
You're
energy. No, no,
fine.
you
I'm
came in
used
hot,
to it.
but I
I'm
get
used to
that
it.
energy, and I respect that energy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're somebody
We-
who's up
we
here.
attract
You
to
think a
people
lot,
like
I could
that.
tell.
Sometimes you have to take the mic away from Matt.
No way. No way, man.
If we do a podcast, we will have to have 2 microphones.
It's gonna be like,
You
oh
definitely
yeah,
will. You
it'd be like a
definitely will.
24-hour podcast. We're just gonna do it live. We're just gonna go live. We can't stop talking. We're just gonna do it our whole life.
I probably could some days.
Yeah,
7 to
Lisa.
11.
Yeah.
we
I
could
feel like
definitely do.
Yeah,
people ask us all the time, like, how do you find things to talk about? I
After
couldn't sit
15
there.
years of marriage.
And I'm like, dude, we
don't
talk
know.
about stuff all the time,
Yeah,
we
you
don't.
got a fraction of it,
a-
right?
yeah,
When
this is
people
just
hear
a
y'all's
tiny bit.
podcast, It's just
It's a fraction.
It's a
Because as soon as
fraction
we
of it.
shut all this down and then put everything back
love
up,
your
we're still
energy,
talking.
Ski.
So,
No, Lisa, it could be.
You're
our,
why you're his
it
favorite. You're
does
his
kind of
favorite.
interrupt a little
Excuse
bit
my
here on
favorite.
our phone.
Ski said, "You don't love my energy?" Question mark.
I love his energy.
You just need to bring the energy here.
Yeah.
You need to come all the way
Lisa,
here.
It's a podcast. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, bad connection on our end. They're saying.
No worries.
Dun, dun,
well,
dun,
All right.
Anyway, I guess
think
we
we
could
should
wrap
wrap
it
this
up.
up.
Yeah,
That's all right.
I
let's
hope
feed the
and
children.
you know, I
and-
am thankful to our podcast listeners. Anybody listening to
Yeah.
this, thank you so much.
Thanks
So-
for hanging in there for 3
I
hours
need
and
to listen.
18
You guys
minutes.
gotta teach us
Yeah.
how to listen.
What do you mean?
So sorry,
Oh,
guys. About
yeah,
the
well-
Casey knows
connection
how
on
now,
our
but
end.
Mhm.
If it,
I need to
will.
learn
messing
how.
up
Yeah.
the services
Sure.
and
You guys need to
internet,
start
so-
your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need some equipment.
Need to get on this.
Look
Well,
at-
this
we
is
may
as
be
simple
doing
as
a
it gets.
podcast.
This
Yeah.
right
I
here.
think if I keep
With
it
2
right
mics,
here,
you're
going
gonna
to
need that
stay
mixer
live,
probably.
Yeah, you'll
So-
need a mixer.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yep.
Man.
We should have had you guys jump on our internet.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Yes, Casey is going to need her own mic. See.
All right. Well, Morgan, you want to give your
Matt
well?
knows.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear. Let's do our sayings,
Our
and then
quotes?
we'll give them the last word.
Yeah, okay. So we do our quotes at the end of every podcast. Well, I think we forgot the last 2. We'll have to record those. Okay, so mine is teamwork makes the dream work.
And if you can dream it, you can build it.
And you guys have anything
so
you want to add?
you guys will
or-
get the last word.
Man, drop the mic right there.
What?
You can dream
Look,
it, you
he's
can
like,
build
"Give
it.
me
I
the
love
mic."
that. Yeah, that's awesome. So
Thank
no,
you. I got
just-
that from a buddy, Logan Gamble, out of West Texas.
Oh,
So
thank you guys just for having us here. I guess.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for
Thank you
having
guys for
us.
coming
This
on.
was so fun and love getting
And we
meet
plan
you
to
guys.
work
Y'all
hard
are
for
awesome
everyone that is
people.
watching.
yeah.
You know, 'cause
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah,
what we're
we
doing.
do.
You know.
Thanks,
For sure.
guys.
We just hope to inspire folks. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna post it.
We're coming to you from our 49 square foot podcast studio, 100% powered by solar in our schooly Chitty Bang.
You can find our shenanigans online at thecrabshomestead.com and Talkin' Chitty on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow our schooly life on Facebook at Chitty Bang Schooly and Instagram at The Crabs Homestead.